anymore. After hearing this, all the consumers' eyes lit up. I thought that Xu Qingwen was worthy of being ranked 90th on the best list. He was really strong. This human race deserves it, behaving like this in front of Xu Qingwen. It would be strange if Xu Qingwen didn't feel disgusted. Huaxian smiled even more brightly and said, "The more you are like this, the more I like you." After saying that, he stretched out his hand. "What are you going to do?" Xu Qingwen took 2 steps back and shouted angrily. Then he remembered that the security guards were also there, and shouted at them angrily, "What are you security guards doing? This guy flirted with me, and you didn't care until you want to do this job anymore?" Locust and Jun said bitterly to Huaxian, "Mr. Hu, you are not qualified to consume Xu Qingwen with your current status. You should wait until your status is improved." Huaxian nodded and said, "Well, this is the only way." Then he looked at Xu Qingwen and said, "Sooner or later, you will be mine." Xu Qingwen had already noticed the consumption potential VIP privilege symbol on Huaxian's ID card and said angrily, "That's for the future. I don't want to see you now, but I want to see you. This is only a second-class paradise. I, a fifth-class master, am still qualified to be here. You." Xu Qingwen was so angry that he was shaking. He pointed at Huaxian and was speechless. A middle-aged man came over. The 5-star consumer crown on his chest is extremely eye-catching. Seeing this guy, everyone else quieted down and watched quietly, waiting for the collision to break out. The middle-aged man walked over and looked at Huaxian and said, "You killed a 6th rank master to protect Huayun and Zidailan. Can I also kill you to protect Xu Qingyuan?" The murderous stone scared the people around him. They all stared at Huaxian, wanting to know how he would respond. Huaxian grinned and said, "You are right. In order to protect the woman you love, you should do everything for her. Come on, I am waiting for you to kill me." He actually let go of his vital point and waited for the opponent to attack. This scene was beyond everyone's expectations. In the eyes of many people, begging for mercy was the only way for Huaxian to survive. But they didn't expect him to be so strong. The middle-aged man, who was originally full of confidence, became less confident when he saw Huaxian was so fearless of death. "If you didn't have the confidence, how dare you be so arrogant?" Seeing that the other party had not moved, Huaxian smiled and said, "Why are you still standing there? Your goddess is still watching." Xu Qingwen frowned when she heard this. It was obvious that she didn't have a good impression of this middle-aged man. The middle-aged man stared at Huaxian, trying to see through him. "After watching for a long time, I found that the other party was confident and casual, and was not afraid of me at all. Human boy, do you know who I am?" Decided to reveal his identity to test Huaxian's confidence. Huaxian said distaffingly, "I don't care who you are. If you don't have the guts, don't stand out and pretend. You still want to pick up girls? Go home and farm. How dare you? I am the great elder of the Wolfhound tribe, you." Huaxian was too lazy to talk nonsense with him, so he approached him quickly and slapped him in the face before he could finish speaking. "I didn't use much force, so the slap didn't do much damage. It was just very loud." The whole audience was stunned by Huaxian's actions. The middle-aged man was stunned, looking at Huaxian. His face was full of disbelief. Who was this guy? Why was he so arrogant? He felt increasingly insecure, so even after getting slapped, he didn't dare retaliate for the moment. It's mainly fear. The more confident the other party is, the more afraid he is. Suddenly I remembered that this is Paradise Island. He shouted angrily at the security guard beside him. "I am a 5-star consumer crown, and I was slapped and humiliated by a 5th-grade big shot. Don't you care? Or have the rules of Paradise Island changed because of this guy?" Chapter 484, Life and Death Arena. Locust and Jun said to Huaxian, "You have violated the rules of our Paradise Island. You are ordered to leave and are not allowed to set foot on Paradise Island again within 24 hours. Huaxian frowned but didn't say anything. The middle-aged uncle reacted strongly. "What? You slapped my 5-star consumer crown, and you just advised me to leave for 24 hours? Isn't your partiality too obvious? Is Paradise Island bullying people like this now? Who will dare to come here to spend money in the future?" Xu Qingwen on the side couldn't help but say, "Locust and Jun, I also think your punishment is too simple." Locust and Jun said bitterly, "There is no way. Although Mr. Hu is not a consumer crown yet, he has the VIP privileges of consumer potential, and it is estimated that Mr. Hu's VIP potential exceeds that of a consumer crown." The whole audience took a deep breath. Beyond the consumption crown. That is the consumption crown. No wonder Paradise Island protects this human so much. I didn't expect he has such terrifying potential. Xu Qingwen also looked at Huaxian in shock. She didn't expect his consumption potential to be so terrifying. If she really reaches the level of spending the crown, she cannot be refused anything you ask her to do. The middle-aged Dunkel was also terrified in his heart. But he couldn't let it go on his face. He said angrily. That's just potential. He may not spend so much, but I am a real 5-star consumer crown. Why don't you protect me? Huaxian looked at the middle-aged man with a sharp gaze and said. Believe it or not, I will turn you into that guy. He pointed at the body of the guy he had killed before. Everyone who saw this scene trembled. Only then did I realize that this guy was really decisive and ruthless. The middle-aged man also trembled. Then he became very angry and said angrily. Where did you come from, you lowly human race? I may not be as good as you in terms of financial resources, but in terms of martial arts, I can kill you with just one finger. Huaxian grinned and said, Really? Then how about we have a sparring match? A life and death sparring match. The confident words made everyone around tremble. In terms of age, this human is thousands or even tens of thousands of years younger than this guy from the Wolfhound tribe. In other words, this middle-aged man from the Wolfhound clan has been practicing for tens of thousands of years. Can this be compared? Everyone thinks Huaxian is too crazy. A middle-aged man from the Wolfhound tribe laughed. And his laugh was cruel and crazy. He roared, Okay. Very good, I accept your life and death challenge from a lowly human. After he finished speaking, he said to Lokistan Jun, Arrange a life and death arena. Lokistan Jun did not refuse and said to the two, Follow me. The scene exploded. Bet. Is there anyone who wants to bet? The gamblers shouted. You can place bets, but how will the compensation be? Someone asked. The guy said excitedly, If you bet on the human race to win, it's 1-5. If you bet on the middle-aged Dunkel of the Wolfhound race to win, it's 1-1 compensation. Place your bets quickly. I bet on the Wolfhound uncle to win. 100 million points. I bet on the Wolfhound uncle to win. 10 billion points. The scene was bustling with activity and everyone was busy placing bets. Half a day later, more than 1,000 people had placed bets. But not a single one bet on Huaxian to win. I bet on the human Huaxian to win. What really in points? Zidilan's beautiful and pleasant voice came. Everyone trembled and was shocked. They are just a small fight. And the opening bid is 100 trillion points if the human race wins. They will definitely earn 500 trillion points. I'm also betting on the human race's Huaxian to win. 200 trillion points. Huayan followed suit and placed a bet. Those who were still placing bets suddenly became hesitant. They saw Huaxian coming holding their hands, which proved that they had a good relationship with him and must know something about him. So they would not make a blind bet. Those who have already placed their bets are beginning to regret it. I bet on the human race Huaxian to win. 1 billion points. I also bet on the human race Huaxian to win. 5 billion points. Immediately, many people followed Huayan and Zidilan to place bets. Soon we arrived at the fighting arena of the second heaven. I didn't expect this place to be so crowded, with countless people roaring and shouting. Come on Shen Yui, be careful behind you. Mantis flying saucer. Hurry up, don't hold back, defeat Shen Yui. Huaxian looked towards the ring curiously. It turned out that two second-grade beauties were fighting. They all wore sexy clothes and had stunning looks. And fought on the duel arena, giving consumers an extremely great sense of excitement. Huaxian was so excited after watching it. The key point is that during the battles between the two beauties, their clothes were blown off, appearing vaguely, which was much more attractive than seeing them directly. Boom! With a loud bang, Zhen Yu was knocked heavily to the ground. After struggling for a few times, he could no longer get up. The referee also announced excitedly, Mantis Flying Saucer wins. As the name suggests, she is a beautiful woman evolved from the Mantis clan. Damn it, this Shen Yui is such a loser. I bet 10 billion points on her. And I lost just like that. What are you complaining about? When Shen Yui won yesterday and you won 3 million points, why didn't you give them a little reward? You're talking nonsense. Last time, I gave her a reward of 50 million points just to touch her hand. There were many people complaining at the scene, but also many people excited. Looking at the lively atmosphere at the scene, Huaxian didn't expect that there would be such entertainment on Paradise Island. Zidilan on the side introduced, beauty duels are one of the characteristics of our Paradise Island. Huaxian asked curiously, Dylan, have you ever duel-led again? Zidilan shook her head and said, someone paid a lot of money to hire us to fight in a duel. No one paid a lot of money to let me duel. Now please welcome the second group. The referee was about to announce the second team of beauties battle. Lokistan Jun walked over and interrupted, wait. Everyone's eyes fell on him. And seeing that it was the security guard from Third Heaven, everyone was curious about what was going on. The referee asked, Security Master, what do you want me to do? Lokistan Jun said, today the consumers are going to have a life and death battle. What? The whole audience was shocked. There are many consumer competitions, but life and death thunder battles are rare, so we were all shocked. Their eyes also fell on Xin and the middle-aged man from the Wolfhound tribe. Apart from the security guards, there are only two men. It is not difficult to guess that they are the ones fighting a life-and-death battle. The referee frowned and said, a fifth-grade big-name human. Fighting against a 5-star consumer crown Wolfhound. Locust and Jung nodded and said, yes, it's a life-and-death battle between them. Let's arrange it. The referee nodded and said to the two of them, get on the stage. The life-and-death duel will begin in 5 minutes. After he finished speaking, he looked at the tens of thousands of spectators and said, you have all seen what is happening here at a life-or-death battle. I see someone has already set up a beat. All the consumers below have 5 minutes to think about their bets. A human race has to pay 5 times the compensation. And he is still a kid who has not even grown a hair. I bet the Wolfhound race will win 3 billion points. I see that the human kid has more points at stake. So I bet 100 million points on him. He thought it was a small bet. So he wouldn't feel bad if he lost. I bet. Chapter 485. If you want me to die, then bury me with you. The scene was noisy and everyone was busy placing bets. And it soon came to an end. The referee announced loudly, 5 minutes are up, the consumer life and death battle begins. Xin interrupted, wait. All eyes were on him. The middle-aged Wolfhound said sarcastically, why, are you scared now? Xin shook his head and smiled. I just saw that everyone was placing bets, so I got interested and decided to bet on myself. I'll bet a little less, just 100 trillion points. What? The whole audience was shocked. 1 trillion points. And you said you should bet less? Do you have to be so crazy? It gives people the feeling of arrogance. Xin asked with a puzzled look on his face. Why, am I not eligible to bet? The person in charge of placing bets said happily. Of course not, you complete the bet by paying your 100. 0 points now. Xin pulled out the Black Devil Kara, added it to the referee and said, first recharge me 100. 0 points, and then help me transfer it to the bet. The referee was also a beautiful woman. She took the Black Devil card with trembling hands, completed the recharge operation, and then transferred the money to the betting account. Xin finished placing the bet, handed the card to Xin and asked, if there are no problems, the life and death competition will begin. Xin nodded and was about to speak. The middle-aged man from the Wolfhound tribe interrupted and said, since he has placed a bet, I will also place a bet for fun. He handed the ID card to the referee and said, feel free to bet 200 trillion human coins. The whole audience took a deep breath. It can also be seen that this guy from the Wolfhound clan deliberately has 1 trillion more than Xin. I want to add more bets. I'm betting on the Wolfhound to win. I'm going to add to my bet. Seeing the huge amount of money in the betting pool, many people placed additional bets. It also brought the atmosphere of this life and death arena to its extreme. A few minutes later, the referee announced, the duel of life and death begins. In an instant, the noisy scene became quiet, and everyone stared at the two people on the ring. The middle-aged man of the Wolfhound tribe said disaffectedly, boy, I'll give you a chance, make the first move, otherwise you won't have the chance to make the move. Seeing the confidence of the middle-aged man from the Wolfhound tribe, those who bought his victory became excited, as if the victory already belonged to them. Those who bet on Xin's victory are a little nervous. Xin said calmly, respecting the old and loving the young is the tradition of our human race. You are already old, and you have just reached the 44th level of true God. It is not easy, come on, I will give you a chance to perform. A middle-aged man from the Wolfhound tribe was extremely shocked. He had used special means to hide his cultivation level, and even the masters of Paradise Island could not see through it. How could this human boy see through it at a glance? What's going on? Is he much more capable than me, or does he have some special means to see through my true colors? A key point is that the other party saw through his cultivation level, but still looked indifferent and did not take him seriously at all. This is very abnormal. But it be that this human boy is already powerful enough to crush me? The more the middle-aged man from the Wolfhound tribe thought about it, the more scared he became. Buzz. A powerful aura burst out and entered a defensive state. Everyone who had bought it to win had their heartbeats quicken when they saw this. Why is this Wolfhound tribe not attacking or defending? But it be that they are so old? They are still no match for a young human boy. It looks like he's frightened. Oh my god, I bet 100 trillion on his victory. And now I'm going to lose, what should I do? You only bet 100 trillion. And I bet a full 500 trillion. The whole place was in an uproar. It also gave the middle-aged people of the Wolfhound tribe an extremely huge pressure. He clenched his fists and looked at Xin, seeing how confident he was. He suddenly became furious. I reminded myself in my heart that he must be pretending to be calm to give myself courage. He just has good mental quality, but his strength is definitely not as good as mine. But how did he see through his own level of cultivation? The middle-aged man from the Wolfhound tried to convince himself to take action. But he couldn't do it. You coward from the Wolfhound tribe. Stop wasting time and hurry up. That's right, why waste everyone's precious time? If you dare to go ahead. If you don't dare to go ahead, just commit suicide. Those who bought Huixin Shengli roared with excitement. Huixin smiled and said, "Why, you seem to be afraid of me?" As he spoke, he slowly walked towards the other person, step by step. He clearly had no aura at all and looked more like an ordinary person taking a walk. But he gave the other party an extremely strong feeling of oppression. Damn it, let's see how long you can keep pretending. Facing Huixin's relentless pressure, the middle-aged man from the Wolfhound tribe roared, took out a long-range weapon, and launched an attack on Huixin. The evil ray of destruction flew towards Huixin. A noisy scene fell silent again, and every creature watched with wide eyes. Buzz! A powerful aura burst out from Huixin's body, and the space began to distort. The destructive ray that entered within 3 meters of Huixin was actually broken by the twisted attack, and disappeared without a trace before it had a chance to get close to Huixin. This scene made countless creatures in the audience open their mouths wide. The aura alone can destroy the death ray. How powerful is this human race? The Wolfhound guy's hands were shaking as he held the high-tech equipment, and he was terrified to the extreme. Anyway, he couldn't do this. But this human did it, which proved that this human was much stronger than himself. Huixin continued to approach him step by step. Tap 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 tap. The middle-aged men of the Wolfhound tribe were so frightened that they retreated again and again. It's over, my 300 billion points are all gone. Seeing this, those who bet on the Wolfhound tribe's victory became desperate. I said that it must have a reason to buy so many points to win this human race. I didn't expect this human race to crush this Wolfhound race. Huixin smiled and said, "You don't look good if that's the case. Then I'll send you on your way." Buzz! The space rumbled, and an extremely evil force appeared in Huixin's right hand. What a powerful evil force! Could this human race be the one that has fallen into evil? That's right, no wonder he is so wealthy and powerful. Did you notice that, in addition to owning the Black Devil card, he is also a potential VIP consumer? Really? Damn it! Why didn't I notice these details just now? I'm losing a lot this time. You can't kill me, I am. The middle-aged man from the Wolfhound tribe also attempted to use his status to oppress Huixin. Huixin interrupted. "Who are you? You are nothing but scum in front of me. Now I will give you another chance to explode. Maybe there is still a glimmer of hope." Being forced into a desperate situation, the middle-aged man of the Wolfhound tribe suddenly exploded. "If you want me to die, then be buried with me." Chapter 400 Itexus. Little Paradise. Oh my god, this guy is going to self-destruct? A terrifying wave of energy spread out, and the referee quickly left the ring. The protective shield on the ring was turned to the highest level. Many creatures stood up from their positions in shock. The self-detonation of a true god at level 44 is extremely terrifying. Huixin suddenly exploded and approached the middle-aged man of the Wolfdog tribe. The evil power in his right hand poured out, completely covering the middle-aged man of the Wolfdog tribe. Bang, 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 bang. A series of explosions sounded in his expanding body. The whole audience was shocked. When Huixin stopped, ding dong, the middle-aged man of the 44th level of the Wolfhound clan Rugod fell to the ground. Those who are already dead cannot die again. Huixin clapped his hands and left the ring. All eyes in the audience followed him. They were all shocked by his powerful strength. We won! We won! We won! The people who bet on Huixin's victory finally reacted and roared with great excitement. And anyone tell me what realm this guy is in? I don't know. But since he was able to easily suppress the self-explosion of a true god level 40 for Wolfhound expert, he should be at least true god level 50. A protective shield opened, and Huixin walked straight to Zidilan and the others. It is worth noting that Xu Qingwian is also behind them. At this moment, Xu Qingwian looked at Huixin differently. Locust and Jun said to Huixin, "Although you have already defeated the Wolfhound through legal fight, you still need to be punished for your previous violations. Please leave Paradise Island now and do not come back within 24 hours. Huixin nodded, "Okay." After saying that, he strode away. Boyun opened her mouth, but still couldn't say anything. The whole audience watched Huixin leave. Soon we left Paradise Island. "Honey, why did you come out so soon?" Unexpectedly. Ankuya and the others did not leave. They immediately surrounded us and asked. Huixin smiled and said, "You violated a small rule and were expelled as punishment. You are not allowed to enter Paradise Island for 24 hours. Honey, what did you do on Paradise Island to be punished?" TFEI asked curiously. They had already learned about the rules and regulations of Paradise Island from Dakun Wyu. So they were very worried and curious. Huaxian said casually. I only killed the people. What? You dare to kill people on Paradise Island? Ying Zushao asked in shock. Huaxian looked at her and said. Yes, why else do you think I was punished? Dakan Wuyu frowned and said. But you killed someone on Paradise Island, why were you only punished by being expelled for 24 hours? Huaxian moved closer to her and said, because I'm handsome. Dakan Wuyu was so frightened that he quickly took 2 steps back. Ying Zushao stood in front of her daughter and said to Huaxian. Don't try to get my daughter's attention. Huaxian grinned and said. You mean, can I get your attention? Ying Zushao was stunned. He blinked and stared at Huaxian, never expecting that this guy could actually say such words. Could it be that he had been planning on me from the beginning? Could it be that I still have some charm? Noticing that Huaxian was looking around at him, it further confirmed what he had guessed in his mind. This human was actually planning to target him. You. Don't mess around, Ying Zushao said suddenly in panic. He grabbed his daughter for protection and put her in front of him. Oh, Mom, what are you doing? Daughter, this pervert actually likes to be your mother. Huaxian burst into laughter, then ignored the mother and daughter and walked towards the street. Not long after walking, a few words aroused Huaxian's curiosity. Old Paradise. Paradise Island is not far away. The small paradise has appeared here. It is not difficult to guess that it is chasing the wind. There were also a few beauties standing at the entrance of Little Paradise. They were very welcoming and the place was bustling with people coming and going. Huaxian walked over curiously. Hey, sir, please come in. The beauties in our Little Paradise are no worse than those in Paradise Island. Then he said to Gfe and the others behind Huaxian. Please come in, ladies, our Little Paradise has all kinds of services. I guarantee you will be satisfied. This made Gfe and the others curious. Honey, we want to go in and take a look. When the receptionist heard Gfe and the others address Huaxian, she was stunned. Then she looked at Huaxian with a strange look. He actually brought his wife to Little Paradise. First time seeing you. And let's go in and take a look. Huaxian took the lead and walked in. Just walked in. Hey, handsome guy, let's play together. A large group of beautiful girls gathered around. Huaxian, however, was very disgusted. Because compared with the beauties on Paradise Island, these beauties are not as good as the receptionists at the entrance of Paradise Island. An aura burst out, stopping these beauties and saying, everyone, please respect yourself. I just brought my wife here to visit this time. Take your wife on a tour? Everyone around looked at him in confusion. This is the first time I've seen such a situation. Gfe and the others looked around curiously. Not shy at all. I thought since I came here with my husband, he would be the one who would be embarrassed. Honey, what is that? Li Ying asked curiously, pointing to a place. Huaxian looked in the direction she pointed. When he saw that thing, he rolled his eyes fiercely. Then he approached her ear and said, have you not seen this before, husband? I didn't expect that Little Paradise would turn that thing into art. Li Ying smiled secretly while smoking a cigarette. The same goes for others. Dear guest, if you bring someone to visit my Little Paradise, you have to buy tickets. An old lady came over and said. Huaxian nodded and said, it's right to buy tickets, but I don't know how to sell them. The aunt reached out and stroked Huaxian's chin and said, a girl in our family has taken a fancy to you. As long as you make a sacrifice, you can get a free ticket. You fancy me? Huaxian asked curiously. Are you sure that your girl likes me? The aunt smiled and said, don't worry about whether she is our daughter or not. As long as you go and serve her, your whole family can visit my Little Paradise for free and even drink for free. And he turned to Gfe and the others and said, what do you think? You know, spending money in our Little Paradise is very expensive. Dakan Wuyu quickly said, we agree. I thought to myself, you bad guy, you still want to take advantage of me and my mother. Let me see what you can do. Ying Zushao also quickly said, we have no objection. Hongqiuya and the others just smiled secretly and said nothing. Huaxian was curious about who thought he was that person, so he wanted to go and see for himself. He said to the aunt, led the way. The auntie was delighted and said, young man, follow me quickly, don't keep the guests waiting for too long. I thought, if a man this good looking could stay in Little Paradise, he would probably be able to increase his income by quite a bit. Soon we arrived at the 3rd floor. The aunt opened a door and said, come in. And he whispered in Huaxian's ear, as long as you serve the guests well, you will get the benefits. Chapter 487, is there anyone else? Huaxian walked in and the aunt quickly closed the door. Huaxian looked over and saw a screen blocking his view. Walk forward step by step. Go behind the screen. Seeing the familiar figure, Huaxian was stunned. Huiyun turned around, took off her mask, grinned and asked, are you surprised or not? Huaxian said speechless lie. I didn't expect you to have such a refined taste. You don't come here often, do you? Huo Yun was stunned. Then he smiled and asked, "Why, are you jealous?" As she spoke, she walked up to Hu Xian and threw herself into his arms. "I like you," he said while hugging Hu Xian tightly. "So what?" Hu Xian asked. "So you get me?" She was about to kiss Hu Xian on the lips. Hu Xian avoided the question and said, "I don't like women who are fickle." "I'm a fickle person," Huo Yun said, pointing at her nose. Then he taunted, "What about you? You just came out of Paradise Island and came to Little Paradise. What qualifications do you have to look down on me? I'm a man," Hu Xian said and pushed her away. "Turn around and leave." "But I have never been slept with by a man," Huo Yun shouted loudly. Hu Xian paused for a moment, then strode away. At the door, "Auntie is eavesdropping." Hu Xian opened the door and rushed in without paying attention. Seeing that it was Hu Xian, he angrily asked, "How could you do that? Didn't I tell you to serve the customers well? Do you still want your salary?" Then he whispered, "As long as you serve the guests well, I will give you 10,000 demon coins. Do you think I'm only worth 10? 0 demon coins?" Hu Xian asked coldly. The old lady said loudly, "I say, little human, you are just good looking. You should understand your own status. It is a blessing for someone to like you. Don't be ungrateful. Are you threatening me?" A murderous aura enveloped the old lady. Ding dong. The latter collapsed to the ground in fear. Huo Yun walked out, as if nothing had happened just now, and said to Hu Xian, "I admire you more and more." Ding dong dong. After saying that, he threw a lot of demon coins on the ground and left. The old lady only had eyes for the devil coins, and she was picking them up frantically on the ground. Hu Xian looked at Huo Yun's leaving back and frowned slightly. "Husband." Jia Fi and others arrived. Dragonfly Crescent said, "Abi, this place is not fun at all, let's leave." "Beauty, choose me, I'm very strong." A strong man walked over and said, showing off his muscles. Dragonfly and Crescent Moon all showed impatient expressions. Jia Fi said coldly, "Get out of here, we are not interested in you." A middle-aged man said with a smile, "Beauty, you have come to a place like this, and you still say you are not interested. Do you believe it yourself?" "I believe it," Hu Xian said. "Kid, just have your fun. I'm entertaining my guests, so you'd better not meddle in my business." The middle-aged man threatened. Hu Xian smiled, but it was very cold. "You want to sleep with my wife, and you want me to stay out of her business? Are they your wives?" The middle-aged man was stunned, his face full of disbelief. "Why, no. Yes, brother. You are awesome. You brought your wife to a place like this. I admire you. But you can't." Before he could finish his words, Hu Xian grabbed his neck. "You want to die?" The young man was not nervous or afraid, and even taunted. "You dare to touch me?" Hu Xian asked. "Why not? Then you give it a try." The young man was full of confidence. Then he said, "If you touch me, you will never leave this little paradise alive." "Really? Then I'd like to give it a try. Increase the strength of your hands." "Stop it now." From downstairs an angry voice was heard. Everyone was curious and kept watching. I saw a noble lady in luxurious clothes walking upstairs. Behind her, there was a burly bodyguard. "Sister Yang. Save me, this guy wants to kill me," the strong man shouted quickly. There was even disdain in the look he gave Hu Xian. I thought to myself, "You dare to touch me, and I you hand on G? Let me show you how you die." The lady came upstairs quickly. Seeing that Hu Xian was still holding in Iu hand on G's neck, a look of heartache flashed in his eyes. Hu Xian slapped him and said, "My man, you dare." Before she could finish her words, Hu Xian grabbed her wrist. She screamed in pain. "No matter how strange the sound is, push harder, use more force." He shouted even more. Hu Xian frowned and thought, "How disgusting." Flick. Increase your strength to help the other person. This time, the pain was so heart-nicking and miserable that she felt extremely sad. Court death. The bodyguard she brought with her punched Hu Xian on the head. He is quite powerful, at the 40th level of True God. Hu Xian did not dodge or evade when the time was right. He suddenly pulled the lady over and blocked the opponent's attack line. Damn it. Seeing this, the other party tried his best to avoid it. But it was too late. I can only try my best to take back the power. Bang. He punched the lady hard. Pew. He was instantly seriously injured and vomited blood, with countless bones broken all over his body. Hu Xian let go, and the lady collapsed to the ground, dying. "You deserve to die." The bodyguard was so angry that he attacked Hu Xian again. This time, he used a weapon, and a blade of light slashed quickly towards Hu Xian. Q. At the critical moment, Hu Xian blocked Niu hand on Ji in front of him. The terrifying light blade directly split Niu hand on Ji into two. This scene shocked the whole audience. The bodyguard finally realized that he and his enemy were not on the same level. He picked up his master and wanted to escape. Did I tell you to leave? The cold voice made everyone present shiver. The bodyguard didn't dare to move at all. Human, this is a little paradise, not a place you can mess up. An old man descended from the sky and said. Although the terrifying aura was not directed at anyone, it made everyone feel scared. Gurgle. Many guests swallowed. Someone muttered, this old man must be at least true god level 50, right? Nonsense, of course only a strong man like this can rule the little paradise. Human, leave one arm behind and you can leave, the old man said coldly. Uxin smiled coldly and said, you seem to think you have me in your hands? Buzz. The old man is also a ruthless person who doesn't talk much. Burst out with all your strength, and use powerful force to oppress Uxin. I thought to myself, since you don't want to show me how shameless you are, I'll teach you a lesson. Physical pressure, this is a trick I have left? Uxin said, and instantly approached the old man. Grab his hand. Click click, click. It's like breaking bubbles, one section at a time. The old man's strength as a true god at level 50 was simply not enough to play any role. In the end, Uxin used this cruel method to break it into a sphere. A powerful genetic force made the old man miserable and painful. But he did not die. Uxin looked at the whole audience and asked, is there anyone else? Chapter 488. Damn it, how could I lose? Hey, handsome guy, why are you so angry? A noble lady walked over slowly. Everyone looked over when they heard the sound. Someone exclaimed, it's Black Butterfly, the boss of Little Paradise. I haven't seen her for many years. I didn't expect that this incident would alarm her. That's right, I remember the last time I saw Boss Black Butterfly. It was a young master from a wealthy family who was causing trouble. He was so arrogant that he dominated the whole place. But when Boss Black Butterfly showed up, he died tragically in an instant. Do you think this guy will follow in the footsteps of that young master from a wealthy family? It's hard to say. Uxin looked at the lady, frowned slightly, and felt a dangerous aura from her. The lady stared at Uxin, ignoring the whole audience, and slowly came in front of Uxin. Their eyes met, and Uxin looked at the other person without blinking. The lady looked at him for a while and then smiled. Of course, she was wearing a special veil that could not be seen through by mental power, so no one knew that she was smiling. Young man, why don't we talk somewhere else? As soon as the lady opened her mouth, the others were stunned. What's going on? I remember that Black Butterfly didn't talk like this last time. He directly attacked and taught me a lesson. Yes. Why is it different this time? Uxin smiled and said, okay, it's best to find a place where there is no one. After he finished speaking, his eyes looked at Black Butterfly unscrupulously. The ones that should be big are big, and the ones that should be thin are thin. It is very perfect and even, and it looks really good. The Black Butterfly turned around and walked away slowly. Uxin followed behind, and when others were about to follow, Uxin stretched out his hand to stop them. When they walked away, the scene went into an uproar. By the way, has anyone seen Black Butterfly's face? I've always heard that she's even prettier than the beauties on Paradise Island's heavily ranking. Is that true? Who knows? Judging from her figure, Black Butterfly boss must be pretty. It's a pity that I've never seen her face. If I could see it once, I would die without regrets. TSK, if you saw that, you would probably pounce on him and die without regrets. Uxin followed Chi to the deepest part of the little paradise. A completely independent courtyard. Here peach blossoms are in full bloom. Colorful butterflies are flying, and birds are singing happily, giving it a feeling of being in a paradise. Clang. After the two of them walked in, the gate closed automatically. Layers of smoke appeared and filled the surroundings, making it impossible for outsiders to see what was happening inside. The center is not affected and looks shrouded in fairy mist, making it even more beautiful. Uxin looked at the formation and felt it was quite mysterious. The Black Butterfly continued to move forward without stopping. The independent courtyard looks small, but it is unexpectedly huge. With lotus pond, rockery, and so on. Heidi came to the platform in the middle of the lotus pond, lifted her skirt with her hand, and slowly sat down. Uxin was stunned by this scene. Just because of the moment when the skirt was opened, Uxin saw beautiful legs and black stockings underneath. It's really too tempting. Heidi watched the fish swimming in the lotus pond without saying anything. Uxin walked over consciously and sat opposite her. He had no intention of appreciating the scenery but just stared at Heidi. Time passed by minute, and it was a full quarter of an hour. Black Butterfly finally looked back, stared at Uxin and asked, have you seen enough? Uxin smiled brightly. How can I get enough of a peerless fairy like you? I never get tired of looking at you. I just want to marry you home and watch you all the time. Day and night. You are good at sweet talk, and you are not subtle at all. However, when you see my honor, can you still say such words? Huaxian nodded. It doesn't matter whether it's honorable or not. I like you as a person. Black Butterfly smiled coldly and said, so what you mean is that you want to marry me? Huaxian nodded seriously and said, I must marry her. Heidi stopped talking, put her hand on the mask, and slowly took it off. Huaxian watched intently, also looking forward to scoring points. A woman with such a perfect figure, I thought, couldn't possibly look bad. When the complexion fell and that face was revealed, Huaxian was stunned for a moment. Vomit. I couldn't help but vomit. This face is so ugly that it is beyond description. Being scary is just a piece of cake. It is so ugly that it is extremely lethal. Black Butterfly said coldly, you said you wanted to marry me. Why are you disgusted with me now? Huaxian used his divine power to suppress it, and looked at the Black Butterfly again. Vomit. It was so horrible that I almost vomited. And this vomiting lasted for half a day. Am I really ugly? Heidi approached Huaxian, grabbed his collar, pulled him in front of her, and asked viciously, vomit. Huaxian vomited again. Heidi almost got sprayed all over. But luckily she pushed Huaxian away in time. His heart was cold, though, as a trace of murderous intent was released. Then a terrifying aura followed. Buzz. The space began to tremble. The breath of destruction became stronger and stronger, and it could be felt within 100 miles. Countless people looked towards the little paradise. It's that witch who is so blind as to dare to provoke that witch? Who knows? Anyway, that witch will definitely not leave anyone alive. The Black Butterfly burst out with a destructive aura and moved towards Huaxian step by step. Huaxian was shocked. This Black Butterfly was probably far beyond the 50th level of True God. At least the 60th level of True God. He felt the danger. After the Black Butterfly approached Huaxian, it raised its right hand and exploded with terrifying power. Boom! The space seemed to explode, and lightning flashed around her fist madly, just about to take action. Huaxian shouted, Heidi, I love you. Heidi's body trembled and she looked at Huaxian in disbelief. Huaxian also overcame the nausea in his heart and stared into Heidi's eyes. I thought to myself, I have overcome so many difficulties. How could I be defeated by such ugliness? Heidi was delighted to see that Huaxian dared to look her in the face. And the words of Heidi, I love you, kept echoing in her mind. This man was the first person who could say these words in the face of her extreme ugliness. So she was moved. And she has been looking for a man who does not despise her ugliness and dares to face her. The human being in front of me seems to be it. Slowly, the aura on the Black Butterfly disappeared. Huaxian breathed a sigh of relief. The Black Butterfly approached him step by step, getting closer and closer. Huaxian took a deep breath, stared straight ahead, and tried his best to overcome the enemy in his heart. Getting closer. Getting closer. It seems that the ugliness will be magnified as the distance gets closer. And the closer it is, the more it will be magnified. The nauseating feeling will become more and more intense. When it was less than 1 meter away, Huaxian's stomach was churning and he couldn't suppress it at all. It can no longer be suppressed. Huaxian clenched his fists, suppressing it at all costs. Heidi stared at Huaxian's eyes intently, still approaching slowly. She knew her own situation clearly, and she just wanted to see if this man was really as he said. The divine power has reached its limit. Once this guy deceives him, he will kill him without hesitation. Damn it, how could I lose? Huaxian roared in his heart and did something that shocked Heidi. Chapter 489. Let's go to Paradise Island. It suddenly burst out and rushed towards the Black Butterfly. Less than 1 meter away, in the blink of an eye, he hugged Heidi tightly and then kissed her fiercely. Ai's body trembled violently, and the gathered divine power suddenly dissipated. As if all the strength in her body was drained away. She looked at Huaxian, who was kissing her, in disbelief. Stunned. This was the first time she was kissed by a man. And with her absolutely ugly face. This shocked her. But more than that, she was extremely moved. The next moment, a miracle happened. The ugliness on Heidi's face was actually disappearing. Black Butterfly herself could feel this disappearance. Huaxian, who was kissing while holding back his vomiting, also noticed it. After a while, an indescribable and peerless face came into Huaxian's eyes. It's so beautiful that it's beyond words. Release the Black Butterfly. Black Butterfly quickly ran to the pond and looked at her reflection in the water. A look of shock and disbelief. Muttering, is this really me? Huaxian looked at the Black Butterfly that had become extremely beautiful and felt a sense of déjà vu. After a long time, Black Butterfly reacted and said in shock, I understand now, my ugliness can only be cured by my prince's kiss. He looked at Huaxian and continued, you kissed me and broke my ugly curse. So you are my true love. She excitedly threw herself into Huaxian's arms. At this moment, Huaxian was enjoying it very much. But about the beauties on the Paradise Island top list, the Earth list, and the Sky list? Ubby, thank you. Heidi was extremely grateful. Because of her ugliness, she felt inferior and introverted and dared not see people. Now, Huaxian has helped her return to normal and regain her confidence. It's too formal to say thank you, you are my wife. Now, in the future, and forever. Huaxian was worried about losing a peerless beauty like Heidi. Just because, I feel that if I lose her, it will be hard to find someone more beautiful. Selfishness was revealed at this moment. Don't worry. My husband, Black Butterfly, will only belong to you in this life. He put his arms around Huaxian's neck and kissed him. Take as much as you want and release as much as you can. The clothes fell off one by one, and the last piece of clothing that fell off was extremely sexy, accompanied by a burst of rapid breathing and a scream from Black Butterfly. A layer of barriers was broken by Huaxian. The intense feeling of stimulation almost made Huaxian surrender. Fortunately, his strong physique allowed him to get through it and avoid being embarrassed. What followed was a frantic fight between the two, which became increasingly intense and could not be stopped at all. 5 hours later, Huaxian pulled Heidi out of the yard. At this moment, Black Butterfly no longer wore a mask. Wherever her peerless beauty passed, she was surrounded by colorful butterflies. And she was extremely beautiful. But she followed Huaxian with the attitude of a little girl, which made people envious. When they came to the little heaven hall, the whole audience focused their attention. It is worth noting that many people did not leave, as if they were waiting to see something interesting. GFEI and the others have also been waiting here. When everyone saw Black Butterfly's peerless beauty, they were stunned. It took me a long time to recover. When they came to their senses and found that the human was holding Black Butterfly's hand, countless people were so envious that they bled. Apart from taking off her mask, Black Butterfly's other clothes remained unchanged, so everyone recognized her identity at a glance. Countless people were shocked. Is this Black Butterfly, the boss of Little Paradise? It's really beautiful. It is extremely beautiful. I'm afraid only the beauties on the Paradise Island's top list can be compared to her. But why would such a perfect Black Butterfly fall for a human who was messing up the Little Paradise? This is the doubt of all living things. Huaxian pulled Heidi to the center of the hall. Someone couldn't help but ask, Boss Black Butterfly, your beauty is so stunning, but why would you fall for a humble human man? I thought to myself, I am 100 times, 1,000 times better than this human man. You should be attracted to me. A Black Butterfly pointed at the guy who was speaking, and a destructive energy rushed out. This guy only felt that he was being locked in an instant and was in extreme danger. When he wanted to dodge, he found that his body could not move. His face instantly became extremely terrified and it was too late to regret. Phew. His forehead was pierced by the destructive energy and his brain died instantly. But the powerful genetic power caused his body to still tremble and struggle. Black Butterfly glanced at the whole audience inferently and said, Whoever dares to humiliate my man will die. Huaxian looked at Heidi. It felt really good to be protected by such an extremely beautiful woman. I thought to myself, no wonder so many people like to live off others. I didn't expect that living off others is so delicious. Huaxian smiled and looked at the audience and said, My wife only loves me, and she can't stand others bullying me. So those of you who want to bully you should be prepared to die. Those creatures who were about to say something harsh were so frightened that their bodies trembled violently and cold sweats broke out. They secretly thanked their luck that they were a steps lower. Otherwise they would have been the ones to die miserably. Black Butterfly looked at the noble lady and said, From now on, Little Paradise will be left to you to take care of. I will come back to visit from time to time. Everyone could hear the implication that she, Black Butterfly, was going to leave with her human husband. Someone noticed that Black Butterfly walked in strange movements. Plus, a day and a night had passed, so even a fool would know what had happened during that time. Looking at the indescribable beauty of the Black Butterfly, my heart bleeds. Such a gifted girl was ruined by a human being. The key is that I can't say it out loud, I can only sigh in my heart. Huaxian looked at the time and said, Wise, I'm going to Paradise Island. You can rest in Little Paradise. Black Butterfly asked curiously, Husband, what are you doing on Paradise Island? I thought to myself, aren't you satisfied with having a wife as beautiful as me? Everyone else was worried for Huaxian and secretly called him stupid. He already had a peerless beauty like Heidi by his side. Yet he still wanted to go to Paradise Island. Even if you really want to go, you have to go secretly and tell others about it. Huaxian said honestly, Wife, I'm just curious about how beautiful the beauty on Paradise Island's legend list is. I also want to know if she is 1/10 as beautiful as you. My wife. The beauty from the legend of Paradise Island. Black Butterfly muttered, and then said, I am also curious. But I have never seen it. It is difficult, very difficult, and completely impossible to reach the level of consumer dominance. Hu Xian smiled confidently and said, it's difficult for others, but it's easy for me. What I lack the least is the devil coins. Wife, since you also want to see the legendary beauties of Paradise Island, and I'll go to Paradise Island with you. Black Butterfly interrupted. Hu Xian was shocked. Then he said, but wife, Paradise Island directly brings male consumers. Black Butterfly smiled mysteriously and said, it's not like I haven't been to Paradise Island before. Wait for me. Then he turned and left. Chapter 490. Women disguised as men. Not long after, a handsome young man walked out of the little paradise. After seeing this, someone exclaimed, the handsome man, he is HA from Baianji City, who is of heavenly rank, is actually Heidi? Oh my god, is that handsome black guy really Black Butterfly? Black Butterfly, black handsome, isn't it just one word? I should have thought of it a long time ago. I never thought that Black Butterfly would pretend to be a handsome guy and go to Paradise Island to spend money. And he would become so famous. The scene went into an uproar. Black Butterfly ignored those people, came up to Hu Xian and said, brother, let's go. I'll take you to Paradise Island to spend some money and have fun. Hu Xian was also shocked. I thought Black Butterfly dressed up as a handsome guy is simply overwhelming me. No, when she was very ugly before, she looked very handsome when she disguised herself as a handsome guy. Now that she is transformed into a beautiful woman, Aurora is even more charming. Oh my god, seeing the handsome guy that Black Butterfly has transformed into, I feel like I'm about to fall in love with him. Nonsense. Who doesn't like Black Butterfly? I mean, I'd like Black Butterfly to become a man, too? Damn it, brother, there's something wrong with your sexual orientation. Stay away from me. Brother, he is right, I would also like Black Butterfly to become a man. Oh my god, you guys are so dangerous. Heidi hugged Hu Xian like brothers and walked out of the little paradise. Outside. After seeing this, some people exclaimed, wow, these two handsome boys just appeared out of nowhere. So handsome. You are ignorant. I know that guy, he is a very famous spendthrift handsome guy in Paradise Island. He is really handsome. I like him very much. The guy that Hie Shui is hugging is not bad either. I like him too. If I could marry both of them home and enjoy them all to myself, I would be so happy, said the infatuated woman. Don't dream. There are two, you can't get either one. Look, the direction they are heading is Paradise Island. Men are really no good, they come out of the little paradise and go to the big paradise. That's right, if you are a bit pretty, shouldn't you find a beautiful wife and live a good life? You are just a playboy. Father Hei confidently put his arm around Hu Xian's shoulders, acting like a good brother. Soon we arrived at the gate of Paradise Island. Wow, handsome boss He, you haven't been here for a long time. A group of women immediately came to greet him, surrounded he as He and praised him, and then complained that he had forgotten about them. At this time, Hie Shui took out a nanospace device, grabbed handfuls of demon coins and said, come on, everyone has a reward. Wow, thank you, bossy is He, I received gifts from you so many times. Why don't you accept it this time? A beautiful woman shook Heidi's arm and said, Kokathis Lai. Brother Hie Shui, please accept me. I am still a virgin and I will keep it for you. Please accept me. Hu Xian was pushed to the side by this group of women. He touched his nose and looked on speechless. Lie. How could a handsome man like me, a real man, be ignored? Hie Shui said with a smile. Don't worry, wait until I take down all the beauties on the list. Then it will be your turn, now you can enjoy it. Everyone is happy to get the devil coins. After a while, after sending away these beauties, Hie Shui took out his ID card and wore it on his chest. After seeing this, Hu Xian was surprised and said, wife, you are really amazing, you actually spent money at the level of the Emperor crown. Black Butterfly said in a good mood, aren't you just bored? Hubby, you don't know, these beauties are really fun to tease. Then he added, no wonder you men like to come to places like this. Tell me the truth, how many beauties have you slept with here? Heidi suddenly asked seriously. Hu Xian said speechless. Lie. I just came here yesterday, killed the people, and was kicked out. How could I have the chance to sleep with a beautiful woman? While speaking, he took out his ID card and put it on. After seeing this, Black Butterfly said in surprise. Potential consumption VEP privileges, awesome, my husband. I only have a few more demon coins, but it seems that I am not as good as you, my wife. As we chatted, we arrived at a first-class paradise. None of the beauties from yesterday are here anymore. Hu Xian thought that the person was replaced because of what happened yesterday. Black Butterfly saw his confusion and said, the beauties on Paradise Island are rotated. So you see different beauties every day. Of course. If there is a beautiful woman you like, you can summon her as long as your level is high enough. Why does your husband have any feelings for these first-class beauties who are guarding the door? Huaxian chuckled and said, as a man, I definitely have some thoughts about these beauties. If I said I don't have any thoughts, I guess you, my wife, would doubt my ability. The beautiful ladies who were welcoming guests at the first-class reception saw He. Everyone's expressions became more interesting, and they exclaimed, wow, it's handsome black brother who's here. They all gathered around like welcoming guests at the gate. Huaxian was pushed to the side again. There was no way. His status as a 5th-grade big shot, even with the B.I. privileges of consumption potential, was still not as good as Black Butterfly's consumption crown. That is the consumption crown generally. When people come to Paradise Island, they summon Paradise Island's special aircraft to pick it up. In other words, to consume the imperial crown, or even the royal crown. They rarely go through the main gate when they come to Paradise Island. Instead, they are picked up by Paradise Island's aircraft. Therefore, it is rare to see big guys who spend more than crown money walking in through the main door. And Black Butterfly is a surprise. After all, big guys who spend more than a crown amount don't look down on ordinary beauties. Furthermore, although people come to Paradise Island to consume beautiful women, most of the big guys come here to discuss business. After all, the consumer identity here reflects the consumer's status and strength. Just like before, after asking about Huaxian's well-being, he rewarded him with devil coins, and then took Huaxian into the first-class paradise. Brother Xian. As I walked in, a familiar voice came over. Qi Shui heard the sound and looked over immediately. After recognizing him, he smiled and said, oh, it's the beautiful Dylan. What, you've taken a fancy to my brother and you didn't even say hello to me? Zidalan indeed noticed Huaxian first and forgot about her. After Heidi reminded her, she quickly said respectfully, brother, he is H.A. You are here to know, are you and brother Xian brothers? As the crown lord of consumption, he is H.A. has absolute dominance over her. A beauty at the bottom of the best list. Of course I dare not offend him. Qi Shui put his arm around Huaxian's shoulders and said like a good friend. Yes, Huaxian is my good brother. Why, do you seem to like my good brother? Zidalan lowered her head shyly and said, brother, he is H.A. I like brother Xian, but brother Xian may not like me. Qi Shui wanted to play, so he walked over to Zidalan and whispered in her ear. How about I introduce my brother to you? Zidalan screamed in disbelief. Then he asked happily, brother, he is H.A., is it okay? Chapter 491 Selling art but not her body. Black Butterfly said confidently. As long as I ask, it's 100 possible. I'll let my brother redeem you in a moment. Really? Thank you, handsome brother He. Zidalan threw herself into Heidi's arms, hugged her, and was extremely grateful. Qi Shui hugged Zidalan as if he was taking advantage of the opportunity, making the beautiful girls around him extremely envious. Daya couldn't help but ask, brother Qi Shui, how about you redeem our young lady? Black Butterfly said, my redemption is the same as my brother's redemption. Zidalan came back to her senses from her excitement and asked curiously, brother, he is H.A., you smell so good, even better than us girls. And it doesn't smell like any perfume, it smells really good. Black Butterfly smiled and said, that's my special perfume. Otherwise, how can I attract you little beauties to like it? As he said this, he reached out and lifted Zidalan's chin. I thought to myself, that is my natural body odor, which is certainly not comparable to perfume. Zidalan thought the action was too warm and was worried that Huaxian would misunderstand. But she didn't dare to avoid it, so she looked at Huaxian nervously. Seeing Huaxian looking at him with a smile and not seeming angry, he breathed a sigh of relief. After Black Butterfly had enough fun, he pulled Zidalan to Huaxian and said, brother, Zidalan is a pretty good girl. How about redeeming her home? Huaxian smiled bitterly and said, brother, you have the final say. Black Butterfly said carelessly, that's settled, I'll go and redeem Sister Dylan in a bit. Okay. Zidalan was extremely excited and hurriedly said, thank you brother, he is H.A., thank you brother Xian. Come on. I'll take you to see some beauties on the earth ranking. Heidi hugged Huaxian again and walked forward, holding Zidalan with one hand. Along the way, many people were envious. Wow, brother Qi Shui. Brother Xian, are you good friends? Why are you here together? Hua Yun suddenly appeared. Came directly in front of the two of them. Girl, you are still so naughty, tell me, have you been to Little Paradise recently? Hua Yun smiled and said a few words in Heidi's ear. While speaking she looked at Huaxian from time to time. After listening to this, Heidi said speechless lie, you really know how to have fun. If you really like my brother, I'll introduce him to you. Hua Yun was very shocked. Then he asked in disbelief, is it really possible? Black Butterfly said, of course it's true. I've already asked my brother to redeem Purple Butterfly Blue. How can I leave you behind? Thank you so much, handsome brother He. Then he whispered in He's ear, brother He. You are not using brother Xin's name to redeem us and take us away for yourself. Are you? Black Butterfly said in a lecherous tone. You guessed it right, after you are exported, you will all be mine. Huiyun said happily, I can finally be Shui's woman. I'm so excited. Xin was disappointed again. After they were done, they handed the Black Devil ID card to Dailan and said, Dailan, help me top up 100 trillion demon coins first. Okay, brother Xin. Dailan already regarded herself as Huixin's person, and spoke very gently, offering to help with the recharge. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 200 trillion demon coins within 7 hours and won a chance to draw lottery. Ding, new task, completed within 7 hours and consume 400 trillion demon coins. If the task fails, the highest level of genetic realm will be deducted by 20 levels. If the task is completed, you will get 2 chances to draw lottery. Huixin was overjoyed when the reward was increased. By the way, Dailan, to what level can my current status be upgraded? Dailan said, brother Xin, my authority can only help you upgrade to the 8th grade consumer big name level. However, brother Shui knows a beautiful woman in the top 50 of the best list who can help you directly upgrade to the 10th grade big name level. Heidi naturally knew that Huixin's purpose was to improve his status and to meet the beauties on the legendary list. So he said, then let's go find the beauties at the top of the best list. Each of them is as beautiful as a fairy, and makes people drool. Heidi played the role of a man very well. If Huixin had not slept in the same bed with her, he would have suspected that she was the man. Then he walked towards the second-class heaven. Along the way, Black Butterfly was the most popular. Along the way, there were various rewards, and the devil coins were given out as if they were 6 years old. After passing through the second-class heaven, we finally arrived at the third-class heaven. I didn't expect the third-class paradise to be so crowded. What are they watching? Although it was already dark, Paradise Island was open 24 hours a day, so there was no such thing as day or night. Beat her to death, she dared to say that she only sells her art and not her body on Paradise Island. Then why do you think we came to Paradise Island? Did we spend a huge amount of demon coins just to watch you perform? That's right, you are pretending to be noble. Do you think you are superior, just because you are ranked 90th on the best list? In front of our Pegasus 9-star consumption crown, you are nothing but scum. When Huixin heard the 90th place on the list, he knew who they were bullying. Hurry over. Please make way. Please make way. Huixin squeezed through the crowd and said. The big guys watching were at least 6th rank big shots. When they turned around and saw that it was a 5th rank big shot squeezing over, they were filled with anger. Someone cursed, where did this blind person come from? A 5th rank big shot dares to crowd us. Are you tired of living? That's right, this blind fellow is really a lowly human being, so he deserves to be punished. I know him yesterday. He was in a life and death arena with a consumer crown in the second-class heaven, and he easily crushed the consumer crown, someone exclaimed. Hearing this, those who had scolded Huixin all trembled. Huixin said coldly, do you want to fight me to the death? What these people fear most is death, and they are unwilling to do anything risky. After all, wouldn't it be nice to keep their lives and live freely on Paradise Island? Everyone shut up. Huixin finally squeezed through the crowd and came to the center. Looking over, there was a very eye-catching slap mark on Shu Qingwian's face, and there was also a foot mark on his body. Tears streamed down her face, but she made no sound. Such a beautiful girl was beaten like this. I felt so sorry for her. Huixin hurried over and gently tried to help her up. Shu Qingwian struggled violently and cursed, get lost. You men are good at nothing, you only know how to sleep with women. Finally I broke down and cried. The old man who beat him said, I slept with you because I thought highly of you. You dare to be shameless. I will beat you to death today. Up just as the old man was about to attack, Huixin slapped him in the face. The old man's body was thrown out uncontrollably. Boom! It hit the wall before rolling to the ground. The old man, who had spent a lot of money on a high-star crown, was beaten like this, shocking the whole audience. However, a high status does not mean high strength. The old man's realm is only the 38th level of true god. He fell to the ground, trembled twice, and then fainted. Chapter 492 Rules are for the weak. All eyes in the entire third-class heaven hall were focused on Huixin. The shot took a long time to subside. Huixin glared at the whole audience and said, whoever dares to touch the woman I like will suffer the same fate. The crowd reacted, and those who didn't know Huixin was ruthless said disdainfully, crazy? There's no point in being crazy in Paradise Island. That's right, do you think the security of Paradise Island is just for show? Not long after, a group of security guards arrived. Lokistan Jun was among them. Seeing Hu Xin, he smiled bitterly and said, my lord, can you not cause trouble as soon as you come here? A whole audience was shocked again when they heard the security guard address Hu Xin. Only then did I realize that the guy they were talking about was not simple. It seemed that he was really not simple. Hu Xin shouted angrily. Are you Qing blind? And you didn't come out to stop it? Lokistan Jun smiled bitterly and said, Master, this is also the consumption model of our Paradise Island. People consume crowns and points. You spent your points? What's the meaning? That is, consumers who have reached the corresponding level can humiliate, beat and scold the beauties on Paradise Island, and then they just need to pay compensation. What the hell? What kind of rule is this? Lokistan Jun said bitterly. Although this rule is unfair to the beauties of Paradise Island, it is a rule set by the higher-ups and there is nothing we can do about it. On the contrary, you took action and knocked down a high-star consumption crown. You violated the rules right away. Black Butterfly stepped forward and said, why did my brother violate the rules? I have my ease on this Xu Qingwian. How dare a small consumer like Wang Guan beat up a woman I like? My brother beat him up. See the consumer crown identity card hanging on Black Butterfly's chest. Yes. Everyone in the audience took a deep breath. Someone muttered, oh my god, Master Xiao Ifei Emperor crown actually appeared here. Are you stupid? He is I Shui. He is different from others. He always comes in through the maid, or if it were any other emperor crown, they would all be picked up by a special plane. What shocked me was that he and this very crazy human were actually brothers. When Lokistan Jun saw Black Butterfly speak, his tone suddenly became extremely respectful. Respected Lord Consumption Emperor Crown, since she is the beauty you have set your eyes on, and that Consumption Emperor Crown should be punished for beating her. In an instant, Hu Xin made no more mistakes. The whole audience was envious. This was power and strength. What kind of bullshit rules were they? They were nothing but decorations in front of power and strength. All rules are for the weak. Hu Xin walked over again and helped Xu Qingwian up. And this time Xu Qingwian did not refuse. After all, Hu Xin offended a consumer crown for his own sake. If he doesn't give him face, he will really be looked down upon. What's more, this guy is a buddy with the famous celebrity He Shui who consumes the imperial crown, so there's nothing wrong in making friends with him. Are you okay? Hu Xin stroked her bruised face and said with heartache. I'm fine, thank you for helping me. Hu Xin tidied her clothes and said, I will redeem you. How about you follow me from now on? Xu Qingwian paused for a while and asked, if I follow you, will you treat me like a normal person? Hu Xin shook his head and said, no. Xu Qingwian smiled bitterly and was very disappointed. Hu Xin continued, I will treat you as my baby and my wife. And no one can bully you. Xu Qingwian's expression became even sadder as he said, after all this talk, you still covet my body. Hu Xin was stunned for a moment. Then said, if you don't want me to touch you, I promise that I will never touch you without your consent. How about that? Really? My best brother He Shui can vouch for me. Black Butterfly came over and said, it's your blessing that my brother likes you. Why are you still complaining? Xu Qingwian looked at Heidi and said, since you, he is brother, have said so, I will believe him this time. At this time, the consumer crown who was knocked unconscious was woken up by his friend. It was that bastard who dared to attack me. He rushed over cursing. He looked like he was ready to hit someone. The others looked on indiferently without saying anything. Noticing that something was wrong, the old man lowered his head and said to the security guard beside him, I, the high-ranking consumer crown, was beaten up. Aren't you going to deal with it? I want to know who the murderer is. Lokistan Jun said indiferently, the Xu Qingwian you beat is the one favored by this Lord Consumption Emperor Crown. What? The old man exclaimed and looked at the Black Butterfly. When he saw the Consumption Emperor Crown logo, his body trembled violently and his face turned pale instantly. The Consumption Crown is much better than it. And there is also a Consumption Crown in the middle. Even if it was someone consuming the crown, he wouldn't dare to offend them. Let alone someone consuming the Imperial Crown. He was immediately scared to death. Knock knock. Seeing the cold eyes of Heidi, he knelt directly in front of Heidi and said in a trembling voice, Sir, spare my life. I didn't know Xu Qingwian was your woman. Please don't hold grudges against me. In Paradise Island, although you can consume any beauty as long as your level is high enough, there are some beauties that you cannot touch. Although they are in Paradise Island, they have been supported and protected by some big guys. Anyone who dares to move will become the enemy of those big guys. I never thought that a beauty ranked 90th on the best list was actually protected by Lord Consumption Emperor Crown and was beaten by me. If this matter is not handled properly, it will be fatal. Black Butterfly said indiferently, whoever hit you, cut off one of your arms and get out of here. Not only did the old man not hate it, but he was deeply relieved. He took out a sharp sword, held it in his left hand, and chopped off the statue's right arm without hesitation. Deal. A right arm broke with a sound. The old man picked up his right arm, endured the pain, and left in a hurry. For him, it would be good enough if he could save his life after offending the emperor's crown. The scene fell into silence, and no one dared to make the slightest noise, for fear of accidentally offending Mr. Consumer Crown. Brother, let's go upstairs, Hu Xian shouted to Heidi. Heidi came over, put her arm around Hu Xian's shoulders and walked away, and asked softly, Hubby, you don't want to collect all the beauties on the Paradise Island rankings, do you? My wife misunderstood. I have this idea, but I don't have the ability to do it. My health is more important. DSK, I see you're in great shape. I was almost exhausted after 5 hours, but you didn't look tired at all. It's because you're too beautiful, my wife, that I can't get my virility out of my body. Zhu Qingwian got used to it and walked to Liang Yin and said, Brother, he is HA, Brother Xin, thank you. No matter what you write, we are still a family. He is HA. I said this and hugged Zhu Qingwian in his arms. The latter's body trembled and she was extremely nervous. It was the first time she was hugged by a man. I subconsciously glanced at Hu Xin, fearing that he would be jealous. Although he knew it, Hu Xin kept smiling and didn't care. Zhu Qingwian felt disappointed about this. It turned out that all men were like this, they only wanted to occupy the body and then dispose of it at will. Chapter 493. The biggest advantage is the large amount of demon coins. Soon we arrived at the fourth heaven. It is worth noting that the decoration, environment, and fourth grade beauties of the fourth heaven have all been elevated to a higher level. Wow, handsome black brother is here. Seeing He Shui, these fourth rank beauties also came to greet him warmly. He Shui let go of Hu Xian and Zhu Qingwian and greeted them warmly. Zhu Qingwian immediately looked at Hu Xian and couldn't help asking, Brother Xian, you said you like me, but when you saw your brother hugging me, you didn't seem jealous at all. Hu Xian smiled and said, We are the most senior brothers, the kind that sleep together. How could I be angry? You, Zhu Qingwian was a little angry, but more disappointed. Hu Xian hugged her in his arms and said, Don't worry, I will take good care of you. Zhu Qingwian struggled hard to break free, smiled coldly and said nothing more. She was extremely disappointed with Hu Xian. I thought to myself, even if you get me, you can't get my heart. After a while, Black Butterfly sent away these fourth grade beauties and led the way into the fourth grade heaven hall. There are many beautiful women standing here, all dressed sexy and beautifully, looking like they are waiting to be chosen. When Hu Xian was about to go in, he was stopped by a fourth-rank beauty. I'm sorry, sir. A fifth-class celebrity can only spend money in heavens below the fourth level. Heidi spread her hands and deliberately made things difficult for Hu Xian. Hu Xian smiled and said, Beauty, can't you see that I am a VIP with consumption potential? Sir, of course I see that we need to check your points balance before we can let you pass. Hu Xian handed over the ID card. After careful inquiry, the other party was shocked. Then he said respectfully, Dear VIP with consumption potential, please come in. Hu Xian didn't expect that the VIP privileges with consumption potential would have such a great effect. He walked in with arrogance. He came to Heidi, hugged her in his arms, and bit her hard on the mouth. I thought to myself, you dare to tease your husband, this is your punishment. Everyone around was stunned, especially Zidai Lan and Hua Yun and others. Extremely shocking. I didn't expect a grown men to. It's so destructive to your worldview. Zhu Qingwian seemed to suddenly understand why Hu Xian was not jealous of He Shui hugging her. She didn't expect that they had this kind of relationship. Heidi struggled to get away from Hu Xian and complained softly. Look at the way those people around me are looking at me. Hu Xian said inferently, just watch it, it's not like they haven't seen it before. When the others heard this, they were even more speechless. I thought we have never seen this before. However, even if they had any objections to a consumer crown being like this, they dared not say anything. We even have to act like it's natural for us. Hey, handsome black brother, it's really you. A beautiful lady wearing a pink transparent long dress, who was looming and extremely attractive, walked over. The ID tag she wore read 85th on the best list. Hu Xian subconsciously compared her with King Shu Yuan and the others. The difference in beauty was not very obvious, but her temperament was much more elegant. This makes her seem different from Zhu Qingwian and the others, as if she is several levels higher. My little baby. Long time no see, did you miss me? Black Butterfly shouted happily, opening her arms and waiting. Feng Yuer flew over, jumped into Heidi's arms, and hung her legs around Heidi's waist. This action was so intimate. The other beauties were so envious that they wished they could exchange identities with Feng Yuer. For them it is a great honor to be favored by the consumer crown. It took a long time for the two to separate. Hu Xin walked over and opened his arms and said, "Miss Feng Yue, let's hug too." Feng Yue frowned and asked coldly, "Who are you?" Hu Xin hugged Heidi and said, "We are good brothers." "Who do you think I am? Even if you and handsome black brother are good brothers, this is not a reason for you to take advantage of me. I'm telling you, I Feng Yue only belong to brother He Shui." Then she said coquettously lie to Heidi, "Brother, he is He. You are not a good friend, you just want to take advantage of me." Black Butterfly smiled and said, "My brother has only one hobby, and that is lust. You'll get used to it." Hu Xin smiled and said, "Yes, I only have one hobby, which is to like beautiful women. So Miss Yue, please satisfy my only hobby. Dream on. No man other than the handsome black man can touch me." After saying that, he went to the other side of the Black Butterfly, looking like, "I want to stay away from you, pervert." Everyone else was amused by the scene. Zhu Qingwen said to Hu Xin in a cold voice, "Do you think everyone is so easy to fool? If you are not good enough, no matter how powerful your friends are, they can't help you." Hu Xin walked over to her and said, "Qingwen, I'm upset by what you said. Why can't I do it? Or have you tried?" "You hooligan," Shu Qingwen cursed shyly and quickly walked behind Feng Yue. Feng Yue was very dissatisfied with this and said, "Brother, he is where did you meet this friend? He is so mean. I met him in Little Paradise, but besides being lustful, my friend has many good qualities. The biggest one is that he has so many devil coins that he can't spend them all. VIP privileges with consumption potential. Others only know that he has great potential, but Black Butterfly knows that he is almost the same as herself, or even stronger. Does he really have demon coins that he doesn't spend to play?" Another beautiful and pleasant voice came. Everyone looked at him with awe. "Oh my god, it's Peacock Yanli, who is ranked 80th on the best list. She's here too. Beautiful, so beautiful, worthy of being the 80th beauty on the best list. I am lucky enough to see her today. It is such a treat for my eyes." The consumer said excitedly. With his status and position, it is not easy for him to even see it, let alone consume it. Paradise Island is big, very big, and there are countless beauties, but there are only 5 on the list. There are 100 people on the top list, 30 people on the earth list, 10 people on the heaven list, 3 people on the god list, and 1 person on the legend list, which adds up to only 144 people on the list. There are more than 100,000 beauties serving in Paradise Island. Among the 100,000, which one of them who can make the list is not a peerless beauty, but among them some still stand out exceptionally. This is the beauty of Peacock. She is much better than Feng Yue, who is ranked 85th. Wu Yun and the others have no way to compare them. It's cruel, but it's the truth. Amid everyone's shocked gaze, Peacock Yanli came in front of Hu Xin and Heidi. Zhang Yan smiled and asked, "Brother He Shui, who has so many devil coins that they can't spend them all?" This smile was so charming that all the men and women in the audience were stunned. Black Butterfly reached out and stroked Peacock's gorgeous face and said, "Your skin is whiter and softer than before. How did you do it?" Chapter 494. Aren't you worried that I'm a bad guy? Brother He Shui, if you wanna know, go to my room and I will tell you privately. This is my exclusive beauty secret. Peacock said in a gorgeous and delicate tone. The people around him felt their bones go weak after hearing this. Cursed the goblin inwardly. Black Butterfly smiled and said, "Okay, let's go to your room now." He took Black Butterfly and left. Now that she was no longer ugly and had a stunning beauty, she naturally longed for the secret recipe for beauty maintenance. Regardless of which race women are, how many of them don't love beauty? Hu Xin followed behind. Shu Qingwen and the others followed closely behind, also very curious about the secret recipe for maintaining Peacock's gorgeous beauty. Soon they arrived at Peacock's gorgeous residence, which was a separate private area of Paradise Island and also a resting area for all staff members. Although there are obvious level distinctions here, the environment is the same. The only difference is the numbering. If you want to enter the private area, you need an invitation from a beauty at least above the ranking list. Those below are not qualified to bring others into the private area. The Peacock is gorgeous and naturally qualifies for this. The beauties on the ranking list all have separate rooms with a high degree of privacy. Walking into her room, everyone looked around curiously. Peacock Yanli was very unhappy that other people followed her. But since Black Butterfly didn't say anything, she couldn't just drive them away. After arriving at the residence, he pulled Heidi and rushed into the ben. Clang. She slammed the door shut and couldn't wait to undress, thus wanting to be Heidi's woman. Heidi was a little embarrassed and said quickly, "Don't be anxious, Yanli. Tell me how you maintain your beauty first, and then we will." Outside, Hu Xin looked around and returned to Zhu Qingwen and the others. It is worth noting that Feng Yue also followed. Everyone's eyes fell on Hu Xin. Zid Island asked, "Brother Xin, how did you become brothers with brother he is HA? Others were curious too. Huaxian smiled and said, we fell in love at first sight and got along very well. Our relationship warmed up and we became close friends. And brother Xin, can you help me match me up with brother Hei Shui? Feng Yuer said excitedly. Sure, but how are you going to thank me? While Huaxian said this, his eyes were looking around her stealthily. Everyone can see his purpose. Feng Yuer smiled bitterly and refused. Brother Xin, that won't work. I like brother Hei Shui and I want to give my most precious thing to brother Hei Shui. Please understand, can you make other requests? Huaxian spread his hands and said, I don't have any other requirements, I only have one hobby, which is liking beautiful women. Feng Yuer thought for a moment and said, I'll introduce Yan Shuangfeng, the 840th beauty on the list. Do you, and you can introduce Hei Shui to me, is that okay? No, 84 was obviously one level higher than her, and it was hard to believe that Huaxian would not be tempted. Huaxian nodded with satisfaction and said, it's a deal. Let's not delay any longer, you. Before Huaxian could finish, Feng Yuer said, I'll go call Yan Shuangfeng right now. You wait here. He trotted away. Zidailan complained. Some people are really lustful, there are so many beautiful women around them. But they are still thinking about others. Huaxian walked over, hugged her and said, are you jealous? I can win over other beauties. Which also proves my strength, the stronger your man is, the more face you will have. I'd rather lose face than share you with others. An excellent person can't be enjoyed alone, don't worry. No matter how many people I have in the future, my love for you will never change. Wu Yun said, I don't worry about how many women you have. Anyway, it's enough for me to follow you. Huaxian immediately hugged Wu Yun in his arms and said, I like people like you, kiss me. Oh, so many people are watching us. I won't do this. Wu Yun struggled and ran away. This was the tone and movement when running away. Extremely charming and alluring. Huaxian was about to chase after him and do something bad. Zidailan grabbed him and said, aren't you waiting for Yan Shuangfeng? He will be here soon. Wu Yun ran into a room and waited shyly. When she heard Zidailan's words, she stomped her feet in anger and secretly cursed her for ruining her good fortune. That long. Yan Shuangfeng, who looked sleepy and was still wearing pajamas, was dragged here by Feng Yuer. Feng Yuer, why are you going crazy in the middle of the night? Don't you know that I didn't get enough rest and need to make up for the sleep? She complained, very dissatisfied. Feng Yuer didn't care about that. She pulled her in front of Huaxian and said, let me introduce you to a super rich man. The kind you love the most. Yan Shuangfeng rolled his eyes at Feng Yuer. Only then did he realize that his pajamas had been messed up by her. It was a transparent gauze, the kind with a super short V-neck, which seemed looming at first glance. Coupled with Yan Shuang's stunning figure, Huaxian was already stunned. Noticing Huaxian's gaze, Yan Shuangfeng said unhappily, what are you looking at? Haven't you seen it before? Huaxian answered honestly, I have seen others, but this is the first time I have seen yours. Rogue. Then she took out her ID card and said, look at me. 100 million points at a time, pay the bill. It was just a joke. After all, unless it is a special arrangement, it is impossible to charge for such a situation. Even if there is a fee, it is not as expensive as 100 million. After all, she is not a beauty at the top of the rankings, let alone a great beauty above the local rankings. Unexpectedly, Huaxian took off his ID card and paid the points directly. When I felt the points earned by Huaxian, Yan Shuangfeng was stunned. After a while, he reacted, stared at Huaxian in shock, and asked incredulously, did you transfer the wrong amount? I meant 100 million points, why did you transfer 100? 0 points to me? Huaxian smiled and said, I didn't transfer the money wrong. I want to see you for the rest of my life, so I transferred 100 trillion. You. Yan Shuangfeng was speechless, thinking that even if you have a lot of devil coins, you can't be so wasteful. If I marry you, I will be pissed off to death by you. No, why would I ever think of marrying him? Feng Yuer heard the conversation between the two and quickly said, Shuangfeng, you see? And he is definitely not stingy when it comes to money. How about it, do you like it? Yan Shuangfeng said, he is generous. But why do I feel that he is a bit of a spendthrift? If I marry him, what if he squanders all the money? Everyone burst out laughing. Feng Yuer smiled sweetly and said, if you really marry him, I will let you control the financial power. Then you won't have to worry about him squandering the family fortune. Yan Shuangfeng looked at Huaxian and asked, if I marry you, are you willing to let me manage the finances? This. Huaxian was a little embarrassed. Yan Shuangfeng said unhappily, let's see, he is willing to hand over the financial power to me. Huaxian smiled bitterly, beauty, it's not that I don't want to hand over the financial power to you, But we have only met for less than 5 minutes, and you are already talking about marriage. Isn't it too fast? Aren't you worried that I'm a bad person? Chapter 495 to direct. Yan Xuanfeng was stunned for a moment, then said with contempt, "You are talking about a man who comes to Paradise Island to spend money. As if one of them is a good person. As for why I'm so anxious, it's because you are introduced by Feng Yue. We are good sisters. Even if she hurts me, I will accept it. Now let's get down to business. I don't like beating around the bush." "What's the business?" Huax Xian asked with a wry smile. He was a little uncomfortable with Yan Xuanfeng's straightforwardness. This is exactly the character of a tomboy. Of course it's up to you to redeem me, and then hand over the financial power to me. Otherwise, what else do you think is going on? This. What are you talking about? As a man, can you speak more directly? You are hesitating like a woman. Huax Xian was speechless after being criticized. He said depressedly, "Sister Xuanfeng, you seem to be in a hurry to get married. This makes me wonder if there is something wrong with you. You are the one with the problem. I am just tired of this place. I don't want to be treated as a plaything by all kinds of men all day long and live in fear every day. Just tell me if you are willing to redeem me and marry me. If not, I will go back to sleep. Stop dithering." Huax Xian took a deep breath and gradually adapted to Yan Xuanfeng's tomboyish personality. He nodded and said, "Okay, I will redeem you and give you the financial power." As he said that, he pushed his Black Devil card forward. Seeing the Black Devil card, Yan Xuanfeng was a little bit unbelievable. "Is this for yourself?" He stared at Huax Xian and asked, "Are you serious?" Huax Xian said seriously, "Do you think I'm joking?" Yan Xuanfeng took a deep breath before trying to take the Black Devil card. Feeling that it was real and Huax Xian had no complaints, he asked, "Where's the password?" "The password is 123,456. The password of the Black Devil card is so simple. Quickly swipe it against your ID card and then enter the password 123,456. A balance appeared in it. Looking at the 300 trillion demon coins still inside, he took a deep breath. Although 300 trillion demon coins are nothing to the real tycoons, for ordinary people, it is definitely a huge sum of money. Then try to enter a transfer of 100 trillion. After entering the password, you will receive the payment message almost simultaneously. Stunned, after a long while, he asked Huax Xian in shock, "Is there no more money going to be deposited into your Black Devil card?" Huax Xian shook his head. "Of course not. The feature of this card is that if you spend the money on it, more money will be credited to your account." "Is it true?" Yan Xuanfeng didn't believe it. So the remaining 200 trillion was also recharged into Huax Xian's ID card. "I don't feel sorry for these devil coins after all. Huax Xian needs more devil coins to redeem the person." Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 400 trillion demon coins within 7 hours and won 2 chances to draw lottery. Ding! New mission. Complete the critical hit twice within 8 hours and consume 800 trillion demon coins. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of Gene Realm will be deducted by 20 levels. Complete the mission to get 2 chances to draw lottery. Yan Xuanfeng, who had just paid out 100 trillion yuan, quickly checked the balance in Huax Xian's card. When I saw the number 800 trillion, I was completely stunned. After the consumption is completed, are there really more demon coins received? She stared at Huax Xian in disbelief and confirmed. "Honey, are you saying that as long as I spend all the money, or demon coins will be deposited into this card?" Huax Xian nodded seriously. "Yes, that's right." "Yes." After getting Huax Xian's affirmation, Yan Xuanfeng took a deep breath. "Honey, this card can't be like this, right?" Yan Xuanfeng asked in disbelief. "Yes, keep doing this. As long as you spend all the money, more money will be credited to your account." Yan Xuanfeng saw that Huax Xian didn't seem to be joking. So he returned the card to him and said, "Then I don't dare to accept your card. I thought, even if you really want to give it to me, the power behind you probably won't allow it." In his opinion, the demon coins in this card must be replenished in real time by the power behind Huax Xian. He might have an expert monitoring him secretly, so he couldn't take this card by himself. "Aren't you going to take control of my financial power?" Huax Xian asked curiously. Yan Xuanfeng said, "I just want to see your sincerity. I am quite satisfied with your performance for Feng Yuer's sake. I will agree to be your wife." "Yeah, thank you, Frost Wind." Feng Yuer was extremely excited, and then said to Huax Xian, "I have done what I promised you. Remember what you promised me." Huax Xian grinned and said, "Don't worry, hold me. I promise that my good brother will not dislike you and will keep you by my side." Feng Yuer was so happy that she quickly said, "You said it. I recorded it on T-Cheat." After saying that, he also showed off the video he recorded. Huax Xian was also very happy and thought to himself, "You all are my type, how could I go back on my word? What follows is a long wait. It was really boring. Huaxian said to Yan Shuangfeng, you are so careless to marry me. Why don't we go? Seeing Huaxian's eyes looking towards her room, Yan Shuangfeng interrupted and said, no, you can sleep with me if you want, but you have to redeem me first. Then go and redeem yourself. You're free anyway. Huaxian was a little impatient. Zidai and Huiyan were both very dissatisfied. Some people really get bored with the old and love the new. We are forgotten while we are still here, said Huiyan. Huaxian looked over and asked, why am I fickle, when I said I was going to redeem myself? I wasn't just helping Shuangfeng alone, I was also helping you guys. Zidai said in a dissatisfied tone, do you think it's a simple matter to redeem us? In addition to the huge amount of points, there are other requirements. What requirements? Huaxian was quite curious. First, your status must reach the minimum consumption crown level before you can redeem someone other than the 70th on the best list. You can redeem someone other than the 50th on the best list by spending an imperial crown. Only by consuming Tianzi Yuan can one redeem the bodies of those outside the top 30 on the best list. And only by consuming Xian Ziyan can one redeem the bodies of those outside the top 1 on the best list. And to redeem yourself on the earth ranking, at the very least you have to consume the Lord God. If you want to redeem the heavenly ranking, you must spend at least 30 stars of the Lord God. As for the God list, there is no record of anyone being redeemed. Huaxian frowned and said in dissatisfaction, does redeeming one's body require so many rules and regulations? Zidai smiled coldly and said, there are naturally no such requirements for redeeming an ordinary beauty. Just give enough devil coins. Who told you to redeem the beauty on the ranking list? I thought to myself, who told you to be so fickle and fall in love with every girl you meet? Huaxian asked anxiously, is there a shortcut to quickly improve my status? I don't believe that the rules of Paradise Island are fixed. Chapter 496, Substituting. There are no shortcuts. Only climbing up step by step. Zidai tone became increasingly cold because she was unhappy with Huaxian's fickleness. I thought to myself that I had misjudged him. Huaxian could see it. So he smiled bitterly and said, then when I reach that status, I'll be the first one to redeem you. Brother Xian is partial. Huiyan said with a dissatisfied look. Huaxian smiled and said, then you are the second one. Yan Shuangfeng said. In fact, you can ask Brother Hei Shui to redeem us. He is fully qualified to consume the imperial crown. Huaxian's eyes lit up and he said, then wait until my brother is done with his work and comes out. And then I'll go and redeem you. I thought, I don't know what Black Butterfly is doing. It hasn't come out for such a long time. In the room. After Black Butterfly learned how to take care of herself, she pretended to be intimate with Peacock Yili, and then knocked her unconscious when she was not prepared. However, it would be abnormal if we didn't do something. So he walked out of the room. Everybody looked over. He came to Huaxian and whispered in his ear for a while. Everyone was speechless, wondering what could the grown men have to talk about in secret. After Heidi finished speaking, she said to Xu Qingweyan and the others, come with me, I have something to discuss with you. After saying that, he walked towards another room. Xu Qingweyan asked, all of us? All of you, except my brother. Of course. Zidai and the others followed into the room curiously. Without any outsiders around, Huaxian sneaked into Peacock's gorgeous room. Seeing her sleeping on the bed in dishevel, Huaxian smiled bitterly. He never expected that he would do such a thing. But in order to help Heidi keep the man's identity from being exposed, she thought she had no choice but to sacrifice herself. So Huaxian gently untied Peacock's gorgeous clothes. And then, in another room, Black Butterfly taught Purple Butterfly and Blue the others how to take care of themselves. When they learned that it was learned from Konkyu Yili, everyone became very excited and studied seriously. A few hours later, after finishing his work, Huaxian returned to the living room and sent a message to Heidi, who then led everyone out of the room. Then he went into Peacock's gorgeous room alone. Zidai and the others were still discussing maintenance matters and didn't care about anything else. I never thought that Sister Yili's skin care secrets were so mysterious. No wonder her skin is always as good as a baby's. Now I finally got it. We have to thank handsome brother Hei. If it weren't for him, we definitely wouldn't have learned such good maintenance skills. Zidai looked at Huaxian with dissatisfaction and said, you are not like some people who rely on their endless demon coins to do anything and fall in love with everyone they meet. Huaxian smiled awkwardly and said, Dailan, why do you always target me? Zidai said loudly, if you weren't so fickle, I wouldn't be right with you. Liking beautiful women is my only hobby, I really can't give it up. If I lose it, my life will be meaningless. A playboy is a playboy. And he still loves her. Yan Shuangfeng said, Sister Dailan, in this world where martial arts are respected and the strong are kings, if Brother Xin is good enough, What does it matter how many wives he marries? Huaxian's eyes lit up and he praised, my wife Feng Shuang is really sensible. I'm just telling the truth and discussing the matter. I'm not trying to help you if you don't have the ability. Then you can't blame anyone. Huaxian smiled confidently and said, I don't have any other abilities, I'm just a little bit powerful. A little bit more demon coins, a little bit handsome. A little bit. Narcissism. Shameless. After Zidai Lan finished speaking, Chu Qingyuan couldn't help but speak. Almost 2 more hours passed. Heidi came out pulling Peacock Qianli, who was walking in a strange posture. The peacock's face was blushing, but she was extremely happy and thought she had found true love. Heidi said to Huaxian, brother, let's go to the management center. I want to redeem my baby Yan Li. Thank you handsome black brother. Still call me brother? Said the black butterfly foreign slave. Peacock Qianli quickly changed her words and said, thank you, husband. After all, it was the first time I addressed her like that, so I was quite shy, and the last 2 words sounded like a mosquito's voice. Seeing this, Huaxian had a strange smile on his face. Black Butterfly rolled her eyes at him and said to Purple Butterfly and Blue, who were envious of the peacock's beauty, you guys should come with me. I should have a few redemption quotas now. I will redeem you all in a while. Zidai Lan suddenly asked, brother Hei Shui, after you redeem me, can I marry you? After saying that, she glared at Huaxian and thought, I would rather marry Hei Shui than you. Black Butterfly smiled and hugged her into his arms, saying, sure, no problem. Huaxian smiled even more brightly when he heard this. Aren't all the things that Black Butterfly collected his? Zidai Lan was overjoyed. Thank you, handsome black brother. After saying that, he looked at Huaxian and said, you playboy. You want to get me? Dream on. Seeing that Zidai Lan succeeded, Chu Qinghuiyan quickly said to Heidi, brother, he is H.A. I want to follow you too. I don't like certain people. Everyone knows who these certain people are. Huaxian pretended to be sad and said, how can you do this? I will be very sad if you do this. Okay? Well, you deserve it. Zidai Lan snorted angrily. Huaxian looked at Huayan, who hadn't expressed her opinion, and asked, Huayan, you're not going to leave me too, are you? Huayan blinked and said, compared to Hei Shui brother, you seem to be a little inferior. Xian brother, since you two are close friends, it's not too much for me to be your sister-in-law. Except for Huaxian. Everyone present burst into laughter. Huaxian looked speechless and gloomy on the surface, but he almost couldn't suppress his laughter on the inside. Daya said, you deserve it. Who told you not to cherish our young lady? Now you are so fickle that you can't get any of them. Heidi smiled and said to Huaxian, I'm sorry, brother. We're going to redeem you. Taking Zidai Lan and the others, they headed towards the management center. Huaxian followed far behind. In their opinion, they just couldn't bear the blow and were in a bad mood. Huaxian himself had a smile on his face. These beautiful girls are all his. Soon arrived at the management center. Dear Mr. Consumer Crown, how can I help you? Black Butterfly pointed at the people around her and said to the staff, I call 6 of them, and I came here specially to redeem them. Even though they already knew that Black Butterfly was going to redeem themselves and others, they all became nervous when they actually arrived at the management center. For the beauties on the list, even the last one, the cost of redeeming her is very high. Black Butterfly has to redeem 6 of them at once, which shows that the pressure is very great. What's more, one of them is a top 80 beauty. The staff were very surprised when they heard Heidi's request. The first thing he did was to take a look at Peacock Qianli and their identity registration. All I saw were beauties on the leaderboard. Virgil. He swallowed in shock. He took a deep breath and said respectfully, Dear Lord Consumer Crown, you have the authority to redeem 6 beauties ranked above 50 on the top list at one time. But, Chapter 497, Consumption of Tianzi Yuan. But what? Black Butterfly was very unhappy with the staff's hesitation. The staff member could tell that Black Butterfly was unhappy, and quickly said, Dear Lord Consumer Crown, just a quarter of an hour ago, we received news that Lord Consumer Heavenly Master had arrived at Paradise Island, and Hao Zheng used 100 million evil crystals to reserve all the beauties on the list. So we currently do not support anyone redeeming the beauties on the list. What? The Lord of Consumption has arrived, and Hao Zheng is 100 million Eman crystals? Black Butterfly asked in extreme shock. That's right. The Lord of Consumption has come to our Paradise Island in Border City. Huaxian asked curiously, what currency is this demon crystal? The staff thought Huaxian was just a 5th-tier celebrity and simply ignored him. Black Butterfly explained, Demon Crystal is the evolved version of Demon Coin. Only 1 Demon Crystal can be condensed for every trillion Demon Coins, so the value of Demon Coin Crystal is very high. Moreover, the Demon Crystal is rich in pure attribute-less genetic power and is an excellent product for cultivation. So, Demon Crystals are just a kind of currency, Hu Xin asked with some anticipation. That's right, Demon Crystal is the most popular currency on the continent. Hu Xin nodded, thinking that he should spend like crazy to evolve the demon coins into demon crystals. By the way, what level of power does the Consumption Heavenly Lord generally belong to? Black Butterfly smiled bitterly and said, Consumption Heavenly Venerable. No matter his strength or power, is an extremely terrifying existence. Even the Paradise Island spread all over the continent pays great attention to him. What level do you think he belongs to? Hu Xin nodded and didn't ask any more questions. Zida Lan and the others all looked unhappy. Seeing this, Hu Xin asked curiously, isn't it just the arrival of the consumption god? Why do you all look like this? Chu Qinghuiyan said unhappily. Do you really not know, or are you pretending not to know? Hu Xin was even more confused. What do I know? Yan Shuangfeng said. The Lord of Consumption has come and booked all the people on our leaderboard, proving that our chastity will be lost. Are all the beauties on the list still chaste? Hu Xin asked with great curiosity. Zida Lan and the others all rolled their eyes. Chu Qinghuiyan said angrily, you want to be scolded if you die? In Paradise Island, beauties who can be on the list must be perfect. If they are not, they will be directly removed from the list. Is that so? Hu Xin was very surprised. At the same time, I also understood why Zida Lan and the others looked so unhappy. Surrounded, can they still escape? Zida Lan said, don't you like us very much? Don't you want to marry us? Now that you see that we are about to be ruined by others? Don't you want to do something? Hu Yan and the others all looked at Hu Xin. His staff member at the side said, he's a 5th-rank celebrity. What do you expect him to do? A single look from the consumer god would scare him to death. Hu Xin glanced at the staff member coldly, handed the Black Devil card to Yan Shuangfeng and said, recharge me with 800. Yan Shuangfeng said bitterly. Brother Xin, that's a consumption heavily venerate. It's useless even if you recharge more demon coins. Unless you are also a consumption heavily venerate. Maybe you can still help us. Hu Xin said confidently. Trust me, I won't let you be bullied, just recharge me. Oh, okay, Yan Shuangfeng sighed. Randomly recharge Hu Xin. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 800 trillion demon coins within 8 hours and won the chances to draw lottery. Ding, new mission, completed within 8 hours and consume 100 trillion demon coins. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of Gene Realm will be deducted by 20 levels. Complete the mission and get to chances to draw lottery. Frost Wind, recharge me 100 million Villian demon coins. Everyone trembled and thought, are you crazy? But what's the use of recharging so many demon coins? He is the god of consumption. Not to mention their spending power. Their strength is at least that of a true god level 70 or above. Yan Shuangfeng was helpless, but continued to recharge. After all, this was a request made by the customer. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have spent 100 trillion demon coins in 1 minute. And received a critical hit reward and 6 chances to draw a prize. Ding, new mission, complete the consumption of 10 times the critical hit of 100 million demon coins within 5 hours. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of Gene Realm will be deducted by 30 levels. And you will get to chances to draw after completing the mission. Frost Wind, recharge me 100 million demon coins. This. Everyone was shocked. 100 trillion demon coins. Equivalent to 100 demon crystals. Black Butterfly frowned and asked, husband, are you spending money to vent because you feel irresistible pressure? Others also think that Hu Xin is like this. But I was also shocked that he was really wealthy. Hu Xin smiled faintly and said, I'm not venting my anger. You'll know when you wait and see. Zhao Yan Shuangfeng said. Shuangfeng, just help me recharge. Yan Shuangfeng smiled helplessly and could only continue to recharge. Zida Lan shook her head and smiled bitterly. Hu Xin. I admit that I was moved by your arrogance, but in front of the consumer heavenly lord, you are really not enough. You have tried hard, and I don't blame you. As he said that, he walked over, hugged Hu Xin's face, and kissed him hard. The staff member at the side quickly reminded Zida Lan, you have to understand that when you were spending money on Tian Ziyuan's private room, all of you beauties on the list must pay attention to chastity. Hearing this, Peacock's beautiful face turned a little pale. She looked at Heidi and could only rely on him to protect herself. Heidi frowned, she never expected that a consumer god would book the entire place at this critical juncture. Zida Lan let go of Hu Xin and said, although you are unfaithful, you are indeed loyal, take care. After saying that, he left. Brother, he is Brother Xin, take care. Hu Yan also left. Take care. Chu Qinghuiyan also left. After a while, Yan Shuangfeng and Kongqiu Yanli were the only ones left at the scene. Everyone else went to prepare to welcome the arrival of the Lord of Consumerism. Yin Li became even more panicked and her face turned pale. If the consumer lord knew that she was not a virgin, she would not be able to bear his wrath. Yan Shuangfeng looked at Hu Xin and said bitterly, "Perhaps it is destined that we are not meant to be together." "Brother Xin, you," Hu Xin interrupted, "don't say those words. As long as I am here, you belong to me, no one can take you away. Not to mention consuming the heavenly lord, even consuming the godly lord is not allowed." The extremely confident words, accompanied by the confident aura, stunned everyone around them. After a while, the staff at the management center reacted and said disapprovingly, "That was almost fooled by you. Even if you have the potential consumption VIP privileges as a fifth-grade celebrity, you are still scum in front of the consumption heavenly venerable. Let me tell you, the consumption of the consumer lord is the devil's crystal. But what about you? No matter how much you recharge, it's just devil's coins. Forget about this idea. All the beauties on the ranking list will belong to Lord Consumer God." Chapter 498, Crazy Recharge. Recharge, Frost Wind. Hu Xian's confident words made Yan Shuangfeng unable to doubt him. He nodded and continued to recharge Hu Xian. "Ding. Congratulations to the host, you have spent 1 million Rillion Eman coins in 3 minutes, and received 8 chances to draw prizes as a critical hit reward. Ding. New mission, complete the consumption of 3 times the critical hit within 4 hours. And the host's highest level of Gene Rel will be deducted by 30 levels if the mission fails. Complete the mission to get 2 chances to draw lottery. Frost Wind, recharge me another 300 million Rillion Eman coins." Everyone present was trembling violently in disbelief. How did this human race get so many demon coins? Yan Shuangfeng was shocked but continued to recharge Hu Xian. An expression that said, "I, Yan Shuangfeng, will go all out with you." It can also be seen that she is sincere to Hu Xian. "Ding. Congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 300 million Rillion demon coins within 1 minute, and received 6 lucky draw opportunities as a critical hit reward. Ding. New mission, complete the consumption of 5 times the critical hit within 3 hours. 150 trillion demon coins. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of Gene Realm will be deducted 40 levels. And complete the mission to get 2 chances to draw. Frost Wind continues to recharge me with 150 trillion demon coins." Even Black Butterfly couldn't help but take a breath. Hu Xian's recharge is too crazy. I don't know how many demon coins are in his black demon card. Yan Shuangfeng was already numb and continued to recharge. "Ding. Congratulations to the host for spending 150 million Rillion demon coins within 1 minute and getting 4 chances to draw prizes as a critical hit reward. Ding. New mission, complete the consumption of 5 times the critical hit of 750 trillion Eman coins within 2 hours. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of Gene Realm will be deducted by 50 levels. And you will get 2 chances to draw after completing the mission. Frost Wind, recharge me 750 trillion Eman coins." Numb. Everyone in the audience was numbed by Hu Xian's arrogance. The staff at the management center were even more terrified. Just now he looked down on this human. The points that people have recharged now exceed 1 Rillion Eman coins, which is equivalent to more than 1,000 demon crystals. The status is equivalent to consuming the imperial crown. It's so scary. Yan Shuangfeng finally believed that Hu Xian's Black Devil card would really give him new devil coins with a higher value after he used it. Continue to recharge Hu Xian. "Ding. Congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 750 trillion demon coins within 1 minute, and received a bonus of 10 critical hits and lucky draw opportunities. Ding. New mission, complete 3 times the critical hit within 1 hour. Consumption of 225 million Rillion Eman coins. The mission is to deduct the host's highest level of Gene Realm by 50 levels. Ding. The consumption currency reaches a certain limit and is automatically upgraded to Demon Crystal Consumption Currency. The consumption ask is converted into 250 Demon Crystals within 1 hour. The time was shortened to 1 hour, and Hu Xin decided to stop. If he continued like this, he would be spending money every minute and every second, and would eventually kill himself. That's it for now. I'm doing all this just to let everyone know that what I, Hu Xin, lack the least is demon coins and demon crystals. Although the staff of the management center were shocked, they couldn't help but say after hearing what Hu Xin said, "No matter how many demon coins you have, they are nothing compared to demon crystals." Hu Xin smiled slightly, took the demon card from Yan Shuangfeng, threw it to the staff member and said, "Recharge me 100 demon crystals." What? The whole audience was shocked. Hu Xin said calmly, "Don't you understand what I'm saying? Recharge me 100 demon crystals." I was shocked and couldn't recover for a long time. I didn't expect that this human also possessed the devil crystal. The staff was still a little skeptical. He picked up Hu Xian's Black Devil card. and took out his own ID card, and after getting Hu Xian's authorization, he completed the recharge of 100 devil crystals. Looking at the recharge body layer, the staff was stunned. Only then did I realize that I had been wrong in judging others. The human in front of me is too terrifying. Hu Xian snatched back the Black Devil card and said to Black Butterfly, Black Swallow, and Frost Wind, let's go meet the Consumption Heavenly Venerable. Black Butterfly whispered beside Hu Xian, hubby, how many demon crystals do you have? Hu Xian smiled mysteriously and said, it's inexhaustible. Heidi rolled her eyes and didn't believe it. Yan Shuangfeng, who was following beside him, was extremely excited. She was sure that the identity of her cheap husband was not simple. System, give me 39 draws. Hu Xian drew all the 39 lottery opportunities he obtained from the mission in one go. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning 10 first-level True God level upgrade scrolls. Consuming 10 lottery chances. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning for level 2 True God upgrade scrolls. Consuming for draw chances. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning a level 3 True God upgrade scroll. Consuming 1 chance to draw. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning 530 trillion human king points in the lottery. Consuming 21 lottery chances. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have won a rare pet, the demonic coffee cat, in the lottery. It is currently registered as level 1. Summoning a level 1 coffee cat will increase the host's combat power by 1,000,000,000 times. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have won the protagonist halo in the lottery. But the protagonist halo blessing in any occasion. You will always be the most dazzling protagonist star. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have won a universal resurrection spell in the lottery, which can revive any creature and consumes 1 chance to draw lottery. Looking at the last 3 lottery prizes, Hu Xian was stunned with shock. The demonized Cafetier's combat power increased by 1,000,000,000 times at level 1, and by 10,000,000,000 times at level 2. This is not a coffee cat. It is clearly a divine cat. Look at the protagonist's halo again. This is a must for showing off. The most precious thing is of course a universal resurrection spell. But this resurrection technique, there is no need to collect any materials. You can directly resurrect Shuang Feyan or Yan Ubwa Swang. However, there was only 1 chance, so Hu Xian was not in a hurry to resurrect anyone. I thought to myself that when there are more opportunities, I can revive both of them at once, but now I'd better keep this universal resurrection technique as a backup. Summon Cafe Cat. Meow. With a meow, a palm-sized coffee field cat, which was obviously still a kitten, appeared in front of Hu Xian. Wow, where did this cat come from? It's so cute. The Black Butterfly was instantly attracted. I quickly picked up the Cafe Cat and couldn't let it go. Yan Shuangfeng looked at the small and cute Kaffir cat and liked it very much. He couldn't help but reach out and touch it. Meow. The cat didn't seem to like the two of them. It cried out in dissatisfaction and jumped towards Hu Xian. Hu Xian subconsciously caught the kitten. It's a little hard to believe that it's such a cute little cat that can increase my combat power by 1,000,000,000 times. At this moment, Yan Shuangfeng's crystal ID card flashed a dazzling red light. Yan Shuangfeng quickly checked the message. His face was pale as he said, notify all the beauties on the rankings to gather in the 7th heaven as quickly as possible. Because the consumer celestial master should be here. Chapter 499, You're 1 times, I'm 5 times. Hu Xian nodded and said, let's go, I'll go with you. Holding Yan Shuangfeng's hand gave her an immense sense of security. Yan Shuangfeng felt much more at ease and was no longer so nervous. He took the lead and walked towards the 7th level heaven. Black Butterfly said, as the 7th level heaven that only the consumer heavenly lords can enter. It may not be easy for us to enter. As a consumer of the imperial crown. Her limit is the 6th level heaven. She has never entered the 7th level heaven. Hu Xian said calmly, you have consumed the emperor's crown, haven't you? We can just upgrade to consuming the heavenly lord. Black Butterfly smiled bitterly and said, to consume Tianzi Yuan, you need to top up at least 10 billion demon crystals. I only have a little over 10 billion on me right now. Can you afford 9 billion demon crystals? Hearing this, Hu Xian also smiled bitterly. Although the consumption task has now been upgraded to the consumption Hevel's crystal, it is only a few hundred at a time. Even if you want to brush it up. If you brush it once a minute, you will probably have to brush it hundreds of times. But the time has been shortened to 1 hour, so I dare not brush it anymore. Therefore, it is not realistic to upgrade your status and enter the 7th level of heaven. Hu Xian said inferently, if you can't get in, then fight your way in. System, use all upgrade scrolls for me to strengthen the 98 evil True God gene realm. Ding, congratulations to the host for using 10 True God level 1 upgrade scrolls. For True God level 2 upgrade scrolls, and 1 True God level 3 upgrade scroll. And the evil 98 True God gene realm has reached True God 76 and above. The genetic realm suddenly soared by 21 levels. And Huaxian clearly felt that subtle changes had taken place in his body. It feels like every cell is filled with destructive power. There is only one feeling: strong, invincibly strong. Honey, why do I feel like you're different? Heidi asked in a low voice. Huaxian smiled confidently and said, what's the difference? Black Butterfly said seriously, I can't explain it. But I just feel that you are a little different from before. Yan Shuangfang asked curiously, what are you mumbling about? Black Butterfly smiled and said, I said, my brother has suddenly undergone a mysterious change. Frost Wind, have you noticed it? Yan Shuangfang nodded and said, I feel the same way. Huaxian smiled and said, okay. Let's go to the 7th level of heaven. Are you worried that something might happen to Zidailan and the others? Yan Shuangfang asked. Huaxian hugged her and said, my wife guessed right. Who is your wife? I haven't married you yet. Her face turned red with shyness. Whether you marry me or not, you are my wife. Don't even think about escaping from my palm. Kongqiu Yanli, who had been silent, asked, Brother He Shui, what should I do? You, don't worry, you'll be fine with your brother here. But I'm your woman. What does it have to do with your brother? I was thinking, why didn't you call your brother when you slept with me before? Black Butterfly smiled mysteriously and said, okay. Your husband loves you, don't worry, you are my baby. Hearing this, Peacock Yanli breathed a sigh of relief. Although consuming the Emperor's crown is not as good as consuming the Heavenly Lord, the status is definitely not low. I thought, even if it's the consumer god, I have to give him some face, right? Soon we arrived at the 7th heaven. The guests greeted at the gate were all extremely beautiful 7th grade beauties. Each one looks very pleasing to the eye. Huaxian was dazzled by what he saw. When they walked to the door, these 7th rank beauties stopped them and said, the beauties on the ranking list and those above the consumer heavily venerable, as well as the special guests of the consumer heavily venerable, are eligible to enter. Everyone else, please leave. Huaxian asked. Besides the conditions you mentioned, is there any other way to enter the 7th heaven? Sorry, no. Hey, why are there so many people blocking the gate? 3 young men arrived, talking and laughing. Huaxian looked over curiously. I was a little surprised when I saw their ID cards. They all bought Imperial Crown. At this age and with this status, it is truly extraordinary. The 3 of them arrived at the gate of the 7th heaven and handed in their invitations. After the 7th rank beauty saw it, she said respectfully, Dear Lord Consumer Emperor Crown, please come in. Hey, these 2 are also beauties on the list, come here and accompany me in. A young man spoke directly to Kongqiu Yanli and Yan Shuangfeng. Both of them looked worriedly at Huaxian and Heidi. Huaxian said, sorry, they are my women. Your woman? Let me see, who are you? Although he could clearly see Huaxian's ID card at a glance, this guy pretended to be serious and walked over to pick up Huaxian's ID card. He exclaimed in surprise, wow, a 5th grade celebrity. And a potential VIP. What a terrifying identity. His other 2 companions laughed disdainfully. Huaxian smiled coldly and said, yes, I am a 5th grade consumer. You look like a consumer of the Imperial Crown, right? As he spoke, he also imitated the young man and picked up his ID card to look at it. But his face was full of disdain. Human boy, what's with that expression on your face? The young man asked with dissatisfaction. I thought to myself, you dare to touch my ID card, you are looking for death. Huaxian said disdainfully, what other expression can I have? I just looked down on you. You are a 5th class consumer. And you look down on me? The young man pointed at his nose and asked in disbelief. Yes, I am just a 5th grade consumer, looking down on you. The Consumer Crown Emperor. Why are you not convinced? Okay, very good, you look down on me, don't you? In a points battle, whoever loses has to kneel on the ground and serve as a dog for the other party. Why? The young man said in an almost crazy tone. Huaxian shook his head and said, be a dog, you don't even qualify to be my dog. How about this, I want to go in and see all the beauties on the rankings. If you lose the points battle, you can give me your invitation letter. How about that? Coincidentally, the invitation letters of the young people did not have any names on them, so anyone with them could enter. So you're planning to take my invitation letter? Okay, as a consumer of the crown, I never thought that I would lose. Agree readily. Huaxian continued, since you are very weak, I will double your points and give you double my points. What? The whole audience was shocked. They all looked at Huaxian with disbelief, thinking he was a lunatic. The 5th grade big shot is fighting against the Consumption Emperor Crown. He is so arrogant that he is simply tired of living. Huaxian smiled and said, why, you don't have the confidence. Even if I ask you to double it, then you can double it and I'll triple it. Shut up. The young man was so angry that he cursed. Then he said angrily, "I will give you 5 times the money, and I will give you 5 times the money. You rubbish, human race, a 5th grade consumer, dare to humiliate me like this. I want you to lose and become a beggar." Huaxian pretended to be surprised and said, "Are you sure I'm 1 times as good as you and 5 times as good as you? You won't regret it?" The young man said angrily, "I am the consumer of the imperial crown. And I keep my word, but if you lose, you will have to lie on the ground and be my dog for the rest of your life." Chapter 500, No matter what we compete in, I have never lost. Huaxian said confidently, "No matter what we compete in, I have never lost." Black Butterfly said at this time, "Brother, an invitation letter is not enough, I still need to go in." Huaxian quickly said to the young man, "Add an invitation letter." The young man angrily asked, "I only have one, how can I add it?" Huaxian looked at his companion and said, "Don't you have 2 buddies? Your relationship isn't bad, right? Or do they simply not believe that you can win?" One of the young men did not wait for his companion to speak, and took out the invitation letter and said, "If you can beat Brother Hu Xiaotian, my invitation letter will also belong to you." Huaxian nodded and said, "Okay, then let's start the points battle." Hu Xiaotian said inferently, "5-level consumer, I'll give you a chance, pay the points first." Huaxian nodded and said, "Then let's just have some fun." He handed the ID card to Yan Shuangfang and said, "Shuangfang, give me 100 million points." What? The whole audience was shocked. A starting point is 100 trillion points, which is equivalent to 1,000 demon crystals. That's crazy. Yan Shuangfang's body trembled as well, but he still gave Huaxian 10 million points, because it is a big points battle. When this amount is credited to the points battle system, Yan Shuangfang's identity card lit up purple, indicating that both parties in the points battle were under supervision. Obviously, the 360-degree surveillance camera knows everything that happened here and has directly recorded the identities of both sides of the points battle. There is no such thing as cheating because of a loss. Huaxian smiled and said to Hu Xiaotian, "Master Consumer Yan Ziyuan, I am a small 5th grade master. I am just playing for a while. I will give you 10 million points first. Next, it will be your turn. By the way, let me remind you that you have 5 times as many points as me. You need at least 500 trillion points to be on par with me." Hu Xiaotian's face looked extremely ugly, and he didn't even feel sorry for the 500 trillion points. "But I found out that I was cheated. This damn human actually provoked me to increase my points 5-fold to 1-fold. How abominable." Black Butterfly laughed and said, "Brother, you are so insidious 5 times. If it were me, I would be so distressed that I would vomit blood." "Shut up, you are as despicable as him." Hu Xiaotian got angry when he heard the word 5 times. Black Butterfly said disdainfully, "You can't afford to lose just 5 times? This consumption crown of yours must be fake. Can you afford to play? If you admit defeat, give us the invitation." Hu Xiaotian took a deep breath, and then handed the ID card to Yan Shuangfang and said, "Give me 10,000 demon crystals." I thought that the points battle with a 5th rank master would cost me the price of killing a demon crystal. But I didn't expect that at the very beginning, the opponent would trick me into giving away 10,000 demon crystals. My heart was bleeding. You know, if you book the whole place with Tian Ziyuan, you only have to spend 10,000 devil crystals. Of course, this is just the reward for booking the entire theater. The actual booking fee is calculated separately. Huaxian said disdainfully, "It's only twice as much as mine. Are you consuming such garbage as the imperial crown?" Hu Xiaotian was so angry that he vomited blood and roared, "Shut up, I am now 10 times as powerful as you." Huaxian smiled brightly. "You probably don't know how to count you, and I agreed to a 1-to-5 ratio. Your 10,000 demon crystals are equivalent to 1 trillion demon coins. A 5 times ratio is just twice as much, isn't it?" He said to Shuang Yan. "Recharge me 100 million trillion and 1 points." Yan Shuangfang smiled bitterly and recharged Huaxian. Everyone present was speechless. Just 1 more point than others. It was definitely intentional. The expressions of Hu Xiaotian and others were extremely ugly. At the same time, I also didn't expect that this 5th grade big shot had such terrifying potential that he actually consumed 100 trillion points. It feels like being played the pig to eat the tiger. Recharge completed. A window popped up directly on Yan Shuangfang's ID card. In the points battle, the 5th grade big shot Huaxian fought against the consumer god Hu Xiaotian. The rule was 1 times versus 5 times. Huaxian had 20 million trillion and 1 points, leading Hu Xiaotian's 10 million trillion points. Huaxian smiled and said, "It's your turn again." Damn it. Hu Xiaotian was really almost angry to death. I didn't expect to be played the pig and eaten the tiger. He took several deep breaths, suppressed his anger and said, Boy, I'll give you a chance, let's fight to a draw, otherwise. Huaxian interrupted him before he could finish, don't try that. I've never tied or lost in a bet if you can afford it. Why if you can't, admit defeat. You? The tiger roared so loudly that I was speechless. Huaxian continued, you are blind, you dare to challenge me without even checking whether my consumption potential VEP privileges are real. After he finished speaking he said to Yan Shuangfeng, Shuangfeng, recharge me 150 demon crystals. Yan Shuangfeng nodded and quickly recharged. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have consumed 150 demon crystals within an hour and received 2 chances to draw a lottery. Ding, new mission, complete the critical hit 5 times within 1 hour to consume 250 demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level gene realm will be deducted by 50 levels. Complete the mission to get 2 chances to draw a lottery. I saw that Huaxian only recharged 150 demon crystals. One of Hu Xiaochan's companions taunted, boy, you don't have any demon crystals anymore. After that, he said to Hu Xiaochan, give me another 1,000 demon crystals, and he will be your dog. Hu Xiaochan breathed a sigh of relief and said to Yan Shuangfeng, give me 1,000 demon crystals. Yan Shuangfeng just finished brushing. Huaxian said, Shuangfeng, recharge me another 1,000 demon crystals. Yan Shuangfeng quickly recharged. After the recharge was completed, Huaxian looked at Hu Xiaoyan and said, I just want to make you happy for a while. Frost Wind brushes 1,000 demon crystals. Yan Shuangfeng quickly swiped 1,000 coins. Suddenly the advantage of victory was on Huaxian's side again. Most 7-franc reception beauties who had originally looked down on Huaxian were also very panicked at this moment. I didn't expect that this 5th rank master would be so terrifying. Sure enough, everyone who can obtain VIP privileges with consumption potential is a simple person. The faces of Hu Xiaoyan and the other 3 turned purple. It's not that they don't have demon crystals, but in this kind of points battle, losing so many demon crystals is really not worth it. So it hurts. Brother Bao Fei Hong and brother Hualangao, what do you think we should do? Hu Xiaoyan asked in a low voice beside them. Bao Fei Hong said angrily, brother Hu Xiaoyan, you can keep fighting. We will divide the consumed demon crystals equally. Hu Xiaoyan looked at the silent Grey Wolf Feiyou and asked, brother Grey Wolf Feiyou, what about you? Grey Wolf laughed and said, Hu Xiaoyan and Bao Fei Hong, we are not brothers, we just met each other halfway and it's just a chance encounter. This is your battle and has nothing to do with me. After saying this, Grey Wolf Feiyou walked aside and acted as if this matter had nothing to do with me. Hu Xiaoyan and Bao Fei Hong were both furious. They didn't expect that at the critical moment, Hualangao would betray them. It was really hateful. Bao Fei Hong said in a deep voice, brother Hu Xiaoyan, don't worry about fighting, the 2 of us have consumed the imperial crown. So how can we be afraid of a 5th grade big shot who only consumes the potential VEP privileges? Chapter 501, Stop talking nonsense, you haven't won yet. Okay. I feel relieved with what you said, brother Bao Fei Hong. After Hu Xiaoyan finished speaking, he looked at Huaxian with a cold gaze and said, I want you to be my dog for the rest of your life. After he finished speaking, he looked at Yan Shuangfeng and said, give me another 10,000 demon crystals. The whole audience was shocked. If Hu Xiaoyan spends another 10,000, he will have consumed 20,000 demon crystals. You must know that this is demon crystal, not demon coin. Yan Shuangfeng swiped the card with heavy breathing. Hu Xiaoyan took the advantage again. Everyone's eyes fell on Huaxian. Seeing that Huaxian was still not moving, Hu Xiaoyan said angrily, come on, damn dog, aren't you very rich? Huaxian was neither anxious nor slow. In fact, he was waiting for the consumption time to be extended a little bit. He didn't want to shorten the consumption time due to consumption too quickly. In order to delay time, Huaxian sneered and mocked, look at you. Isn't it just 20,000 or 30,000 demon crystals? You should split it between the 2 of you. But you're so distressed you ray even spending money on the emperor's crown. It's almost like spending garbage. You. Huaxian interrupted. What are you talking about? Look at me spending thousands of demon crystals. Do I feel bad at all? Bao Fei Hong said angrily, that's because you schemed against us. You're 1 times as much as we are 5 times as much. So of course you don't feel bad. Huaxian smiled, very brightly. Everyone has seen it. I was the one who told you to double or triple the salary. But you guys thought you were so good and insisted on asking me to give you 5 times the salary. Then you blame me? You. Hu Xiaoyan and Bao Fei Hong were both furious. They wanted to fight back, but they couldn't find a reason to do so. Even though she knew she was being cheated, Easy still swallowed the wine with all her might. After a while, Hu Xiaoyan said angrily, stop talking nonsense. You haven't won yet. Huaxian smiled and said to Yan Shuangfeng, Shuangfeng, recharge me another 250 demon crystals. Yan Shuangfeng quickly recharged. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have consumed 1250 demon crystals within an hour and received a lucky draw opportunities as a reward. Ding, new mission. Complete the critical hit twice within 1 hour to consume 500 demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level gene realm will be deducted by 50 levels. And complete the mission to get to chances to draw lottery. After the spending amount was credited, Huaxian continued. Shuangfeng, recharge me another 2000 demon crystals. And then brush 1000 points battles. Yan Shuangfeng operated quickly. After completing it, Huaxian was ahead of his opponent again. He looked at the two of them with a smile and said, I'm sorry, I'm almost 1000 demon crystals ahead of you again. According to 5 times, you have more than 4000 demon crystals. Hu Xiaoqian and Bao Feihan's faces turned ugly again. Bao Feihan felt extremely conflicted at this time. Looking at Grey Wolf Feo, who was watching the show in the distance, I suddenly envied his decision. If this continues, I'm afraid I'll have to pay a huge sum of money. After hesitating for a long time, he walked away. Hu Xiaoqian noticed that he was walking away, and had a bad feeling in his ear. He asked in a deep voice, Bao Feihong, what do you mean? Bao Feihong smiled and said, Brother Hu Xiaoqian, I suddenly feel that it is a bit of bullying for the two of us to spend the imperial crown to bully a 5th grade big shot. I will not participate anymore. Bao Feihong, you. Before he could finish, Bao Feihong interrupted, Hu Xiaoyan, we are also consuming the emperor crown after all. How can we join forces to bully a 5th grade big shot? Even if he has the VIP privileges of a consumer potential, he is not qualified for us to join forces to deal with him. This battle is yours to take on, so naturally you can fight alone. Everyone around looked at Bao Feihong strangely. In his heart, he cursed Bao Feihong for being shameless, seeing that the price was too high. He backed down at the critical moment. He was glad that he didn't have such a friend around him. Iger roared with murderous intent, wanting to kill someone. I didn't expect to meet such a person, I hate it. He looked at Huaxian fiercely and said murderously, I don't care who you are, I, Hu Xiaoqian, will give you another 5 Zaro demon crystals. I want to win, I hope you. Huaxian interrupted with disdain. Do you have to threaten me if you can't afford to lose? Look at me, how can I be afraid of being threatened? If you can afford to play, then play. If you can't, then get out like your friends. Feihong was furious when he heard this and shouted, You lowly human, do you think I'm afraid of you? I just don't want to bully a 5th rank master like you. Huaxian sneered, I'm so afraid of being bullied by you. Come on, come back, and you can join forces to bully me. Huaxian is also extremely arrogant. The more he did this, the more fearful Bao Feihong became. He forced a smile and said, You have to defeat Hu Xiaoqian first. But I don't think Hu Xiaoyan will admit defeat. Hu Xiaoqian had been betrayed repeatedly and was already furious. He hardened his heart and threw the invitation letter in his hand to Huaxian, saying, I lost. And he walked aside and looked at Bao Feihong coldly. Everyone's eyes also fell on Bao Feihong. Huaxian took the invitation and looked at Bao Feihong and said, You are so arrogant, come on, it's your turn. Bao Feihong didn't expect Hu Xiaoyan to admit defeat so shamelessly, which caught him off guard. If he refused to fight at this time, he would really lose face and be more embarrassed than Hu Xiaoyan. He thought for a while with a gloomy face, and said in a cold voice, Human boy, you are just relying on the agreement with Hu Xiaoyan to double 5 times and become arrogant. I didn't promise you to double 5 times. You want to fight me? Fine, I'll give you a chance at a fair 1-on-1 fight. Do you dare? Shameless, Hu Xiaoyan cursed loudly. They were all at loggerheads hearing this. Bao Feihong mocked. It's not that I'm shameless, it's that you're stupid. In a points battle, you're still beating 5 times. You're really stupid. You, Hu Xiaoqian was so murderous that he was about to lose control and go berserk. Huaxian said confidently, 1-to-1 is 1-to-1. I don't care. Bao Feihong handed his ID card to Yan Shuangfeng and said, First, swipe 10,000 demon crystals. I thought 1-to-1. How could I lose? Yan Shuangfeng collected 10,000 demon crystals and looked at Huaxian worriedly. The whole audience was watching him. Huaxian said, Shuangfeng, recharge me 500 demon crystals first. Yan Shuangfeng nodded and quickly recharged. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have consumed 500 demon crystals within an hour and received a chances to draw a lottery. Ding, new mission, complete triple critical hit within 1 hour to consume 500 demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level gene realm will be deducted by 50 levels. Complete the mission to get to chances to draw lottery. Fortunately, after the time is shortened, every time I consume, it is a critical hit. Although the consumption time limit has been shortened to 1 hour. There is no other way, the situation is not good and we can only continue to consume ahead of time. Frost Wayne recharges me with another 7,500 demon crystals. Yan Shuangfeng continued to recharge. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have consumed 7,500 demon crystals within 1 minute and received 8 chances to draw prizes as a critical hit reward. Ding, new mission. Complete it within 50 minutes. Consume 5 times the critical hit and 37,500 demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of Gene Realm will be deducted by 60 levels. Complete the mission to get 3 chances to draw lottery. Chapter 502, Suddenly Gavin. Bao Fei Hong said disapprovingly. You lowly human rash, do you have any fun doing this? Recharging hundreds or thousands of dollars at a time. Are you deliberately disgusting me? The others nodded as well. Huaxian smiled and said, okay, since everyone likes to see me recharge generously, then I will satisfy everyone. Frost Wind, recharge me 30. Zara Demon Crystals. 30,000? This time everyone was shocked. You have to know that this is the Devil's Crystal. 30,000 is equal to Devil Coins, 30 trillion Rilliant Evil Coins. Yan Shuangfeng nodded and quickly recharged. Huaxian continued. First, earn 20,000 points. After brushing, he looked at Bao Fei Hong and said, come on, it's your turn to be a coward, or I will look down on you. Bao Fei Hong's expression suddenly became unnatural. Hu Xiaochan took this opportunity to taunt. Some people are so cowardly even though they are outnumbered. It's really shameful. Bao Fei Hong looked at Hu Xiaochan fiercely and said angrily, you'd better shut up, you should know that this points war was caused by you. How could Hu Xiaochan be afraid? He said in a sarcastic voice. Oh, it's only 10,000 demon crystals, and you are so distressed? I even doubt what you got your consumption crown from. Bao Fei Hong took a deep breath and suppressed the anger brought by Hu Xiaotian. I thought to myself, Hu Xiaotian, just wait for me, I won't let you go. We looked at Yan Shuangfeng and said, give me 20,000 demon crystals. Then he said to Huaxian, I don't believe you don't feel bad. Huaxian said calmly, I really don't feel bad. He said to Yan Shuangfeng, Shuangfeng, get me all the remaining demon crystals. After Yan Shuangfeng finished brushing, he said, Brother Xian, this time I brushed 29,000 demon crystals, 9,000 ahead of the other party. Huaxian nodded, looked at Bao Fei Hong with a smile, and said nothing. Bao Fei Hong's face was as dark as ink. He didn't expect this human boy to be so crazy. You have to know that this is a one-on-one battle. 39,000 demon crystals, how come this guy doesn't feel sorry at all? Hu Xiaotian added fuel to the fire and said, Bao Fei Hong, don't be a coward, you are a consumer of the imperial crown. And you are one-on-one with a 5th grade master, you should be able to crush him easily. Hu Xiaotian, shut up, come here if you dare. Hu Xiaochan said disapprovingly. It's as if I hadn't been here before. If it wasn't for the unfair 1 to 5 times, I would never give in. What I mean is that I surrendered because the fight was unfair. If it's a one-on-one fight, you won't surrender, right? Everyone heard it and looked at Bao Fei Hong. Bao Fei Hong took a deep breath, looked at Huaxian and said, human boy, give me a favor and make friends. I will pay another 9,500 demon coins, and we can't die. How about that? Huaxian sneered, sorry, you are not qualified to be my friend. If you dare to come up, go ahead. If you don't dare to come up, hand in the invitation letter. Bao Fei Hong shouted angrily. You lowly human boy, do you really think I'm afraid of you? And he said to Yan Shuangfeng, give me 29,500 demon crystals. Directly crush Huaxian by 20,000. Everyone's eyes subconsciously fell on Huaxian. Huaxian said calmly, Shuangfeng, recharge me 7,500 demon crystals first. Good. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have consumed 37,500 demon crystals within 50 minutes and received 3 lucky draw opportunities as a reward. Ding, new mission, complete triple critical hit within 50 minutes to consume 111. 0 demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level Gene Realm will be deducted by 60 levels. And complete the mission to get 3 chances to draw lottery. Bao Fei Hong said coldly, boy, I think you are in trouble. Have you called all the friends you can? Even if you don't listen and send a text message to borrow the demon crystal. So what? I am consuming the Emperor's crown, and crushing you is like playing. It was obvious that the demon crystals that Huaxian recharged sporadically were all borrowed from others. Huaxian shook his head and smiled, since you like exciting things, then I'll play something exciting with you. Frost Wind. Recharge me 100,000 demon crystals. What, 100,000? Everyone at the scene was shocked. 100,000. Yan Shuangfeng was a little stunned. After being shocked, Bao Fei Hong said in disbelief, you recharged him and you still want to scare me. I don't believe you can recharge 100,000 demon crystals. Yan Xuanfeng reacted, looked at Hu Xian and said, Brother Xian, do you really want to top up 100,000? Hu Xian nodded and said, recharge now. Yan Xuanfeng took a deep breath, her hands were shaking as she recharged. It was the first time she had touched such a huge demon crystal. The mission or something is not important. After the recharge was completed, Hu Xian looked at Bao Feihong and said with a smile, you like excitement, right? Xuanfeng, give me a score of 100. 0 points. All brushed. The whole audience was shocked. All eyes fell on Bao Feihong. 100,000. That's a full 80,000 ahead of him. Bao Feihong's face was gloomy and he was shocked in his heart. He stared at Hu Xian intently, and after finding out that he generously spent 100 Zara demon crystals, he didn't feel distressed at all. His expression was natural and definitely not a disguise. What is the identity of this human being? How could he be so rich? Hu Xian smiled faintly and said, don't you like to play exciting games? Come on, let's start with 100,000. From now on, whoever bets less than 100,000 will be a grandson. His confident words and handsome looks made all the girls at the scene exclaim in surprise at how handsome he was. Those 7 franc beauties who originally looked down on him, now had stars in their eyes when they looked at him. Heidi smiled and thought, her husband seemed to be excellent except for being a little lustful. Especially since he is very rich, no one knows what force is supporting him behind the scenes. Bao Feihong fell into deep thought. Everyone watched him and waited. After 3 full minutes, Bao Feihong smiled and said, human brother, you just want an invitation, I'll give it to you. Also, I want to apologize to you. I was blind before. Please don't treat me like that. Having said that, he walked respectfully to Hu Xian and handed him the invitation with both hands. The whole audience was stunned. Even Hu Xian is the same. No one expected that Bao Feihong would suddenly do this. Don't hit someone who smiles at you. Hu Xian took the invitation and was about to speak. Hu Xiaotian didn't want to see this scene and taunted. Bao Feihong, you caused them to lose 100,000 demon crystals. Do you think you can make up for it by giving in and apologizing? Bao Feihong's body trembled, and he looked towards Hu Xiaotian suddenly, with murderous intent in his eyes not concealed at all. I thought to myself, you bastard, you got me stuck in the points war. And now you dare to talk nonsense, you really deserve to die. Since they had fallen out, Hu Xiaotian was naturally not afraid. He said in a cold voice, why, you can't even afford to lose a 1-to-1 points battle. You coward. Iger roars to the sky. Bao Feihong roared loudly. But he didn't shout out the rest of the words. The atmosphere was chaotic and on the verge of exploding. Hu Xiaotian sneered and did not provoke him, thinking that it was not appropriate to completely turn against him now. Chapter 503, Against the Consumption God. Hu Xian received the invitation and without wasting time, he took them into the 7th level of heaven. Looking around, there are beauties in groups, vying for beauty, each one more beautiful than the other. Noticing someone coming in, many people looked over. It's him, the consuming Emperor Qi Shui. He was actually invited as well? Hey, what's up with that 5th rank celebrity next to him? Really? The consumer lord wouldn't invite a 5th grade celebrity, right? They all noticed that Hu Xian's ID card showed he was only a 5th rank celebrity. So they all looked at him curiously and started discussing. Zidailan and the others didn't expect Hu Xian and the others to come here. They were extremely curious about how they got in. They walked over quickly. Zidailan asked, Heidi, brother Qi Shui, do you have an invitation too? Black Butterfly smiled and said, originally there wasn't any. Hu Yun asked curiously, why did you say it didn't exist originally? Did it appear later? Black Butterfly put his arm around Hu Xian's shoulders and said, my brother won 2 invitations in a battle with 2 crown consumption points players. So he came in. Everyone was shocked. I didn't expect that the invitation issued by Consumption Tianzi Yuan could be obtained in this way. Zidailan frowned and said, that's not right, how can he have such powerful financial resources? Yan Xuanfeng said, Sister Dailan, please don't look down on my husband. His financial resources are beyond your imagination. Just then, a noisy sound came from the left side of the hall. Master Consumer God is here. Finally someone shouted. Everyone gathered around excitedly. Although they are being consumed, some girls think it is their honor to be noticed by the god of consumption. They all desire to be chosen as a partner by the Lord of Consumerism so that they can become successful. Hu Xian also looked over curiously. I saw a young man approaching middle age, surrounded by a crowd, walking towards the central stage of the hall. I was a little surprised. I didn't expect that this consumer god was so young. Wow, so handsome and capable. I like him so much, I wish I could be his partner. Immediately a beautiful girl screamed. He's so handsome, so young and promising. he's exactly the prince in my mind. On sight frying pan. Yun couldn't help but say. I really didn't expect that this consumer lord is so young. I thought he was an old man. Why are you moved? Huaxian asked. Yun looked at Huaxian and said with a smile, I'm moved. Will someone be jealous? Huaxian said coldly, I will beat him to death with one punch. Yun burst out laughing. It just so happened that Tian Ziyuan of consumption stretched out his hand to signal for silence. Everyone fell silent, but Yun burst into laughter. Seeming so different. The lowest paying guests were crown VIPs. And the waitresses were all 8th grade beauties under the gaze of the on-site staff. Yun turned pale and felt scared. Many people subconsciously looked at Yun's ID card, seeing that only the 98th place on the top list was cast with disdain. In the outside world, Yun's beauty is definitely something she can stand out on her own. Besides, every one of them is a beauty. The consumer lord frowned. Yun, who was staring at him, was so frightened that her body began to tremble. Consumer lord asked solemnly, do you like to show off so much? Yun was trembling and at a loss. She wanted to explain but didn't know how. Huaxian walked up to her, gently embraced her in his arms and said, my woman, you can do whatever you want with me. Who dares to disobey? Arrogance, conceitedness, and indifference are the feelings that Huaxian gives people. People's eyes subconsciously fell on Huaxian. Look carefully at his ID badge. The whole audience exclaimed. A 5th-rank celebrity? Suspecting that he had seen it wrongly, he wiped his eyes and looked at it carefully. Yun felt an unprecedented sense of security. Faced with so many big shots, each of whom is extremely powerful, this man still dares to stand up and defend himself. Such a man is worth entrusting your life to. I have made up my mind that I will still be Huaxian's man. After looking carefully at Huaxian's ID card, I confirmed that he was the big shot in the goods business. People's eyes subconsciously fell on the consumer god. I wondered, is this the person you invited? The face of consumption heavily venerable was as dark as ink. And he asked with murderous intent, how did you get in? Logically speaking, Paradise Island would not let anyone in without his invitation. Huaxian said calmly, I picked up 2 invitations on the roadside. I heard that there are many beautiful women gathered in the 7th heaven. So I came to take a look. The face of the consumer lord twitched violently. Who dared to throw away the invitation he sent out? Who was willing to throw it away? What a load of nonsense. Show me your invitation. The Lord of Consumption jumped down from the small stage and came flying in front of Huaxian. The cold aura frightened the people around and made them step back subconsciously. Even Yan Shuangfang and Conquyan Li were frightened and stepped back instinctively. The free black butterfly stood firmly beside Huaxian. Huaxian looked calm and took out the invitation and threw it over. The other party took the invitation and confirmed it was real. Ben said coldly, the people I send invitations to have at least spent crowns. You are quite capable to get invitations from them. But this is my meeting place, not a place for you to show off. Leave. Pointing toward the door. Huaxian nodded and said, just leave if you want to. He said to Zidai Lan and the others. Dai Lan, Huiyun, King Yuan, Yuer, Shuangfeng, Yan Li. Let's go. Everyone then realized that this guy came here for these beauties. However, they were all beauties at the bottom of the rankings. So no one took them seriously. Only Yan Shuangfeng and Conquyan Li moved. Zidai Lan and the others didn't move. Even so, Consumer Lord's face was as gloomy as ink. She said murderously to Conquyan Li and Yan Shuangfeng. Since you are the beauties on the list, you should know that I have reserved the place for you today. You are all mine now. I haven't asked you to leave, so what do you mean by leaving? The faces of Conquyan Li and Yan Shuangfeng were a little pale. Mainly because they could not withstand his aura of a superior. Huaxian stepped forward and said, my woman, if you want to leave, you can leave. Who dares to threaten her? The consumer lord's eyes fell on Huaxian's ID card. 5th-rank celebrity, with potential consumer VIP privileges. Even so, you are still an ant in front of me. I'll give you one more chance. Get out of here, remember. Get out, not leave. Huaxian smiled coldly and said, originally, I just wanted to take my woman and leave. But now? Without waiting for Huaxian to finish, Consumer Heavily Master said disaffably, your woman, ask the women present here, who will admit that she is your woman. After saying this, he glared at Conquyan Li and Yan Shuangfeng fiercely. Chapter 504, The Great Beauty on the Heavenly Ranking. Conquyan Li and Yan Shuangfeng both trembled in fear. I was in a state of confusion and hesitation. Huaxian looked at him inferently and said nothing more. If they choose to give up following him now, he will also give up on them completely. After all, without even this little bit of trust, if I stay by his side, I'm afraid I'll be betrayed at any time. Conquyan Li walked behind Black Butterfly and said, I choose to follow you. She had no choice in her heart. He was already Black Butterfly's woman, so if she didn't follow him, things would be even worse if she was found out to be not a virgin. So she had no choice but to follow Hu Xian and the others. Almost everyone's eyes fell on Yan Shuangfeng, and she was extremely conflicted. This choice affects one's future and even life. She couldn't bear it if any party targeted her. The only way is to follow the right person. After hesitating for a long time, Yan Shuangfeng finally walked to Hu Xian, because Hu Xian gave her the feeling that he was unfathomable. And another thing was that he was really good to his own people. With a man like this, at least in the future, you don't have to worry about being abandoned by him. Although no one spoke, everyone understood his choice. At this moment, the expression on the face of the resentful spirit Hao Oran, the Lord of Consumption, became extremely ugly. The extremely evil aura was turbulent, and the pressure was overwhelming the whole audience. He said in an extremely cold tone, "Okay, very good, I hope you won't regret your choice now." Hu Xian took a step forward, withstood his pressure, and said sternly, "If you dare to threaten my woman again, I will turn you into a corpse." What? This. When these words were spoken, the whole audience was shocked. Countless people took a deep breath and looked at Hu Xian in disbelief. Yan Shuangfeng was deeply moved, tears welling up in her eyes. She had indeed chosen the right man. Not far away, Zidai Lan and the others felt a sudden pain in their hearts, as if they were about to lose the most precious thing. Faced with the threat, the resentful spirit Hao Oran was stunned in disbelief. How could someone dare to threaten him on Paradise Island? This is the first time I have encountered such a thing since my debut, and I am unable to react. Each of the loyal lackeys saw an opportunity to curry favor. He rushed out and roared murderously, "You lowly human! You dare to threaten our boss Hao Oran, you are tired of living." Hu Xian looked over with an indifferent look and said in a cold tone, "Do you want to stand out? How dare you? I'm protecting brother Hao Oran. And you're..." Without waiting for him to finish his flattering words, Hu Xian said coldly, "Points battle or life and death arena battle. Choose one, and stop talking." "You. What, are you just a flatterer who only knows how to flatter others? Presumptuous." Yuan Ling Hao Oran reacted, roared, and said to the lackey, "Fight him." Seeing the opportunity to curry favor, the lackey said excitedly, "Boss Hao Oran, don't worry. I, Hong Ji, will definitely make him lose everything." He introduced himself because he was afraid that Yuan Ling Hao Oran didn't know who he was, but everyone could see through his little trick. As for such a dog, Yuan Ling Hao Oran thought he could make use of it if possible. So he nodded and said, "Maggot Hong Ji, right? I will remember you." "Thank you, brother Hao Oran." Maggot Hong Ji was extremely excited, and looked at Hu Xian confidently and said, "The points battle is the simplest. Whoever loses will pay for his own limbs and hand over all his belongings." He suddenly looked at Kongqian Li and Yan Shuangfeng, and said to Hu Xian, "And they will also belong to me." Hu Xian said coldly, "You want to take advantage of my woman. If you lose, who will pay the debt?" Maggot Hong Ji looked at the most beautiful women in the crowd and pointed at two of them at random, saying, "You, and you come here. As a consumer crown." He still has this confidence. The main thing is that he has an idea in his mind, and the ones he orders are all the beauties on the rankings that he can afford at his level. The two beauties were very reluctant to wade into this muddy water. However, Chong Hongji already had the authority to consume them, and he was also the one who consumed Tianziyuan, so naturally he dared not come out. She walked tremblingly to the side of Maggot Red Leather, forced a sweet smile and said, "Master Consumption Crown. You order." Maggot Hongji ignored them and said to Hu Xian, "If I lose, these two women, one ranked 73rd on the best list and the other ranked 75th on the best list, will be yours." Hu Xian said disdainfully, "Do you think they will be so obedient?" Maggot Hongji shouted, "I will redeem them and give them to you, provided you can beat me." Full of confidence, I thought to myself, how could I, a consumer of crown, lose to a 5th grade big shot like you? Even if you are a 5th class celebrity with VIP privileges and consumption potential, it won't work. I wonder what Hu Xian would think if he knew that he had lost to consumer crowns at the gate. Hu Xian thought for a moment and said, "We can fight. But you have more people and it's a bit unfair." "What's unfair? I will fight you alone, and no one else will interfere." A consumer of the imperial crown said disdainfully, "You are just a small 5th grade big shot. Do you think it's worth our cooperation?" "That's right, to self-righteous." Hu Xian nodded and said, "Okay, just don't make a move." Maggot Hongji couldn't wait any longer and said, "Let's get started." "Wait," Hu Xian shouted. Maggot Hongji frowned and asked unhappily, "What else do you want?" Hu Xian said, "Since it's a points competition, we have to have a decent beautiful host. What do you think?" "You idiot, you have many requests. I will satisfy you." After saying that, he looked at consumer Tian Ziyuan and said, Boss Hao Oran, can you invite a very classy and beautiful lady to come out so that everyone can feast their eyes? Upon hearing this, all the consumers present became excited. The key to attending the rally this time, in addition to currying favor with the vengeful spirit Hao Ran, is to get a glimpse of the dignity of the beauties on the top rankings. After all, the higher a beauty is on the list, the more noble she is. If you don't have enough status, it would be difficult to even take a look at her, let alone spend money on her. Yuan Ling Hao Oran nodded and said, I really invited a great beauty from the heavenly ranking that everyone dreams of. What? A great beauty on the heavenly ranking? The whole audience was shocked. Just because she is a great beauty on the heavenly ranking, only the god of consumption has the right to consume her. As expected of Boss Hao Oran, he can even invite a beauty from the heavenly ranking. I am really looking forward to it. Boss Hao Oran is so mighty. Please ask the beautiful lady on the heavenly ranking to come out. Yuan Ling Hao Oran nodded and said with a smile, since everyone is looking forward to it, let's invite the 10th most beautiful lady on the heavenly ranking, Fang Weibing's Yan Wu, to come on stage. As a consumer god, he can only invite beautiful women after he invites the consumer gods. So he is naturally proud enough. Everyone's eyes were focused on the passage behind the hall. That is the gateway to the 8th heaven. Even Nuxian couldn't help but stare at that place. I was extremely curious about the beauty on the list that day. Chapter 505, Crush You Without Any Pressure. Under everyone's expectant gaze, the first thing that appears in people's sight is the shadow reflected by the light. From her slender shadow, you can tell that her owner is a beauty. Everyone became more excited. Those who were close to the passage couldn't help but walk towards the entrance, as wanting to see the beauty on the list in advance. The crowd was becoming more and more excited. Finally, that stunning figure walked out of the passage and into people's sight. She doesn't dress revealingly like other beauties, and instead dresses very conservatively. High jeans and a white casual t-shirt are not only conservative but also ordinary. Even so, it does not affect her stunning beauty. Everyone was stunned by what they saw. Huaxian was also shocked. Such a beauty should not appear in the mortal world. Ordinary words are no longer able to describe her beauty. Every gesture and movement, as well as the normal walking movements, are a beautiful sight for others. Therefore, she no longer needs to dress up deliberately. Wearing ordinary clothes is closer to nature, making her temperament more charming. Certainly, many people began to imagine, what kind of beautiful picture would it be if she changed into sexy clothes? I'm afraid it will make countless men bleed. Phoenix Yanwu walked over slowly with a natural smile on her face. Those who were blocking the road could not help but move aside, not daring to blaspheme the fairy. That smile made everyone look dull and stupid. Phoenix Fairy Dance came directly in front of Yuan Ling Hao Oran, and Xianian said, Yuan Ling Hao Oran, why did you invite me out so early? As a being who is qualified to consume only by the god of consumption, her status is actually higher than that of the vengeful spirit Hao Oran. So they speak casually and without respect. Even so, the vengeful spirit Hao Oran was very excited. He looked at Huaxian and said, here comes a 5th rank big shot who doesn't know his place and dares to challenge me. Well, a friend of mine couldn't stand it anymore and started a points war with him. So I'd like to invite you to host the battle in advance. Is that okay? Oh, a 5th grade celebrity, challenging you? The consumer celestial master? Muttering to herself, Fang Weibing's Yanwu looked at Huaxian with great curiosity. Putting aside other things, just this courage and bravery made her very curious. Just then, Huaxian's eyes met. Huaxian smiled slightly as a greeting. Fang Weibing's Yanwu has long been accustomed to people staring at her. I don't care, just watch it, you won't get it anyway. Then he looked at Huaxian's opponent, Maggot Hongji. The Maggot Hongji was extremely excited and quickly said, I am a consumer of the crown Maggot Hongji. I have seen the beauty on the heavenly list. Such affectation made Fang Weibing's Yanwu dislike it. He looked at the resentful spirit Hao Oran and said, well, for your sake, I will come forward to preside over this battle. After saying that, he walked towards the small stage. He said to the 2 men, come up, the 2 who are going to fight. Maggot Hongji walked onto the stage with full confidence in a carefree manner. I feel very proud to be under the spotlight. Huaxian was not in a hurry and slowly walked towards the small stage. Black Butterfly and the others followed behind. Stop pretending to be awesome. You're going to lose miserably soon, someone said dissatisfied lie. That's right, he walked so slowly on purpose and made the beautiful lady on the heavenly ranking wait for him. That's really too much. The scene was in an uproar. Huaxian ignored everything, walked to the edge of the small stage, and said to Heidi and the others, just wait for me here. Only then did he step onto the small stage. Hongji couldn't wait any longer and said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, Bye lady, the bet between me and this guy is that I will cripple my limbs and all my belongings will belong to the winner. And we will each redeem ourselves and give the top-notch beauties to the other. Fang Weibing's Yanwu nodded somewhat unhappily. After all, they were redeeming the beauties and giving them away. And she herself was just one of these beauties. It's somewhat sad. Huaxian said, how about we bet a little bigger? Maggot Hongji was full of confidence and not afraid at all. He said distaphonially, you can bet as much as you want. Huaxian smiled and said, whoever loses will take the other's life. The whole audience was shocked. This is gambling with your life. Maggot Hongji sneered and said, if you want to die, you can. Fang Weibing's Yanwu naturally had no objection and nodded. If there are no other questions, your battle can begin. Maggot Hongji immediately handed over his ID card respectfully, glanced at Huaxian, and then said, let's try it out first and earn 30 Zero Demon Crystal points. The Phoenix Fairy Dance immediately took away 30 Zero Demon Crystal points. Everyone's eyes fell on Huaxian, waiting for him to perform. In the eyes of many people, 30,000 demon crystals are enough to scare the big shots of this item. However, what I saw was a casual look on his face. Huaxian took out his ID card and Black Devil card and handed them over, saying, first, top up 11,000 devil crystals for me. Fang Weibing's Yanwu frowned, but didn't say anything and just recharged directly. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 111 Zero Demon Crystals within 50 minutes and have obtained 3 chances to draw a lottery. Ding, new task, complete a 3-fold critical hit within 50 minutes to obtain 333 Zero Demon Crystals. The task is to deduct the host's highest level of Gene Realm by 60 levels. Complete the task to get 3 chances to draw a lottery. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Huaxian continued. Recharge me another 300,000 demon crystals. What? 300,000? The whole audience was surprised. You have to know that these are 300,000 demon crystals, not demon coins. Even Phoenix Yanwu was a little surprised. A 5th-rank celebrity, even if he possesses the privilege of a potential VIP consumer, can recharge 300,000 demon crystals, which is enough to reflect his extraordinary status. After the recharge was completed, Huaxian looked at Chong Hongji and smiled. The starting amount is 30,000. Maggot Hongji's face darkened instantly, and he said unhappily, don't talk nonsense. Do you think you can defeat me by recharging 311 Zero Demon Crystals? Childish. Huaxian shook his head and smiled, then said to Fang Weibing's Yanwu, first, earn 111,000 demon crystal points. The Phoenix Fairy Dance was swiped directly, and her beautiful eyes looked at the Maggot Hongji. The maggots made my flesh red and painful. He consumes crowns, but is not even as good as the Emperor's crown. You can imagine how much pressure he is under now. But the arrow is on the string and has to be shot. What's more, this is a life and death battle. The gloomy voice said, give me 200,000 demon crystal points. Directly crushed Huaxian by more than 100. Then he pretended to be calm and looked down on Huaxian, saying, you little 5th-rank big shot, even if you have VIP privileges with consumption potential. So what? You are a lowly human who has been oppressed miserably. And you are just a rich woman on the list. I don't believe that your demon crystals are unlimited. Huaxian smiled calmly and said, it doesn't matter where I got my demon crystal from. I can crush you without any pressure. He said to Fang Weibing's Yanwu, give me 200,000 demon crystal points. Chapter 506. This is for show. Phoenix Fairy Dance nodded and earned 100,000 demon crystal points. Huaxian had the advantage in the battle. Maggot Hongji smiled coldly and said, the more than 300,000 demon crystals you recharged are gone. He said to Fang Weibing's Yanwu, give me 300,000 demon crystal points. After swiping, he instantly crushed Huaxian by more than 200. Then he looked at Huaxian proudly, thinking that he had reached the limit. Huaxian smiled slightly, ignoring Maggot Hongji, and said to Fang Weibing's Yanwu, recharge me another 33,000 demon crystals. Hearing this, Maggot Hongji said distaphonially, how come there is no more money in the card? But your 33,000 coins are not enough to fight back? Huaxian smiled coldly and still ignored the other party. Now the consumption time is less than 5 hours, and the consumption amount is soaring every time. And it will soon skyrocket. Recharge Phoenix Fairy Dance directly. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have consumed 333 Zero Demon Crystals within 50 minutes and received 3 lucky draw opportunities as a reward. Ding, new mission, complete the critical hit 4 times within 50 minutes, and consume 1.2 million demon crystals if the mission fails. The host's highest level of Gene Realm will be deducted by 60 levels. Complete the mission to get 3 chances to draw lottery. After Phoenix Fairy Dance completed the recharge, it looked at Hu Xin. The whole audience was watching him. Someone couldn't wait any longer and said, "You lowly human race. Can you do it? If not, just admit defeat and wait for death." That's right, it's wasting everyone's time. Yan Xuanfang and the others became nervous. Now they have staked everything on Hu Xin, so they are naturally worried. Hu Xin ignored the whole crowd and said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, "Then recharge me with 1,000,000 demon crystals." Is. The whole audience took a deep breath. 1,000,000 demon crystals. This is equivalent to the noble status of consuming the crown. No one expected that this human race was so wealthy. It is hard to imagine what kind of rich woman he is with who would give him such a terrifying demon crystal to spend. In everyone's opinion, on this planet where the human race is severely oppressed, the only hope for the human race to rise is to rely on the bigwigs of other races. Feng Weibing's Yan were recharged to Xin with some surprise. I thought the card would show an overdraft limit. The result did not show an overdraft because Hu Xin did not have permission and she did not know the balance. Seeing that Hu Xin's recharge was successful, the whole audience was shocked. Yan Xuanfeng said excitedly, "Brother Xin's card really has endless spending potential." Hu Xin smiled and glanced at Hong Ji, saying, "A starting price of several 100,000 is a bit inconsistent with your status." After saying that, he said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, "Give me 1,000,000 Eman crystal points." The whole audience was numb. The way he looked at Hu Xin changed. And he felt that he was a madman. 1,000,000 demon crystals. It's such a waste to spend them in a points war like this. If you spend money on beautiful women, you can enjoy it. But if you spend money on points, it's just a matter of face. Of course, people are gambling with their lives now. Phoenix Fairy Dance earned 1,000,000 demon crystal points. Everyone's eyes couldn't help but fall on Maggot Hong Ji. At this moment, Maggot Hong Ji's face was a little pale and his body was trembling slightly. He never imagined that a fifth-rank big shot would possess such terrifying wealth. 1,000,000 demon crystals, just like demon coins, without even blinking an eye. This is so abnormal. Could it be that this guy is the illegitimate child of the Ziyuan tribe and the human? Seeing that Hong Ji hadn't expressed his opinion for a long time, Hu Xin looked at the people who had urged him before and said, "Why don't you urge him?" These people were dejected and did not dare to look Hu Xin in the eye. Hu Xin said to the maggot Hong Ji, "Come on, it's not much more than you. Only 800,000 demon crystal points for a consumer like you. It should be considered a small amount of money, right?" Hearing this, countless people's faces twitched. 1,000,000 demon crystals are just small change. This is a truly rich man. Someone said dissatisfied lie. This guy must not have spent his own demon coins, so he doesn't feel bad at all. That's definitely not the case looking at his pretty face. You can tell he's being kept by someone. Oh, I wish I could be kept by a rich woman like this. Maggot Hong Ji clenched his fist. She never expected that a fifth-rank big shot could be so troublesome. But the arrow is on the string and has to be shot. The key is not to lose. If you lose, you will die. He said to Hu Xin viciously. "I don't believe that your demon crystals are infinite." He raised his voice and said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, "Give me 1,000,000 demon crystal points." Feng Weibing's Yanwu frowned somewhat unhappily. "I thought, a consumer crown, getting tens of thousands of demon crystals for nothing. My mentality is twisted, what a waste." I felt that Hu Xin was very pleasing to the eye. He was a fifth-class celebrity who beat the consumption crown and didn't feel sorry at all. I immediately became curious about his identity. 1,000,000 demon crystal points were taken away from Maggot Hong Ji. Everyone noticed that the consumption crown on his ID card instantly fell to the consumption crown. Maggot Hong Ji's eyes were red, and he stared at Hu Xin with murderous intent, and said madly, "Come on." Hu Xin smiled calmly and said, "It's only 1,000,000 to start with, and you're like this. If I give you 10,000,000, are you dead?" The whole audience was stunned. Absolutely. Maggot Hong Ji was actually a little frightened. If that's the case, he can't even come up with 10,000,000 demon crystals. But then he didn't believe it. He couldn't even come up with 10,000,000 years. How could this little fifth-rank big shot, even if he was supported by a rich woman, give him unlimited demon crystals? He said disdainfully, "If you have the guts, just take out 10,000,000. Hu Xin said calmly, "You can't even handle 1,000,000, so you're not qualified for 10,000,000. After saying that, he said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, "First, recharge me with 200,000 demon crystals." I say, this guy. Why does he always top up a small amount first and then a large amount? I'm also curious, can I just top it up once? It's probably a personal habit. Or maybe he's just pretending to be so that people will think he can't afford to top up a large amount. He tops up a small amount first, and then tops up a large amount to act as a deterrent. Phoenix Fairy Dance recharges Hu Xin. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 1.2 million demon crystals within 50 minutes and received 3 lucky draw opportunities as a reward. Ding, new mission. Complete the critical hit within 50 minutes and consume 2.4 million demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of Gene Realm will be deducted by 60 levels. Complete the mission and get 3 lucky draw opportunities as a reward. A new spending amount arrived, and under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Huaxian smiled faintly and said, "Please recharge me another 2 million demon crystals." Sure enough, this guy likes to top up a small amount first and then a large amount to show off. This feels pretty good if I encounter a points battle in the future. I will play it this way. Stupid, he seems to be showing off. But to me he is just an idiot and a waste of time. Chapter 507. Opening a market. 2 million demon crystal points have been recharged into the account. Huaxian looked at Maggot Hongji with a smile. Everyone watched nervously, because they found out that the consumption crown, Chong Hongji, was actually held by a 5th grade big shot. Maggot Hongji clenched his fists and said coldly, "Boy, you'd better leave yourself a way out in our current situation. It won't be bad for anyone if we end it in a draw." Huaxian laughed. "Draw? I remember I just told the 2 consumer crowns that with me, there is no failure, no draw, only victory." After that, he said to Feng Weibing's Yan Wu, "Please, help me earn 2 million demon crystal points." Crazy, he's betting it all again. Someone couldn't help but curse. You can offend no one but a crazy person like this. It would be a big loss to compete with him for points. Feng Weibing's Yan Wu smiled at Huaxian in a very friendly manner, and then helped him to earn points. Huaxian smiled and looked at Maggot Hongji and said, "Sorry, I have 1 million more demon crystals than you." Maggot Hongji's eyes were bloodshot, his fists were clenched. He was angry, very angry. "I also regret it with so many people here. Why did I stand out like a moron? In this situation, we are in a dilemma. The key is that this guy is not afraid of anything, not afraid of threats." He took a deep breath and said, "Boy, you want to play big, right? Very good, very good." He took out his own Evil card, which was the golden Evil card. He handed it to Feng Weibing's Yan Wu and said, "Recharge me 5 million demon crystals." Hiss. Everyone at the scene took a deep breath. They didn't expect that this bet with such a huge disparity, and seemed to be easily won, would actually result in 5 million demon crystals. It was truly terrifying. Feng Weibing's Yan Wu completed the recharge for him without any hesitation. This guy said viciously to Huaxian, "You like to play big, right? I like it to let us see who can't stand it first. Give me 3 million demon crystal points." Instantly crushed Huaxian. Everyone's attention then shifted to Huaxian. Huaxian suddenly remembered that during the ring fights, people placed bets, so why not during this kind of competition? So he looked around and said, "Everyone, it's boring just to watch. Why don't we set up a handicap and place a bet?" Everyone was stunned. Black Butterfly came out and said, "I think it's okay. I bet on my brother to win 1 million demon crystals." "Someone is opening the market now?" someone asked. "How are the odds issued?" Black Butterfly said, "Don't play too big. How about my brother wins 1-1 and Maggot Red G wins 1-2? Who will fill this gap?" Black Butterfly said confidently, "I'll make up for it." "You? Can you afford it? As the Emperor's crown, would I be short of hundreds of thousands of demon crystals? Here, this is Paradise Island, countless people can testify. Even if I can't afford it now, I will give it to you when I earn it in the future. Provided that you can buy it, right? Okay, in that case, I'll give it a try. I'll buy 100,000 demon crystal Maggot's red leather victory." Black Butterfly said contemptuously, after talking for so long. "It's only 100,000, even if you win, with a 1-to-2 ratio. Including your principal, you will only be compensated 300. My brother, although 100,000 is not much, we have a large number. I will buy 200,000 maggots to win. I thought, since I'm risking my life, there's no way I can lose. I bet on 500,000 maggots to win. I bet on 800,000 maggots to win." In an instant, countless people placed bets, but they all bet on the Maggot Red Leather to win. "I'll join in too. I'll give Lord Hongji 30,000 demon crystals the chance to win." A beautiful lady from Paradise Island also joined in. "I also have some private money. I bought the Maggot Red Leather with 10,000 demon crystals." The man who spoke earlier saw that no one bet on Huaxian to win, and said proudly, "You are going to lose, but the loss is quite tragic." Black Butterfly smiled and said, "Risks and profits go hand in hand. Although I may lose miserably if I lose, if I win, I guess you will all be envious of me. Anyone else betting?" Yan Xuanfeng suddenly said, "I bet 100,000, other Xian wins." Conqiu Yanli also said, "I bet 65,000 for Huaxian to win." He thought that if he lost, you would not survive either, and there would be no point in keeping the magic crystal. The betting is about to end. Consumer Heavenly Venerable Wrathful Spirit Haoran said, since everyone has placed their bets, I'll play a little too. I'll bet 5 million on Magatred G's victory. Yes. The whole audience took a deep breath. If the ratio is 1 to 2, the profit of 10 million will be lost. Everyone was even more determined that Chong Hongji would definitely win this battle. After all, with the consumer god in charge, it would be hard not to win. Magat Hongji suddenly became confident and said to Huaxian, not only will you die if you lose, your friend will also be miserable. Huaxian smiled calmly and said, then we'll wait and see. Miss Yanwu, please help me recharge for 100,000 demons first. Everyone has become accustomed to Huaxian's recharge method. Phoenix Yanwu said, wait a moment, I'll place my bet too. He handed a golden Evil card to Hidai and said, please bet 1 million Evil crystals for Mr. Wu to win. This. Everyone was shocked and confused. Even the resentful spirit Haoran, who was the consumer of the Heavenly Lord, bought the victory of the Magat Hongji with the beauty Feng Weibing's Yanwu from the heavenly ranking by the victory of this human race. But it be that she used this human's black demon card to recharge? Obtained this human's authorization, and knew how many demon crystals this human had stored. Black Butterfly asked in surprise, Miss Yanwu, are you sure you are buying my brother? Not the Magat Red Leather? I thought, if you all buy Magat Red Leather, I can make more money. A resentful spirit Haoran couldn't help but ask. Miss Yanwu, are you wrong? Feng Weibing's Yanwu smiled sweetly and said, of course I'm not wrong, I bet on Mr. Huaxian to win. And he helped Huaxian complete the recharge. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 2.4 million demon crystals within 50 minutes and won 3 chances to draw lottery. Ding! New mission, complete the critical hit 3 times within 50 minutes to consume 7.2 million demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of gene realm will be deducted by 60 levels. Complete the mission to get 3 chances to draw lottery. Huaxian continued, help me top up 5 million demon crystals. This guy is already worth 5 million, it seems like he's certain to kill over 10 million in this points battle. This battle was very bloody. Some consumers of the Imperial Crown were terrified. After all, in this kind of points battle, neither side will benefit. And the only victorious side is Paradise Island. After the recharge was completed, Huaxian looked at the Magat Hongji and said, after this time, our battle will become tens of millions of people. After that, Phoenix Fairy Dance said, brush 5 million Eamon crystal points. After all the points were collected, he immediately crushed the Magat Red Leather. Even if he used the 2 million demon crystal points he had, it would not be enough, he would need at least 3 million. The key is what Huaxian said, next time, it will become tens of millions. Very bloody. Chapter 508, A Life and Death Struggle. Everyone's eyes were focused on Magat Hongji. Now it is no longer just his interest after all, everyone is betting on him. Someone said, old Magat, stop fussing, just use 10 million to crush him. What can a small human race do even if they kidnap a rich man? That's right, old Magat, hurry up and crush him with 10 million blood. Don't give him any chance to breathe. The audience became noisy. Magat Hongji cursed in his heart, what I took out was not your demon crystal. So of course you are so arrogant to dare to ask for 10 million. However, in this situation, it would be really dangerous if we couldn't crush our opponent to death directly. A demon card was still in Feng Weibing's Yanwu's hand. Magat Hongji said, recharge 8 million demon coins for me. Feng Weibing's Yanwu quickly recharged him. Magat Hongji raised his voice and said, give me 10 million. Together with the remaining 2 million. It was exactly 10 million, which was spent all at once. Directly crushed Huaxian by 6 million points. Everyone's eyes couldn't help but fall on Huaxian. Huaxian still had a smile on his face and said calmly, interesting, I hope we can kill 100 million. The whole audience was stunned. Even the consuming heavily venerable Ghost Haoran was stunned. He didn't even dare to say that he could play around with 100 million demon crystals. After all, this is a demon crystal, not a demon coin. Huaxian said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, as usual, recharge 2 million demon crystals first. Feng Weibing's Yanwu nodded and recharged. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 7.2 million demon crystals within 50 minutes and received 3 lucky draw opportunities as a reward. Ding, new mission, complete the critical hit within 50 minutes and you will get 14.4 million demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of gene realm will be deducted by 60 levels. Complete the mission and you will get 3 chances to draw a lottery. Recharge me another 100 million demon crystals. The expressions of all the onlookers became serious. Because in this battle, the number of casualties really reached tens of millions. Phoenix Fairy Dance completes the recharge. Huaxian said. All 14 million demon crystal points are added. Instantly crushed Maggot Hongji's 8 million demon crystal points. The battlefield of millions has begun. Cheng Hongji's expression could no longer remain calm. His bloodshot eyes stared at Huaxian with murderous intent that could not be concealed. He now wished he could kill Huaxian. But this is Paradise Island. An old security guard, sensing that something was wrong with Maggot Hongji, came out. Although there was no aura on his body, he gave people a feeling of oppression. Everyone understands that the old security guard of this Paradise Island is very strong. Very strong. After he arrived, he first gave Maggot Hongji a warning look. Then looked around the room before closing his eyes. A silent warning, but very effective. Maggot Hongji took a deep breath, forced himself to suppress his anger, and said in a negotiating tone, I will brush another 8 million demon crystals, how about we die? Huaxian sneered, for me, there is only victory and defeat. No draw. Maggot Hongji was furious, don't go too far. I'm really risking everything, you may not get any benefit from it. Huaxian smiled and said, then you should go all out. I am looking forward to seeing how much you can make me pay. I tell you the truth, thousands of demon crystals are just small change to me. Just like giving money to beggars. This statement was extremely arrogant. But no one dared to fight back. Just because Huaxian is too confident. And, he did indeed produce tens of millions of demon crystals. Maggot Hongji said angrily, at worst, I can redeem these two beauties and give them to you. Huaxian shook his head and sneered, I will fight for the beauties I like myself. Even if I win you, they will still belong to me. Hurry up. Don't waste time if you can't get the demon crystal. Then you'll have to admit defeat and wait for death. When he said the last few words, Huaxian was also full of murderous intent. It makes people understand that he is not so easy to bully behind his smiling face. Zidilan and the others looked at Huaxian, who was so strong and confident. Suddenly I realized that I was really wrong and underestimated him. But now, is it too late to turn back? I subconsciously looked at Yan Shuangfeng and couldn't help but feel envious. Maggot Hongji took a few deep breaths to suppress his extreme anger and said angrily, okay, let's fight to the death. He said to Feng Weibing's Yan Wu. Recharge me 15 million demon crystals, plus an overdraft limit of 30 million demon crystals. A total of 45 million, recharge me all of them. Everyone could see that Maggot Hongji had given it his all. I didn't expect this battle to be so intense. Even if they win, they will still lose more than 50 million demon crystals. You know, this is a demon crystal, and if you convert it into demon coins, it would be an astronomical figure. Phoenix Fairy Dance is still being recharged. Huaxian said in a desperate tone. It's not too late for you to regret now. Huaxian smiled slightly and said disapprovingly, it's less than 50 million demon crystals. Are you trying to scare me? If you can get over 100 million, I will look up to you. Such a nonchalant look made Maggot Hongji tremble in his heart and even feel scared. He has lost everything, why is this guy still so calm? A 5th grade celebrity, even if he only has VIP privileges with consumption potential. Can't be so evil, right? Recharge completed. Everyone was looking at Maggot Hongji, waiting for him to score points. Maggot Hongji took a deep breath and asked Huaxian again, do you really want to fight to the death? Looking at his expression, everyone knows that this consumption crown is really the ultimate. The beauties at the scene have always thought that spending crowns is a big deal, but now it seems that it is nothing compared to the real rich people. Huaxian said impatiently, you are useless, just do it. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Are you all so long-winded when you consume crowns and imperial crowns? This made many of the emperor crown consumers present look unhappy, but they couldn't say much. To prevent this guy from looking for a points battle with me, Maggot Hongji said in a desperate tone, okay, very good. I want to see if you are really that rich. He shouted at Feng Weibing's Yan Wu. 45 million demon crystal points, brush them all up for me. Phoenix Fairy Dance remained calm at that time and brushed him up. Suddenly, Maggot Hongji crushed Huaxian by 37 million points. Everyone's eyes were focused on Huaxian. Huaxian was very calm, and said to Feng Weibing's Yan Wu with a smile, it's still the same as before. I need to get 400,000 demon crystals first. Feng Weibing's Yan Wu nodded and started to recharge. She found that she actually liked this human being. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 14 per million demon coins within 50 minutes and received 3 lucky draw opportunities as a reward. Ding, new mission, complete the critical hit twice within 50 minutes, consuming 28.8 million demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of Gene Realm will be deducted by 60 levels. Complete the mission to get 3 chances to draw lottery. Chapter 509, Shameless. Hu Xin continued, recharge me another 28 million demon crystals. Feng Weibing's Yanwu nodded and recharged Hu Xin's account. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 28 million demon crystals within 1 minute, and received a 5-fold critical hit reward and 15 lottery opportunities. Ding, new mission, complete it within 40 minutes, consume 3 times the critical hit. Rounded up to 90 million magic crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level gene realm will be deducted by 70 levels. Complete the mission to get 3 chances to draw a lottery. The time was shortened to 40 minutes, and Hu Xin also felt tremendous pressure. It would obviously be very dangerous if it continued like this. The key is that the shorter the time, the more critical hits each time, the larger the consumption amount, and the more difficult it is to consume. Everyone in the audience was looking at Hu Xin, wondering if he could continue to recharge. After all, he recharged 400,000 demon crystals first this time, and did not recharge too much at one time later. Maggot Hongji's tense mood relaxed. He thought Hu Xin must have overdrawn his card limit and was unable to recharge. The more I think about it, the more I feel that this is the case. He gradually became arrogant and said inferently, boy, I gave you a chance to tie just now, but you didn't cherish it and insisted on seeking death. Now you are dead. Others were also talking about it. I told you that even if a 5th-rank celebrity of the human race is lucky enough to tie up a rich woman, he is definitely no match for the consumption crown. That's right, he is just good at controlling his aura, giving people a feeling of being invincible, but he is not good at financial resources. He is just trash. There was a lot of discussion at the scene. Hu Xin said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, please help me recharge 50 million Eman crystals. The noisy crowd suddenly became quiet, and you could hear a pin drop. They all looked at Hu Xin in shock. Phoenix Fairy Dance completed the recharge for Hu Xin at the fastest speed. Hu Xin smiled and looked at Chong Hongji and said, you think you can beat me with just 45 million? I have to say that your consumption crown is really rubbish. You can't even get past 100 million. After saying that, he said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, give me 49.2 million Iman crystal points, remove the decimal points and keep an integer. Even so, he still had a full 4.2 million more demon crystal points than Maggot Hongji. Everyone's eyes at the scene fell on Maggot Hongji. Everyone knows that he is overdrawn just now. What should he do now? Many people have begun to feel distressed. Why bet on the victory of the Maggot Red Leather? Maggot Hongji's body began to tremble, because he was at the end of his rope. Suddenly he remembered the resentful spirit Hao Ran, the consuming heavenly lord, and looked over abruptly. The resentful spirit Hao, and had not expected that Hu Xin's financial resources were so terrifying. After hesitating for a long time, he smiled and said to Maggot Hongji, it's time to return the 100 million Eman crystals I borrowed from you last time. Maggot Hongji suddenly realized, yes, it is really useful now. Maggot Hongji excitedly took the devil card from Feng Weibing's Yanwu and handed it over. Shameless, so shameless, Black Butterfly cursed angrily. Maggot Hongji smiled and said, how is it shameless? Can't I borrow the demon crystal when I consume Qianzi Yuan? It's only natural to pay it back now, and it's not against the rules. Hateful. Seeing the smug look on Maggot Hongji's face, Heidi became even more angry. And he said to Hu Xin, brother, I owe you the demon crystal. Hu Xin interrupted with a smile, brother, don't be angry, he has only paid back 100 million demon crystals. That's not enough evidence. I think he will have to pay back 10 billion or 10 billion Eman crystals in a while. Hearing this, everyone in the audience was shocked. Is 100 million demon crystals still a small amount of money in his hands? What kind of rich woman is on this guy's list? Soon, the vengeful spirit Hao Ran transferred 100 million demon crystals to Maggot Hongji. Maggot Hongji handed the demon card to Feng Weibing's Yanwu and said, recharge me 100 million, and then convert all of it into demon crystal points. Feng Weibing's Yanwu took a deep breath, completed the recharge for him and directly transferred the battle points into it, instantly crushing Hu Xin's 95.8 million Eman crystal points. Maggot Hongji said to Hu Xin confidently, come on. You are very arrogant, aren't you looking for hundreds of millions? Today, I, Maggot Hongji, will accompany you to the end. With the support of Consumer God, he is full of confidence. Hu Xin nodded and said, right, this is more interesting. He said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, first, recharge me with 40 million Eman crystals. The whole audience was shocked. This time, the small recharge amount is 40 million demon crystals. Then the large recharge amount will be over 100 million. Maggot Hongji became nervous. After all, Hu Xin's method is to recharge a small amount first and then a large amount. A small amount is 40 million, and a large amount is likely to exceed 100 million. Phoenix Fairy Dance completed the recharge and looked at Huaxian. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 90 million demon crystals within 40 minutes and won 3 chances to draw lottery. Ding, new mission. Complete the critical hit twice within 40 minutes and consume 180 million demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of Gene Realm will be deducted by 70 levels. Complete the mission and get 3 chances to draw lottery. When everyone was curious about how much Huaxian wanted to recharge, Huaxian spoke up, recharge me another 130 million demon crystals. Everyone was relieved as expected, they had recharged over 100 million yuan. Together with the remaining 70 million yuan, it now totaled 200 million yuan. Huaxian looked at Maggot Hongji with a smile and said, you have 95.4 million more demon crystal points than me. So I will be a little more than 100 million more than you. He said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, give me all the 200 million demon crystal points. Phoenix Yanwu was shocked at this time 200 million demon crystal points were already a sky's price. As the points-earning activity of Phoenix Fairy Dance came to an end, everyone's eyes fell on the consumer god, the resentful spirit Haoran. They all knew that this was no longer a battle between Chong Hongji, the consumer crown, and this 5th grade big shot. The expression of Yuan Ling Haoran was also unnatural. This kind of consumption in the billions was very stressful for him. A consumer god. But at this time, retreating is impossible. Then we have to go ahead. He said to the maggot Hongji. I almost forgot that I haven't returned the 500 million demon crystals I borrowed from you last year. It's time to return them to you now. The whole audience was shocked. 500 million, plus the previous 100 million. It's 600 million now. Maggot Hongji's body trembled. And he excitedly took the devil card from Feng Weibing's Yanwu and handed it to the resentful spirit Haoran. 500 million, let's see if the human race can keep up. After the money arrived, he handed it to Feng Weibing's Yanwu and said, recharge all of it to me as points, and get 300 million battle points first. Feng Weibing's Yanwu was shocked and recharged him 500 million and earned 300 million battle points. In an instant, he had over 200 million more than Huaxian. Everyone's eyes fell on Huaxian. Huaxian still smiled at Feng Weibing's Yanwu and said, recharge me 50 million demon crystals first. Feng Weibing's Yanwu nodded and recharged Huaxian's account. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 180 million demon crystals within 40 minutes and have obtained 3 chances to draw a lottery. Ding, new mission, complete the critical hit 3 times within 40 minutes to consume 540 million demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of Gene Realm will be deducted by 70 levels. Complete the mission to get 3 chances to draw lottery. Chapter 510, are you really not going to give me a way out? Huaxian looked at the accumulated 56 lottery opportunities. Took a deep breath and said, system, give me 56 draws. In the eyes of others, Huaxian was probably running out of demon crystals. So he took a deep breath under great pressure. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have won 155 million trillion points in the lottery. And you have consumed 43 lottery chances. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have won 5 True God Level 1 upgrade scrolls in the lottery. Consuming 5 lottery chances. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have won 3 True God Level 2 upgrade scrolls in the lottery. Consuming 3 lottery chances. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have won a True God Level 4 lottery ticket in the lottery. Consuming 1 lottery chance. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have won the artifact Frost Blade in the lottery. Consuming 1 chance to draw. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have won a skill Killing Blow in the lottery, which consumes 1 lottery chance. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you won the skill Absolute Defense, and consumed 1 chance to draw lottery. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have won the skill of Holy Light Sanction through the lottery. Consuming 1 chance to draw lottery. Huaxian was overjoyed. He didn't expect to acquire so many powerful skills this time, and they were all unique skills. System, use all upgrade scrolls to help me improve the level of the evil 98 True God Gene. Ding! The host uses 5 True God Level 1 upgrade scrolls, 3 True God Level 2 upgrade scrolls, and 1 True God Level 4 upgrade ticket to successfully upgrade the evil 98 True God Gene realm to level 15. The current realm is level 91. The 91st level of True God Gene realm is simply terrifying to the extreme. Every move he made carried an extremely terrifying force. If the system had not been upgraded very stably, his whole body would have released destructive force. In the eyes of others, Huaxian's temperament suddenly rose several levels, which was very different from his modesty. If I have to describe it in one word, it would be perfect. Under everyone's gaze, Huaxian said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, Recharge me 500 million. S. The whole audience took a breath. Chong Hongji and his group recharged 500 million yuan. And Hu Xian also recharged 500 million yuan, adding to the previous recharge of 50 million yuan. There will be an extra 50 million yuan. Phoenix Yanwu was becoming more and more shocked. I never expected that in a battle caused by consuming crowns. The opponent was obviously just a big consumer of 5th grade. But now he has reached the level of 500 million. The situation seems to be getting worse. He took a deep breath and recharged Hu Xian with 500 million demon crystals. Hu Xian smiled and looked at the consumption heavenly venerable wrathful spirit Haoran. You have more than 200 million points than me, right? You still have to 100 million points, so I will go up to 450 million points. After saying that, he glanced at Phoenix Fairy Dance. A latter quickly gave Hu Xian 450 million points. Immediately, the opponent was overwhelmed by more than 200 million. Even if Hongji increased the 200 million he had, it would still not be enough. So everyone's attention once again fell on Haoran, a resentful spirit of the consumer lord. The vengeful spirit Haoran's expression had turned cold. And he looked at Hu Xian with extremely cold eyes. He didn't say a word. And the others didn't even dare to breathe. I stared at him like that for 3 full minutes. The resentful spirit Haoran suddenly laughed and said to the maggot Hongji, "Get the same points as him." Chong Hongji had just revealed the purpose of the vengeful spirit Haoran, and it depended on whether Hu Xian would give him face and cooperate. He said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, "Recharge Chong Zia 50 million. And then get the same points as him." Everyone also understood the purpose of the resentful spirit Haoran. But he didn't say anything even if Hu Xian understood. Would he give him face? Everyone's eyes couldn't help but fall on Hu Xian. Soon, Phoenix Fairy Dance completed the points synchronization and the two were tied. Now it depends on whether Hu Xian can score a few more points. If they don't go up, the two of them will end up in a draw and the matter will be over. If he goes up, he will have to fight to the death with the resentful spirit Haoran, the consumer god. Black Butterfly walked onto the small stage and whispered in Hu Xian's ear. "Hubby, why don't you just stop? There's no need for us to offend a consumer god." Hu Xian smiled and shook his head, then said to Feng Weibing's Yanwu, "Give me the points for a demon crystal." If it was before, he might have given up 3 points. Now, at the 91st level of True God, with various enhancements added together, his combat power is even more terrifying. It was the other party who provoked me first, why should I give in? Oh my god. The whole audience was shocked. Someone screamed in fear. This point of deducting points from the demon crystal is clearly a provocation and a slap in the face. Everyone looked at the vengeful spirit Haoran in horror. At this moment, the resentful spirit Haoran only felt that Hu Xian had slapped him hard in the face. And he did it in front of countless people. His expression was as dark as ink. And his eyes were full of murderous intent when he looked at Hu Xian. As if he was looking at a dead person. Although Maggot Hongji looked unhappy on the surface, he was extremely happy in his heart. I thought to myself, "You blind bastard, you even dare to offend the Lord of Consumption. Let me see how you die." Hu Xian looked at them with a smile and said, "Oh ahead, it's just one demon crystal point." Crackling. The vengeful spirit Haoran clenched his fists, and a terrifying aura rippled around his body. The old security guard opened his eyes and warned coldly, "This is Paradise Island." With just these words, he closed his eyes again. Everyone knows the meaning. A resentful spirit Haoran suddenly unclenched his fist and said with a smile, "Why are you looking at me? This is using Crown Maggot Hongji to fight this human race. I am just paying him back now the debt has been paid off. It has nothing to do with me anymore." Crush. Maggot Hongji's face turned pale in an instant. Without the support of the vengeful spirit Haoran, how could he be a match for Hu Xian? "Boss Haoran, you can't." "Shut up, I've paid back the 600 million demon crystals I owe you. The rest has nothing to do with me. You guys should end the fight quickly and don't interfere with my gathering of beauties." No one expected that the evil spirit Haoran would suddenly stop. When I looked at Maggot Hongji again, I felt that he was very pitiful. The vengeful spirit Haoran understood that he would not take action. So the Maggot Hongji looked at other people. These people also turned their eyes away. As if to say, "I don't know you." Maggot Hongji knew that he was abandoned. With a sad smile, he looked at Hu Xian and said, "What do you want me to do to give me a chance to live?" Hu Xian thought for a moment and said, "It's not impossible to survive." Maggot Hongji was extremely excited. What way to survive? Hu Xian looked at the resentful spirit Haoran and sneered. "Go over and slap him, and I will let you live." Maggot Hongji's body trembled violently. There was no way he could survive. This was more miserable than killing him directly. If this were really the case, the vengeful spirit Han would probably destroy all the forces behind him. He looked at Hu Xian with hatred and asked, "Are you really not going to give me a way to live?" Hu Xian suddenly put away his smile and said in an extremely cold voice, "When you wanted to kill me, did you ever think of giving me a way to live? You wanted to kill me, so why can't I let you die?" Chapter 511. I am willing to leave with you. The cold air caused the temperature around to drop suddenly. Many people were freezing cold and shivered. Only then did I suddenly realize that this human race not only had unlimited financial resources, but also seemed to have unfathomable strength. Hu Xian continued. Do you want to do it yourself, or do you want me to do it? His indifference makes people feel that he is a ruthless god of death. Heidi also realized that her husband was not an ordinary person. Zidilan and the others all regretted deeply that they had not followed Hu Xian unwarningly before. Will there be another opportunity like this if I miss it? Looking at Yan Shuangfeng, he felt extremely envious. At this moment, Yan Shuangfeng's eyes were sparkling. Knowing that he had made the right bet, the maggot Hong Ji was so frightened that he trembled constantly and was terrified to the extreme. Bing dong. He knelt down heavily in front of Hu Xian and begged. Sir, please give me a way out as long as you don't kill me. I will do anything you ask me to do. Hu Xian said coldly. I've given you a chance, I'll give you another chance. Go slap the resentful spirit Hao Ran, and I'll spare your life. Maggot Hong Ji pleaded in a trembling voice, Sir please, change the conditions. I really don't dare. I cannot fight Master Yuan Ling Har and he will destroy my entire clan. Hu Xian said coldly, then there is nothing we can do. As he spoke, he had already arrived in front of Maggot Hong Ji. The Maggot Hong Ji was so scared that he almost lost his soul. He crawled on the ground trembling, muttering, Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. The beautiful ladies around her never imagined that a consumer crown could be so cowardly. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Hu Xian smiled coldly and said, It's over. A finger point looks like a maggot on red leather. There was no energy fluctuation at all, just pure force that caused the space to distort. The old security guard suddenly opened his eyes and was shocked when he saw this scene. This was the penalty agreed upon in the points battle, so he naturally wouldn't stop it. Maggot Hong Ji suddenly raised his head with a ferocious look, as if he was ready to fight to the death. The next moment, he couldn't move. The pure power that Hu Xian pointed out directly pierced his forehead. His brain was destroyed, his body trembled, blood flowed from all his orifices, and his vitality was drained away. When Hu Xian withdrew his hand, Maggot Hong Ji's body fell to the ground, still rolling and struggling. A true god-level genetic power makes it impossible for his body functions to dissipate. Everyone in the audience looked at Hu Xian in horror. They didn't expect that he would actually kill someone. You know, as the crown of consumption, there is a powerful force behind Maggot Red Ji. Being able to become the consumer crown of Paradise Island proves that Maggot Hong Ji has a good status in the Maggot tribe. How could the Maggot tribe let it go? Everyone thinks that Hu Xian is too radical and has narrowed the path. Hu Xian looked at the two beauties, Yaolan the caterpillar and Yuya the spirit mouse, and said, You. The two were extremely excited before Hu Xian could finish. They said in unison, From now on, we will be yours, sir. Hu Xian was stunned. And he said bitterly, He's dead. And no one has redeemed you yet. The spirit mouse Yuya quickly said, I will redeem myself. Green worm Yaolan hurriedly said, Me too. Everyone could see that the two of them were eager to cling to Hu Xian's thighs. Some people also think that they are stupid. Hu Xian not only offended the resentful spirit Hao Ran, the lord of consumption, but also offended the Maggot clan by killing the Maggot Hong Ji. It is hard to predict what will happen next. At this time, approaching her is undoubtedly a gamble. Yeah, brother. You won. I won a lot of demon crystals. But it was Black Butterfly who reacted and was extremely excited. Yan Shuangfeng quickly said, I also bought 100,000. I want a share. Peacock said gorgeously, I bought 65. 0, but unfortunately I only have so many demon crystals. Otherwise I could make more. Phoenix Yanwu said, Fortunately I bought a lot. Several women gathered together and divided into groups. When the others reacted, they all felt distressed. Especially the beauties on Paradise Island, who had worked so hard to accumulate savings and thought they could make a fortune this time. But they did not expect to end up losing everything. Zidilan took the lead and came to Hu Xian, Brother Xian. Let's. Before she could finish her words, Hu Xian interrupted. Sorry, we are not familiar with each other. Click. I heard the sound of a broken heart. Zidilan's face turned pale and she was filled with regret. Ouyun and Shu Qingweyan didn't dare to speak. At this time, Yuan Ling Har said in a cold voice, The matter has been resolved. You can leave now. You are not welcome here. Directly issued an order to expel the guests. Huaxian nodded and said, "Okay, I'll leave now." Then he said to the beauties present, "Is there anyone willing to leave with me?" All the beauties in the audience were stunned. No reaction. But Fang Weibing's Yanwu said, "I am willing to leave with you." The whole audience was shocked. Could it be that such a beautiful lady on the heavily ranking list is looking at this guy? The vengeful spirit Hai, or An's face suddenly became extremely ugly. If Fang Weibing's Yanwu really left, he would lose all face. And this gathering of beauties would be meaningless. He hurriedly asked, "Miss Fang Weibing's Yanwu, isn't this a good thing for you?" Fang Weibing's Yanwu said coldly, "What's wrong with that? I promised you on Han He to appear in your group of beauties gathering, and I also gave you face by hosting the points battle. What else do you want?" The resentful spirit Hai An's face was extremely ugly. He suppressed the anger in his heart and said, "Well, even if Miss Fang Weibing's Yanwu wanted to leave, why did you have to leave with him?" Fang Weibing's Yanwu sneered, "Who I leave with is none of your business. Who do you think you are? If you are not convinced, you can immediately top up a consumption god and show me." When these words were spoken, the whole audience was shocked. A resentful spirit Hai An's face was stepped on and rubbed hard on the ground. Fang Weibing's Yanwu, don't forget that you are just a prostitute on Paradise Island. How dare you humiliate me like this, a consumer of the supreme heaven? Believe it or not, I will immediately contact Evil Yuan Honghe to come and order you to sleep with me. The vengeful spirit Ha Ran was so angry that he also gave it his all. Fang Weibing's Yanwu's expression suddenly turned ugly. As the most beautiful woman at the bottom of the heavenly ranking, any consumer god is qualified to consume her. Huaxian walked out and said, "It's just a small consumption of god, you can call him over to give it a try. I'm here if you don't call that evil Honghe here today. I will look down on you." The whole audience was stunned. I only have one impression of Huaxian, and that is that he is crazy. Crazy to no limit. Fang Weibing's Yanwu smiled brightly and said sweetly to Huaxian, "Brother Xian, thank you. This sweet smile and voice can make one's bones go soft." Huaxian wanted to hold her in his arms immediately and love her dearly. He swore in his heart that he would definitely capture the Phoenix Fairy dance. With a smile on his face he said, "We are a family. So it's better to be polite when saying thank you from now on. Your business is my business." The beauties around no longer hesitated when they saw that Fang Weibing's Yanwu, a beauty on the heavenly ranking, was trying to curry favor with Huaxian. A gorgeous beauty mustered up her courage and said, "Brother Xian, I, Chan Mingyan Han, am willing to leave with you. Once there is one, there will be two, and more beauties will stand up. Brother Xian, I, Hua Jinyu Yi, am willing to leave with you. Brother Xian, I Gu King Cheng, am willing to leave with you." Chapter 512, Raging on the Stage. At one point, more than 1/5 of the beautiful women were willing to leave with Huaxian. Also State chose to take a neutral view, thinking of remaining neutral and not offending either side. Huaxian looked at these beauties, and surprisingly, Zidai Lan and the others were among them. His eyes flickered past them. Zian Lan, who noticed this scene, couldn't help feeling disappointed. Huaxian nodded and said, "Okay, from now on you are all mine once my status improves. I will redeem you immediately." "Thank you, Brother Xian." A group of beauties surrounded Huaxian. In an instant, Huaxian was surrounded by people. Huaxian is so happy to take advantage of him in various ways. If it weren't for the wrong occasion, I would have wanted to capture these alluring beauties right away. Most of these beauties regard themselves as Huaxian's women, so they have no scruples at all. The vengeful spirit Hyoran looked at this scene with an extremely ugly expression. He shouted angrily at the beauties whose status allowed him to consume. "All the beauties below the earth rank, get over here. I will consume you in the name of the consumer heavenly venerable." I thought to myself, if you want to follow this lowly human race, I will capture you all first. These extremely beautiful women instantly became panicked and hid behind Huaxian one by one. The resentful spirit Haoran looked at the beautiful Fang Weibing's Yanwu on the heavily ranking and said, "Tell him the rules here." Fang Weibing's Yanwu smiled coldly and said, "For a beauty that my man has taken a fancy to, are the rules applicable? If you want to use your status to pressure others, my man can force you to start a points battle. Do you dare to borrow it?" She kept calling his man, "my man" all the time, which was extremely shocking. How could such a great beauty on the heavenly ranking be so humble? Even Huaxian looked at the Phoenix Fairy dance with curiosity. But he didn't think it was his wealth and handsomeness that attracted her. The beauties who followed Huaxian felt that their choice was extremely correct. After all, even a beauty like Fang Weibing's Yanwu took the initiative to approach Huaxian. There must be a reason for this. The beautiful lady who had been hesitant before took this opportunity to tiptoe into the team next to Huaxian. Such obvious scenes can be seen by everyone. Huaxian said nothing. No one else said anything. The vengeful spirit Hairan's expression was extremely ugly, even darker than the bottom of a pot. This is the first time in my life that I have encountered such a slap in the face. Huaxian looked at him calmly and said, "Do you want to play a points battle? You are a great consumer master, you are not afraid of me. A small 5th grade big shot, right?" Huaxian picked up his ID card and said, "Hey, why is my ID card a little different?" Hearing this, everyone's eyes were focused on his ID card. A beautiful woman said in surprise, "It's the potential consumption VIP privileges, and the chances are that it will become the gold medal consumption VIP privileges." Huaxian asked curiously, "Is there any difference between the consumption privileges of gold VIPs and potential VEPs?" Fang Weibing's Yanwu replied, "The difference is that your status level can directly surpass the big shot and become a consumer crown. And later you can directly surpass the crown and become a consumer emperor crown. But this requires waiting for 24 hours. Does that mean I can become the crown of consumer now?" "Yes, the VIP consumption rights of the gold medal come with such privileges. And give me the crown of vitality consumption." Feng Weibing's Yanwu nodded. Took Huaxian's ID card and directly activated the authority to give Huaxian a chance to survive. Because there are still 100 million demon crystal points in it, which is more than enough to consume the crown. After regaining his vitality, Huaxian instantly felt that his status had risen several levels. He nodded with satisfaction, looked at the consumption heavily venerable wrathful spirit Hairan and said, "I challenge you to a points battle as the consumption crown. Do you dare to accept it?" Consuming crowns can directly initiate a points battle. The following cross-level launches can only be launched by force, and will be reviewed and approved by Paradise Island before the points battle can be carried out. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the original protagonist, the resentful spirit Hairan. At this moment, he looks more like a pitiful villain supporting role. The resentful spirit Hairan was in an extremely bad mood. He never expected that a gathering of beauties activated by identity privileges would eventually turn into a gathering to slap himself in the face. He said angrily, "You lowly human boy, do you know that the one who asked me to host this conference is Lord Hongyi, the god of consumption and evil?" Huaxian said distaphonially, "Consuming the god, it is said that he has a huge amount of demon crystals. Sorry, the last thing I lack is demon crystals. Please inform that god and tell him that I want to challenge him to a points battle. Does he dare to accept it?" Yes. The whole audience was in an uproar and everyone gasped. It's crazy to directly challenge the god of consumption. If we didn't know that this guy had unlimited potential and used the demon crystals like demon coins, we would have suspected that he was a lunatic. For the beautiful women who follow Huaxian, the more he does this, the more it proves his strength, and the more correct their choice is. The vengeful spirit Hairan glared at Huaxian, completely unable to see through his background or guess his purpose. Then he asked, directly, "What is your purpose? Or do you have a grudge against Lord Hongyi, the god of consumption, so you are deliberately making trouble?" Huaxian sneered, "A glitch to tell you the truth, I, Huaxian, have only one hobby, and that is to like beautiful women. The girls in heaven are all as beautiful as fairies. How could I not like them? You are trying to stop me from getting them. Are you making an enemy of me? Don't even mention you. A small consumer god, the consumer god behind you is nothing but scum in front of me. This is even more outrageous." Yuan Ling Haaran opened his call recording and called back. "I've been waiting for you to say this. I will forward this video to Lord Evil Yuan Hongyi intact." The whole audience was shocked. They didn't expect that the evil spirit Haiyan was actually provoking Huaxian to collect evidence. It's really despicable. Huaxian cursed with disdain. "You are so stupid that you are worse than a pig. I dared you to call that evil Hongyi. Do you think I will be afraid of him? Still collecting evidence? Even if he was in front of me, I would still point my finger at his nose and call him a loser. No wonder you are so stupid and cowardly. It turns out you are following a piece of trash. I don't know how a piece of trash like you managed to become a consumer of the Heavenly Lord." Everyone was shocked by Huaxian's continuous insults. The vengeful spirit Haaran clenched his fists, murderous intent filled the sky, and violent momentum raged around his body. He glared at Huaxian and yelled, "You lowly human, I think you are just trying to show off your power with words. If you have the guts, come fight me in the ring. It's your own decision to decide whether you live or die." Under extreme anger, the vengeful spirit Haaran finally couldn't help but launch a fight in the ring. Huaxian nodded with a smile and said, "Since it's a ring fight, how can there not be some prizes? Why add prizes?" The vengeful spirit Haaran said angrily, "It's up to you. As just a dead man you can add any bet you want." Chapter 513, Easily Crush. Huaxian smiled and said, "If that's the case, then the prize is." Before Huaxian finished speaking, Feng Weibing's Yanwu beside him said, "Brother Xian, you can make a bet. If you win, you will inherit his identity as the consumer heavily lord. In this way, as long as you have enough financial resources, you can use him to become a consumption heavily venerable, saving you the trouble of upgrading step by step. Is this possible? Wu Xian asked excitedly. Feng Weibing's Yan Wu explained. As long as the other party agrees to the bet and we at Paradise Island approve it. And it's fine. Okay then. Wu Xian said to the resentful spirit Ha Oran. You heard what my Yan Wu wife said. If you want to fight, you can bet that your identity will be transferred to me. Do you dare? The word wife made Feng Weibing's Yan Wu's peerless face turn slightly red, but she was very happy in her heart. I thought to myself that my intuition was right and there would definitely be a bright future if I followed you. The vengeful spirit Ha Oran said inferently. Do you think you can beat me? Why are you asking for so much? Wu Xian smiled and said. Just tell me whether you dare to agree to this bet. Why shouldn't I? Well, in that case, let's make a deal. Okoist Feng Weibing's Yan Wu, who will review Paradise Island. The security guard at the side said, I can do it. He didn't make things difficult for Wu Xian. He just took out a piece of document and started writing. Feng Weibing's Yan Wu whispered in Wu Xian's ear, husband. Since Wu Xian called her wife, she shyly changed her words. Wu Xian was also very happy to hear this, and he wanted to immediately take Feng Weibing's Yan Wu to a room and love her well. Feng Weibing's Yan Wu said, the security of Paradise Island is the most difficult to communicate with. This wild donkey Zonqian is so straightforward at this time. He is trying to curry favor with you. Wu Xian nodded, but still couldn't help but hugged Feng Weibing's Yan Wu in his arms and bit her hard. Feng Weibing's Yan Wu responded enthusiastically, and the two of them instantly became the focus of the whole audience. After 3 full minutes, the two reluctantly separated. The eyes of Phoenix Fairy Dance are full of affection, which can melt everything. Countless men were heartbroken after watching it. The goddess of the heavily ranking was captured just like that. While Donkey Nakata handed over the contract and said, the contract for the transfer of your gambling battle identities has been generated. It will take effect once both parties sign their names. Wu Xian signed his name readily. Throw the contract to the vengeful spirit Ha Yuan. Yuanling Ha Oran was very confident in his own strength and signed his name without hesitation. Then he said, hurry up, let's go to the ring. I can't wait to take your life. Wu Xian shook his head and smiled. I'd never seen someone so eager to die. And head to the fighting arena in 7th heaven. There are no spectators here, and apparently not many people can be spectators of 7th heaven. Everyone who comes here wants to consume the most beautiful women. Once a top-notch beauty is consumed, she will be disqualified and replaced by another one. So the beauties on the list are all perfect. Of course, there are also people who consume ordinary beauties. After all, those beauties of the 7th and 8th ranks are actually not bad. The vengeful spirit Ha-Ra rushed to the ring impatiently. He looked at Wu Xian with contempt and said, come up here and die. Wu Xian casually hugged Feng Weibing's Yan Wu and walked to the edge of the ring before letting her go, and walked towards the ring step by step. A resentful spirit Ha-Ren was even more furious when he saw this scene. Such a beautiful lady on the heavily ranking, but even he didn't have the chance to enjoy her. I originally thought that this time I might be able to make an exception for consumption, but I didn't expect that my good thing would be ruined by this lowly human. As soon as Wu Xian stepped onto the stage, the vengeful spirit Ha-Oran rushed over and shouted, go to hell. Everyone in the audience started to worry about Wu Xian. This vengeful spirit Han is at least at the level of True God 65. Right? Almost this human race is dead. Abi, be careful. Phoenix Fairy Dance shouted from the edge of the ring. Wu Xian ignored the attack of the vengeful spirit Ha-Oran, turned around and looked at her and said, don't worry. Your husband hasn't loved you well yet. How can he bear to let anything happen to you? Oh, hubby, be careful. Seeing that the vengeful spirit Ha-Oran was approaching, Feng Weibing's Yan Wu was scared to death that her husband still had the mind to play a joke on her. The vengeful spirit Ha-Oran was furious. It's a life and death battle. And yet he still ignored him like that. This despicable person really deserves to die. He punched Wu Xian on the head. The space is distorted and about to break. It can be described as destroying the world. Even such an attack was ignored by Wu Xian. He was seen gazing at the phoenix dance with great affection, as if he was unaware that someone was attacking him. A whole audience was terrified for him, but he himself didn't care at all. He was about to be hit by the vengeful spirit Ha-Oran's destructive punch. Feng Weibing's Yan Wu was so frightened that she closed her eyes, unable to bear to see the bloody and brutal scene. Wu Xinkai casually stretched out his hand and lightly caught the fist of the vengeful spirit Ha-Oran. A pure force burst out from Wu Xian's hands, suppressing the violent power of the vengeful spirit Ha-Oran. The whole audience was stunned. But my heart was bursting. The vengeful spirit Ha-Oran's devastating attack was broken so easily. What realm is this human race at? Feng Weibing's Yanwu opened her eyes and opened her mouth when she saw Hu Xian catching the fist. Seeing this, Hu Xian actually grabbed the vengeful spirit Hairan and jumped down. Then bit Feng Weibing's Yanwu's open mouth. Rascal, Black Butterfly cursed jealously. I wish I could exchange places with Feng Weibing's Yanwu. In fact, in terms of beauty, she is even more beautiful than Feng Weibing's Yanwu. But I am a man now. Feng Weibing's Yanwu finally came to her senses and was so shocked that she forgot to respond. Hu Xian didn't care about all this and kept asking for more. The stunned vengeful spirit Haran finally reacted and understood what was happening. His fear was replaced by anger, and he roared angrily. You lowly human, you deserve to die. With the other hand, he punched Hu Xian. In losing his mind, he completely forgot that the punch just now was easily taken. Feng Weibing's Yanwu happened to see this scene and was very worried. However, Hu Xian held her too close and bit her too fiercely, so she didn't have a chance to remind her. Seeing danger approaching, big eyes kept glaring at Hu Xian. Hu Xian grabbed the fist of the resentful spirit Haoran, and a pure force surged, oppressing the resentful spirit Haoran. Q. The force was so powerful that no one else could perceive it, and it instantly crushed the vengeful spirit Haoran. A large mouthful of blood spurted out, and the attack collapsed on its own. Security guard Nakata, who was not far away, was shocked to the extreme by this scene. He kept muttering, "True God level lady, at least true God level lady." Everyone around him heard it. His heart was also in turmoil. And the look in his eyes when he looked at Hu Xian changed. Such a young, powerful and wealthy true god at level 80. No matter what clan he belongs to, he is a top existence on the Red Moon Star. Who said that there are no strong people in the human race? Isn't this the case? The vengeful spirit Haoran was easily suppressed twice, and he roared madly with anger. The aura on his body became more and more chaotic and violent, and his realm began to rise wildly. Wild-ass Nakata was shocked and said, "Sacrifice your life and soul." Chapter 514, Sacrifice is not an option. The whole audience was shocked. If you sacrifice your life, you will die. If you sacrifice your soul, you will not be reincarnated and will completely disappear into thin air. The vengeful spirit Hairan is really crazy in dealing with Hu Xian. However, his strength has also improved by leaps and bounds. In just a few minutes, he broke through to the 77th level of True God, and his level was still skyrocketing. The shocked people also came to their senses. What horrified them was that when faced with the vengeful spirit Hairan sacrificing his life and soul to improve his cultivation level, Hu Xian actually did nothing and allowed him to improve. If it were me, I would have stopped it long ago. Feng Weibing's Yanwu was speechless as she watched everything happen. This Hu Xian was actually still biting her. Too arrogant. Of course, it can also be said to be self-confidence. He used all his strength to push Hu Xian away, but he couldn't do it. After Hu Xian felt it, he let her go and asked, "Why? You don't want to be kissed by your husband?" Feng Weibing's Yanwu rolled her eyes and said, "You are fighting a life and death battle. Can you please respect your opponent?" This is also what many people at the scene wanted to say. Hu Xian smiled bitterly and said, "I also want to respect my opponent. But look at him, he is so weak, how can I respect him?" He also mentioned the vengeful spirit Haoran, whose cultivation level was still skyrocketing. Everyone at the scene was shocked by Hu Xian's words. At this moment, the cultivation level of the vengeful spirit Haoran is at least the 72nd level of True God. Is this still weak? Is there any justice in this world? After his cultivation level improved, Haoran, the vengeful spirit who had lost his mind, had only one thought in mind: to destroy Hu Xian. A crazy struggle begins. Boom. Unable to break free from Hu Xian's grasp on his right hand, he ended up self-destructing his right hand. A black blade appeared in his left hand and slashed fiercely at Hu Xian's head. Everyone in the audience watched this scene with bated breath, and their bodies trembled uncontrollably. Hu Xian still looked calm. When he saw the blade approaching, he casually reached out his hand. As everyone stared in shock, his fingers caught the blade. Click. An even more terrifying scene appeared. It turned out that two fingers were broken. He suddenly threw the halberdic blade in his hand away and flew away like a vengeful spirit. Tiu accurately shot the vengeful spirit Hairan's head. Boom. The force it carried was too strong, and the vengeful spirit Hairan's head actually exploded. The extraordinary power in the body suddenly wreaked havoc. Everyone around was in dire straits. The power of a true god at level 70 or more is simply a doomsday disaster for them. Hu Xian stretched out a hand, and an invisible force burst out, pressing down on the void. The destructive power that erupted from the vengeful spirit Hairan's body disappeared in an instant, as if it had never appeared. This scene shocked the whole audience. Every gesture he made was so terrifying. The key is that they had no idea what Hu Xian had done. The security while Donkey Nakata said in horror, "It's horrible. How horrible, how could such a horrible human race appear in this world?" He was surrounded by a group of beautiful women after hearing his muttering. They were all shocked and then became extremely happy. The scarier the better anyway, he likes beautiful women and I will be his from now on. The vengeful spirit Ha-Yoran eyed and the battle ended. The whole audience was still in a state of shock. Looking at Huexin, the emotions in my heart are indescribable. Especially those consumers who were invited by Yuan Linghaian. Each of them felt very uncomfortable, mainly because they were worried about being targeted by Huexin. Whether it's financial or military strength, they are no match for them. Huexin walked up to Feng Weibing's Yanwu and asked, "Are you still worried about your husband?" Phoenix Yanwu came back to her senses, rolled her eyes and said, "I didn't know you were so powerful at most." She threw herself into Huexin's arms and bit him. The beauties around were so envious that they wished they were the ones being bitten. No one else dared to move. Just looked at the two of them quietly. Only Black Butterfly came over and rolled her eyes and said, "My husband is very well hidden." Husband? When they saw Ichidai calling a man Huexin her husband, the whole audience was shocked again. Heidi took off her hood and her beautiful hair flew. Everyone was stunned when they saw Black Butterfly's appearance. Her beauty is even more beautiful than that of Feng Weibing's Yanwu, who is on the heavenly list. A gorgeous beauty exclaimed. It turns out that handsome black guy is actually a woman. No wonder she only plays around every time she spends money and never sleeps with us. That's right, I've been thinking about how to become the woman of handsome black brother. That's too much. Shui brother is cheating on me. The scene went into an uproar. The peacock's gorgeous look was very abnormal. She desperately ran to Heidi's side and questioned, "Brother, he is you are a woman, then who slept with me?" Black Butterfly looked at Huexin and asked, "Who else could it be?" "You mean, Brother Xin slept with me?" After being shocked, Feng Yuanli was extremely excited, because she actually became Brother Xin's woman. The other beautiful women around here were extremely envious. The saddest ones are Zidai Lan, Hua Yun and Xu Qingwian. Originally, they were the ones who Xin had his eyes on first, but because he was afraid of things, he missed out on too many of them. Huexin let go of Feng Weibing's Yanwu and said to Heidi, "Baby, how did you reveal your identity?" The security while Donkey Nakata came over and said, "Mr. Hu, please give me your ID card, because you defeated the consumer lord resentful spirit Ha-Yoran and made the agreement effective. As long as you top up the 10 billion magic crystals required by the consumption heavenly venerable, you can replace him and become the consumption heavenly venerable. 10 billion. Huexin felt a little embarrassed. The main reason is that the consumption time has now been shortened to 40 minutes. So I dare not swipe my phone too quickly. So I asked, I wonder if I can wait and recharge for a while, and then inherit when the amount reaches a certain amount. Everyone was stunned, thinking that he was so arrogant before and wanted to challenge the god of consumption, but now he has no demon crystals. While Donkey Nakata was also stunned, then reacted and said, "Okay, I can enter your information first. And as long as your recharge amount reaches that, your consumer Tianziyuan status will be automatically activated." After saying that, he injected the corresponding program into Huexin's ID card. At this moment, Huexin is already the crown of consumption, and is actually not far from being the god of consumption. "Okay, thank you then. You are too polite, sir." The main reason was that the power Huexin unleashed was so terrifying that even he couldn't see through it. After completing the identity entry and saving it for activation, while Donkey Nakata laughed, others at the scene continued to stare at Huexin. Huexin looked at the whole audience. All those beauties were trying their best to show themselves, especially those beauties of ranks 7 and 8. All of them were eager to be noticed by Huexin. Even the consumers had smiles on their faces, looking as if they were trying to please Huexin. "Men can leave, girls stay." The consumers breathed a sigh of relief and left quickly. "I'm afraid that if it's too late, Huexin will target me." In their minds, Huexin is a madman who can do anything. As soon as these people left, Huexin rubbed his hands and looked at the audience, which included no less than 200 beautiful women. These beautiful ladies all gathered around tacitly. Chapter 515, Battle Against the God of Consumption. Huexin chuckled and was ready to do a big job. Just at this moment, an old man came over. A terrifying aura caused the air in the entire hall to freeze. Everyone looked over in horror. Subconsciously, he stared at the old man's ID card. It turned out to be the god of consumption. After seeing it clearly, someone exclaimed, "It's the evil and resentful Hong He consumption god." No one expected that the flood of evil and resentment would actually arrive. The beauties who were blocking the road made way in panic. With a gloomy face, Hong He walked quickly to Huexin and asked in a threatening tone, "You look down on me and dare to fight me for points?" The whole city was shocked. even horrified. Hu Xian replied calmly. Yes, it's me. The evil Han He continued to question. Did you also force my subordinate Yuan Ling Haoran to death? Hu Xian shook his head and said, that's your fault. What do you mean I forced him to death? Really? If that's the case, then you want to fight me in a points battle. Right? Then let's have a points battle. I heard that you like to add some gimmicks. Your only hobby is liking beautiful women. What a coincidence. My only hobby is also liking beautiful women. How about adding these beautiful women in front of me? Hu Xian smiled and said, of course there is no problem betting on beautiful women. But they are all my women now. If you want to bet, you have to take out your chips. Bargain, right? 3 of the top 10 beauties on the Earth ranking and one of the most powerful women on the Heaven ranking are enough. Where are the people? Hu Xian asked excitedly. I was thinking there was another great beauty on the Heavenly ranking. I wonder how she compares to the fairy dance of Phoenix. It should be more beautiful. After all, Phoenix fairy dance is only ranked 10th on the Heavenly ranking. There is also local ranking. He looked at the crowd around him and asked, who among you is the most beautiful woman on the Earth ranking? Stand out so I can take a look. Although the consumption Heavenly Venerable has the authority to consume the earthly ranking, there are 30 places on the earthly ranking, and obviously not all of them can be consumed by the consumption Heavenly Venerable. At most, he would be in the bottom 10 of the Earth ranking. After all, there are only 10 beauties on the Heavenly ranking, and they are very expensive. Many consumer gods who come here choose to consume the beauties at the top of the earthly ranking. 13 beautiful women on the Earth ranking stood up. A one at the top is Goldfish Leaf, ranked 8th on the Earth list. The others are all after 15th on the Earth list. Obviously, there are other reasons why the flower Goldfish Leaf appears here. Compared with the beauties on the top list, the beauties on the ground list are indeed more than 1 or 2 levels higher. Especially the flower Goldfish Leaf, which is comparable to the Phoenix fairy dance on the Heavenly ranking. Okay, that's good. You are all my good babies. The evil and resentful Han He clapped his hands. Several beautiful women came out. Everyone looked over. The leader is a beautiful woman with the fragrance of roses, close to nature compared with the Phoenix fairy dance. Her beauty is completely different, and the elegant temperament is even better. On her ID card was the mark of 9th on the Heavenly ranking. It is only 1 level higher, but it has huge advantages in all aspects. Looking at the beauties in the top N of the local list, 2 of them are exactly the same, obviously a pair of sisters. It immediately caught Hu Xian's attention. The 4 of them came before Yuan Han He and were very respectful. The leading beauty on the Heavenly ranking spoke up immediately. The 9th rose on the Heavenly ranking has still met Lord God of Consumption. Yeah, a Yuan Han He didn't seem to be very interested in the beauty and nodded inferently. Gina, the 3rd fishman on the Earth ranking, has met Lord God of Consumption. The 5th on the Earth ranking, Huaqu Yizu, has met Lord God of Consumption. The 6th flower bird on the Earth ranking has entered the Consumption God Lord. The 4 of them greeted Yuan Han He respectfully. Evil Yuan Han He nodded in a cold manner, and then said, I asked you to come here mainly because I want to have a points battle with this ignorant human kid. For the sake of winning the prize. If I lose, you will belong to him. Do you have any objection? As a beauty on the list. A bet like this where the loser is involved needs to be agreed to by the beauty on the list. It can only be used as a bet if they have no objection. Rose was still the first to speak. Since it is you, Lord Consumption God, who is taking action, we are naturally willing to cooperate. The implication is that the God of Consumption cannot lose. And they are the stakes, just cooperating and going through the process. Naturally, the merman Gina and the others agreed. After all, we still have to give face to the God of Consumption. Hu Xian also asked the beauties around him, are you willing to be my bet? Willing. The beauties of the 7th and 8th ranks answered the loudest. Hu Xian nodded and said, okay, I will never treat you unfairly. Hearing this, they were extremely happy. Seeing a group of beautiful women trying to curry favor with a consumer crown, the newly arrived Rose still frowned. This is very abnormal. Obviously they were unaware of what had happened before. Instead, the evil Han He guessed something from the video sent by the resentful spirit Haoran. He said in a cold voice, you are good at coaxing girls. But it's useless in Paradise Island. You either compete with financial resources or strength. Not with your words. Hu Xian smiled faintly and said, it's not my eloquence that attracts them, but my personality charm. Don't you think so? Yes. Many beauties answered in unison. With a huge voice. The level of unity is astounding. Rose and the others discovered that so many beautiful women, including those from the Earth ranking and the Heaven ranking, were so united in following this human man. There must be something wrong. But I don't think they will follow me unconditionally. So what lies the problem? Charisma, huh? Let's start the points battle. Who will host it? Everyone's eyes fell on Rose Huiran, who had the highest status. After all, she is the ninth most beautiful woman on the heavenly ranking. The rule of Paradise Island is to punish from top to bottom. If he is unwilling to be punished, it will be a violation for others to step forward. Rose still came out and said, "Are both parties ready to start?" Yuan Hong, he said coldly, "I don't need to prepare." Then he looked at Huaxian. Huaxian smiled and said, "I would like to prepare, but I'm afraid he can't wait." He took a look at the evil and resentful Flood River. The beautiful ladies around her couldn't help but laugh out loud. Black Butterfly asked Huaxian in his ear, "Husband, do you have enough demon crystals? The assets of the consuming god are at least 10 billion. And it is not that easy to deal with." Everyone around who heard this looked at Huaxian curiously. Huaxian said confidently, "Don't worry, the thing I have the most is the demon crystal. Anyone who competes with me in this stuff will lose miserably." The voice was not concealed at all after hearing it. Evil Hong, he snorted angrily, "Since you are so confident, and don't waste time talking nonsense, let us start the points battle." Chapter 516. It turns out that he was testing them. Huaxian nodded and said, "Let's get started." Evil and Grudge Hong, he threw the ID card to Mei Yuan and said, 1 billion demon crystal points. The whole audience was in an uproar. The game starts with 1 billion demon crystal points. He is worthy of being called the god of consumption. So scary. Suddenly I became worried. Does Huaxian really have so many demon crystals? Seeing the shocked expressions on these people's faces, Evil Hong, he said coldly, "It's just a small joke, just a few billion. I heard that you are very arrogant, so let me see if you have the capital to be arrogant." Huaxian